Ladies and gentlemen, today's Birdcast. Adam Ray and Brad Williams.
This is Birdcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a big day in the Kreischer household.
Well, yeah, not every day you get a new car.
Yep, the girls. I feel bad because the first place I went to go look, we went to go look at the Lincoln Continental, and everyone in the floor on the showroom recognized me. They were like, the machine, and I was like,
Yes.
oh, shit. And so it was fun as fuck. It was during the eclipse.
Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, did you?
I've seen pictures and some videos.
All
I'm waiting for
sorts
the
of
double
Instagram
rainbow
filters.
eclipse guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like the guy that freaks out.
Hey, did you see Trump really looked at the fucking eclipse?
Yeah, man. I love that.
I'm starting to like him again.
It's going all the way back around just because he's so bad it's like buffoonery.
Yeah.
I love that he just goes, fuck whatever they say.
I'm just gonna stare up at the sun.
Better
The one
than-
thing
I'm
they tell
better
you not
than
to do.
everyone.
He's
I
probably
can
like,
do
my
this.
eyes won't get blinded. I've got
The best
the
actor.
best eyes, the best fat googly eyes. Yeah, there probably is something in his brain when he makes choices like that where he does think he's invincible. Like the same way when you first start to smoke or drink. Like, God, I remember the first time I smoked weed and I ended up stealing. It was in Seattle, right? And a buddy of mine had come up to visit me from college, and I for whatever reason, felt like the need to impress him because he was like this. He just already had this big backlog of party stories, and I hadn't really smoked pot, so we got super high. And we went to Safeway at the grocery store in Seattle, and I was one of those things where I felt like invincible. And I walked down the aisle, and I was like, I'm gonna get one cookie from every bag, right? I went 25 bags, and I opened them, and I took one cookie from each thing, not thinking about the consequences. And then I walked through, and I'm like, well, now I want food. What do I want to get? What do I want to buy? And then I got a loaf of bread and a Diet Pepsi. I was like, this seems like the perfect snack. And I do it right in front of two guys that later I found out were security guards, and I go through to pay for it. And then as soon as I walk by, I see the checker kind of close the register and go, all right, he's walking out. And I hear that in my peripheral, but I'm so baked, and I'm like, he must have been talking to somebody else who was stealing cookies. And then I get outside, and the two security guys just grab me. They go, you want to pay for those cookies? And then I was like, I started to panic, and I looked at him, and I go, my girlfriend broke up with me today. I was like, say something that'll tug at their heartstrings. And they're like, likely story. They take me upstairs. They go through all my shit. I start panicking. I'm like, I'm not going to go to jail, am I? Like, no, you're cooperating. It's fine. And I was still so high that they were like, all right, give me all your info. What's your address? And I was like, 241. Still eating the cookies. The guy was like, dude, put the cookies down. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm actually high, But
And that's how Adam got on America's Most Wanted.
yeah.
Where did you grow up?
Lake Forest Park, Washington. It's 20 minutes north of Seattle.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Why?
What's that?
I was like, today I knew you guys were coming over, and I was like, I know Adam, but I don't know him enough. So I'm going to start watching some of his videos.
Oh, cool.
And so I start scrolling through, and I go, man, I was like, if this was 1991, you would have been picked up the day you got here and plugged into a sitcom as the Italian neighbor.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And
can we go back in time?
Brooklyn,
Yeah.
And so then I was like, oh, I bet he's from Staten Island or something. And I was like, I wonder where he's from. I'm like, I'm not going to ask. And then I was like, oh, I'll check his Wikipedia page. Did you know there is an Adam Ray?
Yeah, from who
that must be the ultimate farmer.
Yeah. R-E-Y.
You know how hard it's going to be.
He died in
for you
1868.
It's going to be for you to top Adam fucking Ray, the farmer.
I have to become an actual farmer and
my
crop
God.
better than he did?
Oh, that's
guess.
fucking hilarious. I was giggling so hard at that. But I can't believe you're from fucking Washington.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know when whatever my aura is that, what did you think when you,
Oh, I definitely thought New York Jew.
Yeah.
Are you Jewish?
Yeah.
Okay, that
Ray
makes sense.
is
I got
Ray
half
is
right.
my mom's, my dad's last name, but my mom's last name. Obviously, you take the.
Yeah.
I think you're Jewish based on the mom. I don't know why. I don't know. I look at you.
Yeah.
The furthest thing from a Jew.
I'm fucking dwarfist. I don't know. It's a whole new religion. We're starting it. Not a lot of roller coasters involved.
You really should.
Yeah.
That was one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen. You went to the park with Kate Quigley and and Jen Sturger, and they wouldn't let you on the ride because you weren't tall enough. And I was like, oh, that's not fucking fair.
Yeah.
It's
You're
not.
Like, listen, man, it's your life. If you're going to die on this thing, you're going to die on this thing. That's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, they should have a little waiver at least. Just hey, if I die on this thing, not going to sue you.
Not your fault.
Yeah, just not it completely clears you. And that's sort of a hack joke to say I can't get on roller coasters, but it's fucking true.
It's true.
I can't. It
What?
sucks.
No, wait, how did you guys meet?
We first met in college. We both went to USC.
I was into experimenting.
Are you serious?
And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I've been with chicks, but what does the other side look like and much smaller?
Let's start off small. I don't want to go big.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go with a black
It's
guy.
not gay if you start small like
Yeah.
that.
The Asian people. That, oh, here we go. That's
Yeah.
a problem
Really,
solver.
Yeah.
if like you came and said like, "Hey, my only gay experience was with a midget," I'm sure all the guys would be like, "Well, that's not a gay experience.
Dude,
that's
great.
just
Yeah.
that's just awesome."
That's not gay. That's more fetish.
yeah, it's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
Fetish trumps gay, yeah.
I understand that. If a cute looking male dwarf walks in front of you, you can't be held responsible.
I did
for
have
what
this
you do.
conversation the other day with somebody about, they were like, has Brad ever tried to hook you up with a little person? And I was
girl.
like, no, but like I guess I've met a few with you. Like, I think
Yeah.
I met some of the little women with you once because they came to a show.
Yeah,
And and then you definitely. I mean, I'm sure every dude. When I don't know how much of a social situation you have to be in before you actually like hypothesize. Like, what would it be like? Like, would I?
5 seconds.
What?
Well, just like 5 seconds in front of a dwarf, and I think every guy goes like, "What would that be like?"
Oh, I thought you were saying I would
Yeah.
last 5 seconds.
Oh, well, I mean,
I
was like-
because they're tight as shit. It's like fucking a baby. Oh my god,
dude, that's. I mean, it's funny you make that joke. I had a dwarf girlfriend that she would always shave down there, and I had to tell her like, you gotta grow some hair down
Yes.
there.
Yeah, you need
because
to
It is imperative that you act your age
yes,
in the pubic
and it
region.
Feels very uncomfortable for me because I'm holding your legs up
Yeah.
in the air, and
Oh,
then,
Like, spank me, daddy, and you're
Yeah.
like, no, you
No,
can't.
God,
can't
please,
say
and take the
that.
bib off because
Yeah,
that's really.
this is really creepy.
Wait, who is the dwarf? I'm so bad at this.
Combine them all.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
The Dwidget. Who is the Dwidget?
The widget.
There's a girl named Jess who hangs out with Mike Busey. Do you
Yeah.
know her? She's
Where in here?
Orlando.
Oh yeah, Jess.
Yeah.
Okay, I know Jess.
She's great.
Yeah, Jess.
sexy.
Jess used to be on Micro Championship Wrestling. That was a thing.
Really?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan sponsored it, and yeah, she
course
was
he
a
did.
female dwarf wrestler. So yeah. Like I would love to be able to get mad and be like, "What do you think? We all know each other?" But we fucking do.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all know
Have you ever been
each
to a
other.
convention? I'm dying to go.
No.
Yeah,
I
do you
would
want
love it.
Well, I mean, whenever the next one is, I'm
Yeah.
pretty much your wedding and that convention are the two big events in my life coming up.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, the funniest thing I've ever heard anyone ever say, and I just told this to Kevin and Bean the other day.
Yeah.
Because I did a video. Did you see the video I did?
I saw it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a bunch of the fans reached out. They're like, "Bert said he was funnier than you." And I was just like, "I don't give a shit. It's Bert. We're friends."
I was not. First of all, that's not what I said. But
Yeah.
I just said, just this time, say I was funnier than Brad Williams.
Yeah.
I made him do like 5 takes. But
It was hilarious.
the one I said, they said, "Do you know Brad?" And I said, "Of course I know Brad. I'm friends with Brad." And they're like, I go, "Wait, has Brad ever told you the story of his, him and his girlfriend are swingers?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I go to, my favorite is that meet and greet where the guy just goes, "Hey, you guys are swingers, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Can I fuck your wife?" Brad goes,
Yep.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
No,
I don't know. Like, you might hear about things like that, but that's not like. There's still some qualifications you have to meet before you just
Yeah.
go like, "Oh, good fucking what?" Like, you can't-
yeah. Take him out in the dumpster.
yeah.
Fucking idiot.
You can't do that shit. Yeah.
But wait, you guys met in college?
So we met in college. So there was Brad was a year below me, and there was a stand up. A kid at our class did a charity show that was a stand up contest, and Russell Peters and
Jeff Ross.
judged it. And I was
Really?
a year out of school, so I think I was the only alumni, and I've been doing it maybe 2 years, I think. So I was like, I'm a comic. I've been doing 2 years,
Crush it.
And so I went and auditioned, and you were like one of the. They were judging it, but you were hosting it.
Yeah, I was hosting it because I had just started going on the road with Mencia at that point, and they had told me like, "Well, you've got experience, so
Yeah.
you judge the
Come
thing."
help us
Or,
pick.
Yeah, you host the thing.
So I auditioned, and then I don't know. I think you thought I was all right, and
Yeah.
had a great joke about Folgers coffee.
Sure,
Dude,
was
it was
the
my
joke?
go-to. Do you remember starting out and having like one thing you're like, "That's my closer for the next year and a half," because I'm trying to get a good 5 minutes.
You ready for mine? You guys ever seen the dating game? Man, they ask the same questions every time. Bachelor number 3, if you're going to take me on a date, what would be your perfect date? Oh, we go roller skating, then I'd take you to the beach, and I'd rub you down. I go, put me on that show. Bachelor number 2, Bert, if you could take me on the perfect date, what would be the perfect date? well, Becky, you start drinking around 6, but I'm not picking you up till 9. And you've never tried cocaine before. Next thing you know, you're snorting coke off my cock doing dick freezes. That was my big closer.
Oh, good night, Brea.
Yeah.
My buddy, who I'm shooting a sitcom with, he's producing it, was in the room with me when I wrote it. And we lived across the street from each other on McDougal. On McDougal. And McDougal, right?
Yeah. In New York.
And he was in there. And it was like the first time I really wrote a joke. And we're watching it. And I was like, dude, give me that fucking question. And he was like, well, what would you say? And I was like, you don't start drinking. You start drinking at 6, but I'm not picking up till 9. And he goes, his name's Tony. Should give him credit. Tony Hernandez. He goes, that's a joke. And I went, what? And he goes, that is a joke. Just so you know, like, that's a joke.
Fuck.
And I went, oh. And he goes, what's the end of it? And I go, and you've never done cocaine before? And he starts laughing. I go, next thing you know, I start coke off my cock doing dick freezes. And he was like, there you go, buddy. You got a joke.
Wow.
And I was like,
Oh shit! Dude,
Having that second set of ears like that is always so.
Patrice O'Neill did that for me one time. I touched a stewardess's face because she was going to cut me off. And he goes, that's a fucking joke.
Wait, you grazed her face or you like palmed
I
it?
put my finger on her lips and went, shh. Because she was going to cut me off.
Bring me one more Fresca and tequila.
And
or whatever you asked for.
We got to Scotland. He goes, that's a joke, you fucking idiot.
But
I was like, really? He goes, yeah, but you got to make it a cop.
It's so fun. I mean, similar situation watching TV. It was my closer was the Folgers thing. I'd see it, and in the slogan it was like, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. And I was like, yeah, is it? I think it's a little misleading. You got to update. So then I do the bit. I'm like, I go, all these commercial slogans, they got to update. Like, is it the best part? To me, that slogan should be, the best part of waking up is not dying in your sleep. I was like, to me, that's the best part. And then I would go, yeah, made it. And it would cross and it was in your sleep. And guess what, dude? It was one of those things where I just did it every set. And to this day, Eleanor Kerrigan, fucking Santino, D'Elia, they're just every now and then they'll be like, man, I'll just think of that fucking Folgers thing because the jingle is so catchy.
Yeah,
and then
now
it was
we just associated with that bit. Yeah, I'm the same way. I can't hear that.
I got off stage once and Owen Smith was going after me and he was like, man, Folgers, man. He's like, yeah, that's some funny. That shit. He's like, other slogans could be like. And I was like, is he just taking my joke and then piggyback? He's like, other slogans could be, the best part of waking up is getting your dick sucked. And I was in the back. I was like, do I say that now then? Is that what he just...
Did he just
give me...
Yeah. Is that what I do? But it's crazy, though, that you needed a friend. Now, you've been doing stand-up long enough to where you think in bits.
I still need a friend.
No, you do?
I still, I told a joke that... I didn't even know it was a joke. And Rogan came up to me. He was like, that better be in your act. I go, no. And he goes, are you fucking kidding
That's
me?
probably happening for you all the time, though, because I feel like you're in that Burr world for me where it's you have so many experiences and you're so locked in on your POV that, when you talk about stuff, you're probably not even thinking all the time in bit mode, right?
It's really interesting. I feel like I've been away from stand-up a little bit because of Travel Channel.
Yeah.
I haven't been as into it as I once was. And then I got back in this last year. I've been really in it, in it. And it's once your brain switches back and you're never in production mode. You're only in stand-up mode. I do have a thing where I feel like I write a lot on stage and I don't even know that I say something funny sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so it is nice to have, someone go... the joke I had was that... someone said something about it was that stand up on the spot with Jeremiah Wallace.
Oh yeah.
And someone, I was like, "What's another subject?" And someone says, "Anne Frank." And I go, I used to think Anne Frank and Helen Keller were the same person. And Rogan's dying laughing in the back, and I'm like, "No, I really did." I wasn't trying to be funny. I was like, "I really did." I found out at the Anne Frank house. When we went to the Anne Frank house, I found out that wasn't who I thought I was.
When the Helen Keller impersoner was outside the Anne Frank house, and you're like, oh, these are two different...
No, when I'm walking through the Anne Frank house telling Helen Keller jokes to my friends, and they're like, what the fuck? They're so confused.
There's not going to land here. Wait, why did you... What about them?
Just never... I don't listen a lot.
They both suffer?
I heard about them at the exact same time in my life, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And then they just sort of molded into one person?
Yeah, neither of them really left an impact. Ann Sullivan was Helen Keller's trainer. Not trainer.
Trainer? Yeah, because deaf, dumb, and blind people have a trainer.
Holy shit, dude! A lot of people don't know she was training for the triathlon.
Yeah.
You know, deaf and fucking, you know.
I mean, very few people know this. Helen Keller, hell of a CrossFitter.
Yeah, deaf and
Hell
blind, knew how to power clean. Who
Yeah,
knew?
absolutely.
And so Rogan pulled me aside. He's like, "That better be in your act." I go, "It's not," and he goes, "Well, it should be right now." And so I was like, "Well." Oddly enough, on that same trips when I had this flying dildo story happen, and so I said, "Oh,
Sure.
I'll just match it."
Just gloss over the fact you have a flying dildo. Dildo story.
By the way, I think we all have a dildo story if you really think about your life, right? We've all have something. There's a dildo that can set up some sort of an right? Like,
oh, this one was shoved down my throat with my hands handcuffed behind me and my pants around my ankles.
Listen,
this is a fucking.
Listen, Bert. What you do in your personal life is fine.
It was
judging.
It was so funny. What's the funniest part of the story is that I told her on Rogan a long time ago, and everyone's like, "That better be a bit." And I didn't know how to do story yet. Like I knew how to tell short stories on stage. I think a lot of comics confuse themselves with being storytellers with just telling longer bits that have an arc.
Yeah.
And I go, to tell a story, you have to have moments of silence where people aren't laughing, but they're engaged.
Right.
And so,
that's a great way to break it down.
Yeah, like I got to be honest, man. Mike Birbiglia is a great storyteller. Same with Chris Titus. Like they're storytellers. Like when you see these younger comics go, "One more a storyteller." Like no, nothing against Dane, but Dane will be like, "I'm a storyteller," and you're like, "You're not really a storyteller." Like you do have arcs in your stories. Like there is, but just me going, I got pulled over by a cop one time. That's not a story.
Yeah,
that's,
right.
But.
Because like a story could last 10 to 15 minutes. Like
my
story.
stories last about 13 minutes. So
yeah,
I'll tell you right now, if you're a comic and you go, "Oh yeah, I got a 15-minute story," you're a ballsy motherfucker. I'll give you my respect.
Yeah,
because when it doesn't work, boy, it doesn't work for 15 minutes.
What do you think?
I've been there.
You just keep going.
Oh, just barely.
And you're like reaching for details that you didn't even remember.
Sweats, and you start going
that
faster.
pilot
And then
like Nick Thune, I will say this: Nick Thune is a legit great storyteller, and I don't know if he does it enough. In my opinion,
I agree.
He told a story that was one of my favorite stories I've ever heard, and I was like, dude,
it was about getting kicked out of his reunion.
No, oh no. I was like, don't ever pick your fucking guitar up again. Just do that, man. You're so good.
Yeah.
Right.
And he is a legit.
He really is.
He's a great guy. Did you know him in Seattle?
I knew of him, obviously, but then and once we got to become friends, we have a lot of mutual people in common. But no, I mean, I didn't really start. I started down here. I moved down here in 2001 to go to acting school at USC, and that's where I met Brad. And then, I graduated in 2005, and then I did maybe stand up 10 times from 2001 to 2007, where it was like a couple open mics in Seattle, and then when I studied abroad in London, I lied and got myself into a couple clubs where I felt like I'd heard if you just make up to these guys that you're a big deal, I can get on stage, and I did that at a few places and bombed so hard. This fucking club called the Monkey Bone in London, right downtown London, and I'm out there, in acting school, and I'm like, I'm gonna do stand up, and then again, like doing it so minimally, but thinking I was a comic, and I would tell everyone in my program, yeah, come to the fucking show and see me, and the guy who brings me up was like, all right, this next guy, I don't really know who he is. He just begged me to get on stage. He could be funny. He probably won't be. So don't judge me. It's fucking like 250 people sold out. So I get up there, and this dude was bald and had like a weird tooth thing going on. So I go, hey, thanks a lot, everybody. Give it up for Phil Collins' retarded stepbrother. Exactly, just that. And I go, all right, let's get into the first joke. And then like nothing. And then I did one joke about some Michael Jackson thing. I mean, it was just really.
Did you bust out the Folgers bit to save it?
I didn't have the Folgers bit yet.
Oh, you didn't have the
Sorry, mate. We drink tea over here. Don't know Folgers.
Dude, it was so.
Yeah,
so
great tea bit. That's good.
So it was LA's where it's a comedy store. I would do those bringer shows, and then that's like. Because I had a lot of people from school and like acting class to come to shows, but it still was like once every month. And
so
then
do you count? When do you count you started?
2007.
Okay,
because that's when I brought my girl, a friend of mine, my girlfriend, cheated on me in Reno. She was a news reporter and she fucked the camera guy, and it's a great story. So then then I was like, all right, I think I'm done. I think that's it, and. I asked I don't know if you've ever been cheated on, but it's like, I asked all the questions I didn't want to know the answers to.
Yeah, I've been cheated on.
I'm like, did you suck his dick? She's like, why would you ask me that? I'm like, did you suck it? And she's like, yes. I'm like, what did it taste like? She's like, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know how to fucking... Dude, I was so thrown off, man. It was a new...
Sommelier? What did it taste like?
Sommelier.
Are his balls bigger than mine?
If that's
Dude,
not
but
a
I was
gay
so, I
porn
was just
title.
like a overwhelming, like, I didn't know what to do, so I started asking. I didn't want to get up and leave, so I was like, but I didn't know what to say, so
Yeah.
I was like
That's
angry, but also like I felt bad for her because she was so broken down. So I was just like, I feel bad for you. Did you let him come inside you? Like, what? Like, fucking, at least you hope you did that. Like, I didn't know what to fucking do.
You were looking for one thing to make you feel better about it?
I guess.
I was
did.
there. I was there.
The worst, right?
Dude, by the way, all cameramen listening, it's such a cameraman move is to fuck a host.
Oh, I asked her. I said, "Did he shoot your stories in your face?" Is what I said to her as a joke,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Why would you say that?" I was like, "I don't know how to fucking handle this," you know.
The cameraman, see, when you're a host...
This guy apparently is a predator too, because I wrote a song about it and animated it. It's on YouTube. Type in my name plus Reno Cheater, and it got passed around that news station apparently. And a friend of mine that I became friends with used to work there, and she goes, "Hey, just letting you know, everyone saw that video and everyone knew it was Jeff, the guy who
Right.
fucked her." And she goes, "By the way, he was trying to fuck everybody." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And she goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Should I post it on his Facebook wall?" And she's like, "No, he's got like PTSD, and he was in Iraq, and like he takes medicine for his blood." I go, "I don't know what the fuck that means, but it means don't post it on his Facebook wall for sure." You know, medicine for his blood. Jesus Christ.
What?
So he eventually
Oh, my
did
God.
see it and said it was. She goes, "Jeff said it was hilarious," and I was like, "Yeah, of course he did."
Yeah.
Like, because he fucks the girl.
Yeah.
Dude,
So he probably loves it.
So when you're a host, you want such approval from your cameramen that you're doing a good job that they basically have like a daddy thing over you where like my cameramen and me are so close because my whole time it's like especially as a comic I was just trying to make them laugh.
Yeah.
So if I could get them to laugh or get them to engage, I was like, fuck yeah. But yeah, that, and I know a couple camera guys who fucked female hosts, and it was like, I mean, yeah, I won't go any further because I know they're listening. But
Yeah, it's. I mean, what you know, she was.
What
You know,
what we're trying to say is if you don't have a career path right now, cameraman.
cameraman.
fellas. It's a great one.
Pussy.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts fucking married her cameraman.
Yeah.
What?
Danny Motor.
Yeah.
his name's Danny Motor.
Yeah. By the way, I went to a party she was at because my friend was friends with Danny. My friend's a cameraman. And
Is it a cameraman union?
Do you want to know how him and his brother shot Days of Thunder
No
Damn.
fucking
when
way.
they were like fucking 18?
Like he's married to Julia Roberts?
No. Now he's married to another chick, but they invited Julia Roberts over. There is something. That
Tell me
I
it was
don't-
great because that's somebody on a list of people I want to my party people list. And guess what? I don't have one, but I'm making one tonight because that sounded like a list I should have. Like people I want to party with.
Yeah.
She'd be in that top 10, dude. I don't know why. She seems so fucking cool.
She was sitting crisscross applesauce on the couch.
Love that.
Looking at belts because this other girl, one of the moms, designed belts. Like it was like really really high end belts.
Hell yeah.
And she was looking at belts, but man, her smile filled a fucking room. I know like people go, oh, you can tell when they've got that thing. Will Smith has got that thing. When you see him, he overwhelms you. I think The Rock probably has it too.
Yeah.
Like
Michael Caine.
why Michael Caine?
I don't know, man. Just trying to think
When I
of.
walk
Just
in
trying
a
to
room,
think.
everyone just knows I'm Michael Caine. Everyone wants a piece.
Well, we
of
can
Michael
smell you,
Caine.
Mike. You wear Scottie Pippen cologne.
You smell what that Caine is cooking. That's right.
Nobody says that.
So
So she's looking at belts.
and she was just, she was like, I just remember her. I felt like her body filled the room, like her energy filled the room.
Yeah.
and I couldn't stop staring. And by the way, her husband or her boyfriend is fucking yoked. He's like gorgeous, like perfect body.
Damn.
really
Yeah.
good looking dude.
He's got to hold on to Julia Roberts.
She's 50. She just turned 50.
yeah.
I think
How
it was
did?
great.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah, we just had Chris Red on our podcast, and
Chris Red, the black comic.
Yeah.
He was in Don't Stop It.
Yeah, I mean,
Pop star, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's such a great fucking movie.
yeah,
Isn't it?
We just say
So
comic, not
underrated,
black
dude.
Comic,
Yeah.
whatever.
You know,
Black. He's a black comic.
he was.
He's a black guy.
He's black.
But like he told this story about being on the set of Popstar, and Angelina Jolie just came to set one day.
What?
Just to visit, dude.
She's got the Bell's palsy right now.
What?
Oh, one side of the face.
Yeah, she got Bell's palsy.
What is that?
By the way, I'm not sure about that.
Wait, I said what? Like, by the way, I also said what? Like, I knew exactly what that means.
Oh, Bell's palsy is
Yeah, half the face goes
half your
paralyzed.
face goes paralyzed.
So what do you do?
Kind of droop. There's things.
By the way, why does it sound so like?
Friend of
like
mine-
Bell's palsy sounds like I don't know, a group that covers Christmas songs, like
Bell's palsy.
that sound, like come up with a better name. It definitely doesn't sound as bad. What?
I'm sorry if you have Bell's palsy.
Me too.
One of my fears
Yeah.
is waking up with Bell's palsy and going,
Yeah.
great, so the fucking road is not going to happen for the next month.
Right.
Because I'm not going out with Bell's palsy on
You
the
can
road.
get rid of it in a month?
Eddie Ips
can.
got rid of it in like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
What?
You can.
You take aspirin?
They say, no, I think it's based on stress.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So
I mean, which, by the way, so all we have to do is to cure Bell's palsy is not be stressed, but half your face is drooping down. I think
think
that
that
might
would-
stress you out a little more.
Welcome a little stress into the
Yeah. just a little.
That and alopecia. Alopecia went around the store for a while. They were like, Steve Byrne had it, Ahmed had it. Like
That's where
everyone had it.
all your hair falls out,
Yeah,
right?
but they all had it in their face. Now Mark Norman has it on his
Shit.
face, and he was like, "Dude, Mark is like, gotta go to the doctor. Afraid got him stressed. Don't want my hair to fall out."
This is a bit? Yeah.
it's Mark Norman.
Yeah, I know. But
He
he's
talks
got
like that.
it's when he talks, I'm like, I think there's a joke coming.
What's so funny about his cadence is he is so brutally honest sometimes.
Yeah.
That his cadence really lightens some insanely. Fucked a girl without a condom. Found blood on the head of my dick. Hoping on I have AIDS. It's just so funny to be around.
It is.
Like when the Opie. When the Opie and Anthony stuff went down, I guess he was on Jim and Sam, and they were like, "Will you do Opie?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't enjoy it." He's like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." I get a kick out of
He
Mark
talks
Norman.
in bits. Like there's some guys like Mark Norman, Sebastian Maniscalco, where he talks in bits.
I'm gonna go this far.
It's ridiculous.
Sebastian has put such an imprint on the comedy community that I've never heard of the term act outs.
Oh, really?
No, I'd never heard of it. I'd never heard of it in doing comedy in probably for 17 years.
Wow.
And then this last year, I've heard act outs more than anything, and I noticed that like not everyone should do act outs.
Yeah.
But everyone's trying to Sebastian up their jokes, including me. I got to be honest. Part of me is like, maybe I'm not selling things enough on stage.
Well, I mean,
like
Forbes just came out. The guy made $15 million last year, so there's something to it.
Well, it's also I don't know. It's such a I mean, for me, it's like the doing act outs is being like actor first and then comic, and it's like it's just a part of everything I've done on the stage prior to that was involving that. And it's also with certain stories, and I've seen you do it too, you can't help but like take on the persona of somebody in that story or wanting to.
And, I mean, and then there's crazy act outs like what Sebastian does where, holy crap, the act out could last longer than the setup. And then you can just have little things like I know Jim Jeffries has that run he does, the hey, what you got there? Like that run that he does, and he just kind of, but that's just a quick part of the bit. So it's like, yeah, there's act outs, but then there's like Sebastian's just a whole nother level.
the thing that's overwhelming me, and I sat through and watched a bunch of Netflix the other day. I'm watching the first 15 seconds of everyone's special because I think
15
that is
seconds.
the most important part of the best one on Netflix right now. Best one, which is arguable, is either Jim Jeffries or Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald's special starts. The audio to his special starts over the B-roll of the setup to the special. So the special starts immediately. I was like, that's genius. That's genius. Jim Jeffries comes out, big standing ovation, and just goes, Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm in.
Yeah.
And that's what you need for a great special is, I'm in.
Get right to it.
Like, I'm in. Like, and I didn't have that in my last one. I don't have it yet on this one.
So are you saying that you don't enjoy like when people try to do like a little sketch beforehand or
I don't
a
mind
longer?
the sketch, but the sketch better be good. Like I saw a couple and I was just like, you're losing me. Like,
Yeah.
you're losing me. I understand
Don't give people an opportunity to. I mean, unless it's just
like, you know what you're good at. You're good at doing stand-up. Let's not do a sketch. I mean, Segura did a sketch that I thought was really great of him walking through a city.
Yes, I love
and
that.
Those
Yeah.
black
Yeah.
guys going, you fat fuck.
Yeah.
But I didn't do a sketch on my last one just because I forgot about it. And I was like, oh, it was coming out. And I was like, shit, I never did a sketch. And so I just didn't do it. But this one is just going to be, ladies and gentlemen, Bert Kreischer.
I dig that.
That's it. That's all I want to. And then I want to. I
Walk
want
out,
to joke.
shirt off, or walk out and then take the shirt
You got to
off.
walk out, take it off, right?
You know, I think I'll let everyone guess about that. Yeah. I don't let the cat out of the bag, Brad. But,
that's a big reveal.
I just want to make sure you're not thinking like maybe I should do this one with my shirt on. I'm just making sure that's not in your thought process.
I was. It's so funny. Shout out to all my agents I'm about to shit on right now. But
great sentence.
I was told, not in no uncertain terms, but in very aggressively directional views that doing a special with your shirt off is not a good idea.
Says who?
Said to everybody, including I think Showtime. And so they were like, you know, some of my managers were like Judy was just like, fuck it, but there were a lot of people going like, okay, are you sure you want? Even the day we were shooting it, they're like, are you sure you want to do this with your shirt off? And I was like, and my thought processing wasn't marketing, it wasn't branding, it was that I simply had done something one way for 7 fucking years, and I hadn't done it another way, and I wasn't going to start on my special. I wasn't going to wear a shirt for the first time on my special, so I kind of painted myself into this box. And then once it came out, someone was like, "That's genius! You know, if you've been doing it for 7 years, everyone's going to remember the guy with his shirt off." And then I did. This other video went viral. The machine thing went viral, but then this other video went viral. The waitstaff raffle, I'm not thinking branding, but my shirt's off in that obviously as well. And someone all the comments were like, "Oh shit, this is the guy with the Russian mafia story," because my shirt's off. And they're like, "Oh, connective tissue."
That's the guy. Yeah. And in terms of let's say someone is scrolling through the channels at a hotel and they come across your special and your shirt's off. Just your average dude that's just talking on stage with the mic, they may just be like, all right, next. Yeah. But a guy's talking with a belly out, and you're like, whoa, what's this? Like, you'll stop and, like, sort of have that second guess of, like, okay, why is his shirt off? This is nuts.
So but I wish I'd had some insight. The thing I would say that I was noticing on specials was not enough people have their own voice. Like, I know that for me is that, like, I don't know if I have I know that I only tell what I think is funny.
Yep.
But, like, I think there's a lot of people that watch funny people and then go, that's how you be funny. As opposed to people who are funny. You know, like, it's an interesting, like...
How many years back prior to starting stand-up do you think someone needs to have been funny to almost know that they're going to develop, like, their own voice?
Say that again?
Yeah, even when I said it, I was like, what do you mean by that? You know what I'm saying? Like, most comics I feel like that you talk to go like, yeah, I was the funny kid here, or whatever. But, like, some were like, yeah, I mean, Deion Cole was telling us at one point that he was, like, funny subtly, like, with his friends, where he would just say things kind of sarcastically and, like, pepper him in, but he wasn't, like, knock you over the head, like, class clown type funny. So, like, how much of that do you think somebody has to be to think that they're going to have, like, a really unique voice later as a stand-up?
Well, I don't think someone like Todd Barry was the funniest guy in the class.
Right.
Like, there's a guy named John Beamer who's one of the funniest guys I ever met. And he tried stand-up, and he was really bad at it. It was the worst stand-up I've ever seen.
But he was a funny dude off stage?
He was very funny. He was very smart, and he could have been a great writer. I think a lot of people confuse themselves with being a good writer as being a good stand-up.
Yeah.
And then I think a lot of people confuse themselves with being a good stand-up when they could have been a good actor. Like they maybe don't... Like, I got into this in the last podcast, and I'm sure we'll have regretted it when it comes out, so I'm sure people will take it the wrong way. But I don't really understand comics who don't write their own hours. Like, I don't get someone who just goes, no, I have a team of writers that writes my hour and then I perform it. Then wait, I don't understand why you're doing this. Yeah.
I get having people there to, like, bounce ideas off of and maybe come out with, like, tags or a different perspective 100%. Or something. But literally to just have
a team of writers sit in the back
and then send back a joke and go like, oh, this is what I'm going to say tonight. Like,
that would work. Yeah, that would work. Yeah. So wait, you're just a good connoisseur of comedy and you have great delivery? Yeah, guess what? I can find stuff funny too.
Yeah.
So can your fucking audiences. Like, I don't know. That just bothers me. And by the way, there are really popular people that I like and I'm a fan of. And I was a fan of them, the shit they wrote, but then it just got too much. Hopefully I get to that place where someone's like, Bert, here's your new hour, and I just recite it, and I make $20 million.
Yeah,
but
that would be great.
But I will never do that personally.
Yeah.
Like, I won't even take tags from people. Like, I had this joke, I have a joke about, I can't, never mind. It's stupid because when I say it, people will send me tags, and then they'll be better than the one I could have thought of. But I have this end of the story that this story I tell about going to basketball camp, and I needed
As a
an
kid?
ending. Yeah, I needed an ending, and I don't have an ending. But by the way, that's what I enjoy about comedy is when I figure out the ending, I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah.
'Cause I did it.
You did it.
Well,
It's my piece of art.
It's the difference between buying a Lego set and someone builds it for you and then just hands it to you and then you say, "Here, play with this Lego set."
Exactly.
Where you're like, "Well, no, but if you build the Lego set, then it's like, no, I accomplished this.
Yeah,
I built this."
I was
I
more
look
of a
at-
Lincoln Logs guy.
Well, how dare you?
Yeah.
I look at it like some people always say, "Is that machine story true?" And I go, "Yeah, but that's not the thing you should be impressed about.
Yeah.
The thing you should be impressed about is that I spent 4 years working on it so that you liked it.
Yep.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's true, but I remember telling it when it was still true, but not funny.
Right.
Like,
There was
People
versions
assume
of that
though
true
it's
story.
such an epic story, right? They just go like, "It just happened. You remembered it and you said it, right?"
Dude.
Equals great story. You're lucky you were there. You're like, "No, man. You're lucky that I fucking remembered all the beats and was able to fine tune it."
Yeah, and I think a lot. I think a lot of people like tell comics like, "Oh, you're so funny," or you create stuff, and I go, "No, we're just better storytellers." Like every person has had crazy, funny stories happen to them, but not everyone can like then tell that story in an entertaining way.
I sat with a guy. I won't name him. I know he wouldn't have a problem with me naming him. I'm sure he'd say this, but I won't do it because I don't think that's cool.
Yeah.
Carter from the Backstreet Boys.
You
We know.
got it.
Yeah.
And he,
Such a wild life,
he had
man.
a really good story, and he was having a hard time telling it, and he was going to tell it for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're friends, and I'm really good friends with his agent. And his agent's like, "Would you?" I don't know how it came up, but he was like, "I think I might have offered." I said, "If you want, come over to the Mancave, and I'll help you with your story. I'll help you because I can very easily hear a story." I was thinking about doing this as a podcast, by the way. Let me tell you your story, where you get people who have great stories. They come in and they tell the story to me, and then I tell it in a 8-minute story that's really funny, and then I give it to them, and then they can take it out.
Whoa.
Oh,
So,
just
like-
like give someone an act essentially.
Yeah. So, by the way, I have the audio of. I mean, only because we were doing this for his benefit.
Yeah.
We pulled the podcast mics out, and I said, "Tell me your story," I said, and slowly, I want to hear every detail, and you'd watch him tell it the way he'd tell it on stage, and then I'd stop him and I'd go, wait, tell me about this aspect, and then he'd tell me that aspect, and I go, wait, what happened then? And he'd tell me, and I go, that's fucking amazing. So then he tells it to me for about an hour and 15 minutes, and then I go, okay, sit down, let me tell you your story. So I told him the story in the mic. I said, I'll send you this audio, and then just go through my story and whatever you attach to, put it in your own words or whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
And if you want to recite it, it's your story. I didn't fucking write the story.
Yeah.
I can just tell you what's good and what's interesting as a listener. And so I told him his story back, and he was, with the thing he did very, very well at, and he was like extremely grateful. And I was like, dude, I'd do it any day of the fucking week. I remember Tom Square told me a story one time in passing, and I was like, Tom, that is the greatest story I've ever fucking heard. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah. I go, you got to tell it, but you got to end it this way. And he's like, oh yeah. And then he told it. I think he told it on one of his specials. But that's the difference, and that's what Joe Rogan told me. He's like, that's what a friend does.
Yep.
And a friend doesn't rat someone out and go, I did that for them. The friend goes, I mean, I just did that for Tom, but he's like a true friend.
Yeah, of
I've
course.
known him forever. But
Yeah.
And by the way, we all know he's fat.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but like a true friend goes, man, you got something great there. You need to work on it. That's what Joe did for me in the machine story. He said, that's a great story, man. You need to work on it. And I was like, I don't know. He goes, no. This is what you do for a living. You got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's what a friend does. He inspires you to work harder.
It is incredible when you get somebody with a second set of ears on something, because it's like asking those questions and continuing to peel back on a story. I feel like is tough to do when it happened to you, because you're only thinking of certain, but like what you
thinking
did
of
for
the
this
truth.
person, and
You're trying
you
to be true
said,
to the
well, what
story,
about
yeah.
that? And you ask questions that you're just not thinking of because you're so attached to it that you're just, I don't know, not able to step back and look at every, like, put the whole map together, right?
And I think also, especially for a comic, you don't hear the people in the audience sometimes groan or not laugh at something you say. Like, I used to have a joke where I go, relationships are so odd because you find out if you're compatible by doing stuff you'd never do in a marriage. Like, you go, well, let's go out to a movie. Let's have sex. Let's dance. Let's have cocktails. Let's go to dinner. But when you're married, you don't do any of that shit anymore. I was like, what I think you should do is find out if you like someone I was going to say, go to the ASPCA and adopt a dog. And then drive 50 miles out of town and kill that dog. And people would be like, oh. But all I heard were the fucking sickos laughing hysterically.
Right.
Yep.
You're like, well, I'm
So I was
doing
like,
it well.
that's murdering.
Yeah. Well, it is murdering the dog.
Yeah. And then get rid of the body. If you guys can then have a peaceful dinner after you've murdered the dog, then
If you can go to Buca de Beppo and enjoy the family style ravioli.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's really valuable to have a second. Ari's the best.
Yeah.
Like, if I could have one guy, if they were like, hey, I would have Ari direct my special and just go Ari direct it, but then Ari also sit with me because he's like Leanne. They're both fucking brutal human beings. Like, he just tell you that sucks, don't like it, and you're like, well, hold on, you got to understand this. Why? Nope, hacky. You're better than that. Hand job joke, really?
And then you're just frantically trying to please him so much that you'll become kind of desperate, but then you get really creative and you'll fucking fix it.
Man, I had my wife watch my hour for my next special this week. She was like, I don't like it. I go, hold on.
The whole thing?
I go, she goes, well, it was all over the map. I go, babe, I was doing all the material so you could hear all of it and then tell me what you like. She goes, oh, I was just like, how come it doesn't flow like the last special? I go, because I'm not fucking perfected it yet. Yeah. That's what I do 2 months out is I find the rhythm and how to do it, but I need the jokes first. She's like, oh, the jokes are there. And I was like, it's like, could you not just be such a fucking...
It's so weird because, and I've done this too, where I've like had friends or my fiance or something like watch a new bit, and then I come to them and I go, hey, what'd you think of that? And then they give me their honest opinion. I'm just like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it's good. Like, but it's like, and then I'm a jerk for asking. It's like, no, I just want to hear you say it's good.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I wanted. And that's on me because I don't really want the actual criticism.
I want to do that story thing with you with a story of mine that I'm like, it's as soon as you said that, it triggered like.
Tell me the story.
Well, so
I just want to hear the story.
I've never done it on stage once, actually. And actually, I told it to Sickler when they were talking about they were maybe doing the jam again. And I was like, here's the story,
Are
I
they doing it
think.
again?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Can I tell you, I just had an epiphany last night.
What?
That I wanted me and Ari to do the Blues Brothers.
Holy shit.
Dude, that would have been amazing.
And I just texted Josh Adam Myers last night. I was like, because we're doing the cruise, the
Impractical Jokers?
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, Ari and I are going to do the Blues Brothers. And he was like, Ari won't do the goddamn comedy jam. I go, he'll do it with me. I was like, I'll get him to do it. It's not a fucking question. I had 2 epiphanies last night. I was like...
Isn't it great when you have an epiphany?
Yeah.
By the way, what do you constitute an epiphany?
Just a good idea.
Great.
I speak in hyperbole.
Hey,
Just
grilled
a
cheese and
stronger
cereal
way
together.
to
Yeah.
say it.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It makes you feel good. And you,
Like, one of my epiphanies was making combos nachos. So I took combos and made nachos out of them. And I was like, this is a fucking epiphany.
and where do you? I mean, do you just keep that inside for like a pot? Like, what has to be so overwhelming that you're like, I got to share this with somebody now? Or do you keep epiphanies to yourself?
No, I have a big problem with that. So, like, if I have a really great idea or if I do something I really like, I have a hard time sitting on it. I need it to get out immediately.
Yeah.
So, like, that's my biggest problem with editing shorts or videos right now is sometimes I'll shoot them, and I'm so excited to get them out because I'm afraid someone will do the exact same thing and post it
course.
seconds before me.
Right.
That I don't think it. So, like, I did this
You
one
just
where
had the idea.
where I put my dick all over my house.
Nice.
You see it? I was
No.
like, oh, I love waking up. My family's not home. I just go around my house and put my dick on everything, and then you hear me, like I go around. I go like this table, and then I smack. It's a
What?
it's a pork tenderloin, but I smack a pork tenderloin.
You
on the
can't see
table.
it in the shot. You just hear it.
Just hear it.
Sounds like a dick.
And I like an idiot.
Did you test out other meats like salami? No.
Yeah. What is the best dick
Pork-
sound? If I was
pork-
ADRing dick slapping
Yeah.
on furniture.
I did well.
Pork tenderloin? There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Money.
opened the refrigerator and I saw a pork tenderloin and I was like, oh, I bet I could slap that around like my dick. And then I was like, oh, I bet that's. I was like, oh, I got to do a promo video. I'll just do that.
Great.
And so, but yeah, I have a problem. I want to get it out immediately. Like, I think I texted Segura because I was like, fuck. I was like, in my head, I was like, Tom and I are selling tickets, and he's really selling tickets. Like, he probably could. I bet he's like a year out from like starring in his own movie if he wants to.
Sure.
I was like, I'm gonna write a buddy comedy for us, and then I was like, I'll give it to Tom. He'll do his one movie. It'll be a hit, and then this will be his next movie, and then we can do a movie together. I don't really want to be a movie star, but like I wouldn't mind doing a movie. Like I don't want to. I'd want to do a movie that I got to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I don't really I don't audition for movies.
You don't want to be Tom Cruise. You want to be Breckenmeyer.
I don't. No, actually, not at all. No, actually, I'd rather be more Tom Cruise than Breckenmeyer.
Complete opposite end of the spectrum.
I want to be. I want to be.
Like, do you want to be the supporting comedic friend?
No, I don't really know. I think that's my problem in my career right now. Is I don't want to do television anymore.
Tom Wilkinson?
Who's that?
Great actor.
No, see, I don't want to be a great actor.
Oh, okay.
I just want to be.
He's in a lot of stuff, but like exactly, people are like, "Who?" And then you see him and you go, "Oh hell yeah!"
Yeah.
Or do you want to be the guy that they go like, "Oh yeah, Bert was in that."
No.
Sally Field?
No, I just want to be
Oscar
in one
winner?
movie
Sure.
with a girl.
I feel like you're blowing this out of proportion, Adam.
Yeah.
I think what I would want to do is I would want to write. I want to be more like a Dan Aykroyd. Like I would want to
There
write
you
the
go.
movie and then make it for myself and then do it.
Just put a bunch of your friends in it.
Yeah, and then make something that's really fun. And
Yeah.
just go. Like today, I was like, if I could open a movie with me and Tom, how would I open it? So what I'm going to do? So I'm going to write them buddy comedy, but I'm not going to have a plot in mind. I'm going to start writing it.
Yeah.
And then just see where it takes me.
Nice.
Right? So then I was like, the opening scene will be me and Tom waking up in bed together, and then him going,
I'm in.
and then him looking at me and going, again, and I go, I am sorry, man, and he's like, you got to stop doing this, and I was like, and I'm just doing the dialogue, and then I'm like, we didn't fuck. I got drunk and slept, walk in his bed.
Yeah.
And then I was like, are we brothers? And then he's like, you're lucky it's me, and and I was like, I'll start there. I'll start writing it.
Yeah.
And then I want to do a scripted sitcom. I am doing one right now, but I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I really miss doing like Travel Channel stuff, but I don't want to do it anymore.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that would allow the freedom of an experience and your honest reaction to it. Like, it's not like a thing where you have to write the experience and the reaction to it and everything, and then have to stick to that.
There's just no future in it. Like, there's no money. They can't. They don't have enough money to pay me to do it. Like, not being like a dick, but like the only way that is beneficial for you is if you're not making money on the road as a comic. Then it makes sense. But the amount of time you work for like the money you get paid, it actually ends up really being a wash. You're making as much as a cameraman.
Yeah.
But you're not getting to fuck the
Wow,
host.
too soon, dude. You know what? I thought I could.
Tell me your story.
All right, so sophomore year of college, The Price is Right. I get out to L.A. When I was a kid, I had a few dreams. All right, let me take two. Here we go. Let me start again. When I was a kid, I had a few dreams. All right, be in the NBA, be a Ninja Turtle, be a contestant on The Price is Right.
Okay.
Ninja Turtle didn't happen for obvious reasons. NBA, Jewish, no Jews in the NBA.
Yeah.
I have a whole bit about that. Price is Right. I'm like, oh, that seems like somewhat feasible. I get to L.A., sophomore year of college. I'm in fraternity, API, and a kid in our house is like, hey, Price is Right day. We're going to go to the Price is Right. Everyone's like, fuck yeah. We get there at like 9 a.m. and everyone's like, kegs, weed. We're all fucked up. We get there at like 10 a.m. You don't go in until like 2, and the taping's at 4. We are fucked up, dude. 20, and by the way, it was the prime time Price is Right show. So it was on at not 11 a.m. at 8 p.m. at night. Bob Barker's still hosting, and the prize, it's $1 million Price is Right. So in the first opening contestants row, instead of like dinette sets and pool tables, it's like Escalades and trips to fucking, Bahamas, fucking Alaska. Like it's a new country. Yeah, at the same time. To just extravagant prizes, right?
I love
Like
the idea that you guys pre-partied for a show, not aware at what time it shot.
Yeah, it was. We were.
That's the best.
Fucked up way too early, and if you go with 20 or more people, you're guaranteed one person to get called down to contestants row.
Really?
20 or more. So I don't know why we aren't trying to like.
That means the Comedy Store comics have to all go down there,
Dude. And Price is Right. The energy in that show is like, I can only imagine comparable to like, a Super Bowl game-winning drive, or like an Oprah taping, or like
I love that.
I don't
That's
know,
in the same sentence.
some like really like some really
Super Bowl winning drive.
and an Oprah taping.
Yeah. A Daniel Craig monologue. A great Shakespearean soliloquy.
Yeah. Seeing Julia Roberts looking at belts at a party.
Right.
Our buddy's like, let's go. We get 20 guys and we go there, and we're all fucked up. And the contestant interview process is you go through and they have 3 producers at the end when you're about to go in, and they ask you one question. So it's like, what's your name? Why do you want to be on The Price is Right? Like, are you excited to meet Bob Barker?
Sounds so stupid. Which one's The Price is Right? Oh, The Price is Right.
Bob Barker.
Oh, yeah,
Bob
yeah,
Barker.
yeah.
Yeah, $1, like, come on down.
Yeah. Come on down.
Yeah, dude, right? Like, it's an iconic catchphrase. And so, ask you one question. So, we're all going through. We're all fucked up. Dude, I mean, I don't even like. We're all going through. My buddy Jeff Neiman gets up, and everyone's like, why do you want to be in The Price is Right? I've been watching it since I was a kid. Like, great, move along, right? Like, what do you want to like? What do you want to be on The Price is Right? I would love a new car. I need a new car. I would love this. I would love to get a car here because then I would have a new car. Because right now my car, they're like fucking great. Long story, it sucks.
Yeah.
My buddy Jeff Neiman gets up. This kid, we call him Squirrel Fetus because he looked like. Dude, he was like this really
I
like.
don't think you need to explain. I think
No, dude, you got it. The visual explains itself.
I call him Squirrel Fetus.
Dude, when he got super high, he ate like snacks like a squirrel, and he just. Anyways, he looked like a fetus. So
We
we.
had a guy in our fraternity named Ugif. Ugliest guy in the fraternity. And then we had a guy called Nugif, new ugliest guy in the fraternity.
Dude, now, yeah, he's a great dude. So he gets through, and they go, why do you want to be on The Price is Right? And he's so fucked up, and he pauses, burps, and then goes, I'd suck Bob Barker's dick. And they're like, fucking no. And then they just didn't let the rest of us, like, answer any questions. We all go in there, we're all fucked up. They put us in, like, the corner. And we go through the entire taping, and, it's just amazing prizes. Again, like trips, like cars, boats, like, everything you, like, a grilled cheese maker that'll, jerk you off in the shower. Just like things you can't even fathom being an actual prize.
Her name's Crystal.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
Yeah.
Well done.
And so we get up there, and our buddy gets called at the very end. So we have one chance. He's the last contestant that's able to get called down. And we're like, he has one chance to get called up. And, it's some, a bunch of Jews trying to help him out with a pricing game. Like, Joe kind of writes himself. Like, he turns around. We're all so fucked up. And it was like some, like, trip or whatever. And he turns around and we're all like, $5.99, $6.87. Everyone's screaming. And, like, he's like, what? Shut up. I can't hear you. And everyone can tell we're fucked up.
Just you. Shut the fuck up,
dude. He was doing that, dude. He was like, Dave, fucking Max, fucking shut up. Adam, what do you think it is? And we're all yelling shit out. And then
It could be more perfect. A trip to Jerusalem.
Too much of fun.
Call up Rabbi. How much is it? And so we all scream out our prices, and finally gets it. He turns around and he says whatever it was, and we all screamed together in unison. It was the funniest shit ever. He was like $7.87, and we was just like, fuck yeah, And then there's this tiny Korean woman who'd been up there since the fucking get-go, and it was out of a movie, dude. She turned around, and Bob Barker was like, all right, back in, and she had I just remember a very un-Korean name. It was just like, all right, Daphne, like, what's your price? And she turned around and looked at us, and we were all just like, it just was so quiet, and it was just so ominous. And she turned back to Bob and she goes, $1. And we were like, fuck you, bitch. Like, everyone just fucking freaked out.
Those are fighting words.
Dude, we were so fucked up. Dude, it was some Jabba the Hutt shit.
How much for the bubble gum at your convenience store? $1.
Yeah, dude. And so she wins, and she goes up there, and we're all freaking out. And my buddy's like, he sits back down, and we're all like, dude, what a waste of a day. And I'm sitting there, and it's a showcase showdown now. It's between this old lady and a big black dude named Daron. I'll never forget that. And we're sitting there, and I was like, what a waste.
The old Asian lady?
No, she didn't make it in. She's an old white lady and a big black dude, right?
That's
it's like
karma,
6'5".
bitch. You don't $1 someone and win.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't-
she was out. She lost. She couldn't spin the wheel, and it was like, in fact, that's on you. Do more
Right.
push-ups, And so
You couldn't spin the wheel. That's the only reason you go there is to spin the wheel.
I know, dude. Yeah, prep for that.
Yeah.
That's why I can't go on The Price is Right, because it'd be like a good fucking
Well,
luck.
not with that attitude. We got to get you on there. Yeah.
I would have
What would they
Adam-
do?
I would have Adam lift me up, and then I'd grab the wheel, and then Adam would drop me, and
That
then the
actually would be
force
great.
would just spin
All
the
right,
wheel
well,
around.
that's
Yeah.
okay. Now we
Now
need to figure out how to
has
make
to
that happen.
Yeah.
So he sits back there. My buddy's like, I'm like, what a waste of a day. And I go, how do we make this memorable? Like we sat for hours. We sat here. We had one opportunity, and he's like, you should rush the stage during the showcase showdown. And I'm like, dude, no. okay, you know. And so I'm like, I didn't need much convincing. And so we're sitting there, and it's again, I'm like, but I'm going to be completely out of place. This old sweet white lady, probably all her golden girls are coming up, being like, we can finally go to France or whatever. Yeah. And then the big black dude, I'm like, I don't know what his entourage looks like, but you know, I'm guessing not like me, not a fucked up Jewish guy. You know? So he wins, and I'm like, my buddy pushes me out of my chair. I run down the aisle. And I had a moment where I was like, this is my come on down moment. So I fucking do a crazy little celebration. I do a fucking double dick thing. I fucking run down the stairs. You know that like double dick, like fucking. Yeah. And I do that and I fucking go like that. And I'm like, hell yeah, you know, screaming just to like feel what it was like to come on down. And I get to the bottom of the stairs. And the stage, you walk upstairs and there's a security guard you can't see on TV standing at the top of the stairs. And she goes, what are you doing? And I go, that's my best friend in the whole world. That's all it took. And she was like, all right. And I run past her. So now I'm hugging him.
They're on.
Dude, I'm hugging him and his friends. I sat in his Escalade and I started like doing the wheel thing. Like where you're like, you know, the people when they win a car, they sit in there and go like, no, I can drive it, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, and I'm hugging him and at one point I started rubbing his head and he just looked out and he goes, who the fuck are you? This is amongst like all the hysteria, people screaming and Bob Bark, you know? And I was like, I just rushed the stage. He's like, that's fucking dope. I was like, congrats, man. Like if you need a +1 for your trip, you know? And then Bob Barker at the very end is doing his, you know, like, remember to cut off your dog's clits and dicks, you know, or get them spayed and neutered. And I start doing a robot behind him like this, fucking, and all my buddies were screaming. And then and as I'm walking off, and I just looked at him, and I was like, Bob, and he turned to me, and I gave him like a fucking 80s beach cop, like double shooters, and I go, and I gave him a couple. He looked at me, and I go, fucking see ya, man. And he just like shook his head and turned around. And,
faggot.
Dude, he fucking. I mean, that was the subtext, dude, but like he shook his head at me and like I remember being so like I got back and I was like, you know, the end of the night we're back at the frat partying, breaking it down, and I was like, yeah, man, but Bob like shook his head at me so disapprovingly, like I was such a bummer, but you know.
Oh, he did shake his head disapprovingly?
Yeah, because he was walking off and I was like, Bob! And I didn't know what to do. I thought as far as scream his name. I didn't have a follow-up plan.
You thought you'd scream his name and then Bob would turn around and be like, that's my son I never had.
Yeah,
and then,
hey, do you want to come party with me and the fucking pricing ladies?
Ballsy, way to get on stage, Adam. Adam, you've got what it takes. You know what? Come backstage with me. I want to talk to you about your career.
I heard about your sets in London and how you lied to get on stage and did Phil Collins jokes. You know what? Come get in my Escalade.
We need a new executive producer. Do you want to be it?
Oh, yeah.
That was the dream.
That would be the
that was your first TV credit.
It was because it was prime time. I remember telling friends.
Wait, you still have video of it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, see that? Okay, so what I would do with that story is I would tell the story you want to tell and show the video to accompany it. Like one of the greatest.
So you like break down the game film like this is John Madden style?
That would be fucking brilliant. So I'd tell the story, but I wouldn't. I would lead.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, there's so many. You know, there's a lot of information that I think can be trimmed. And,
do you realize that would be an amazing story to tell if you could have a multimedia experience where you had the video. Is you tell the story, you do all the build up, and then you go, and then you say, and then this white lady goes up against a black guy. Now look, I don't really give a fuck who wins, but I'm still at The Price is Right. This is my dream. This is one of my 3 dreams.
It was,
but I'm not technically on The Price is Right. So the black guy wins. He wins the Escalade and the trip to whatchamacallit. And I think the rest will speak for itself. And then you cut to you double dicking down the thing. And then you up there, and then just, but cut it together so you just see all the hysteria of you.
All the you part.
Visa.
You cut back and go. And then you
Visa, only you can make it happen or something. Yeah.
You know, the best part is I actually got to talk to Bob Barker. And then he goes, it's not in the video, but suffice to say, Bob was not a fan of my double dicking. But I love that. I love the. So I told a story one time about. I was just telling this guy today. I was talking to someone. I can't really say, but I was commiserating.
Yeah,
Mark Messier. We got it.
With a friend who we both. It's really hard to explain.
Jim McMahon. Okay, we understand.
So, I can't say it because I know that people at Travel Channel listen to this. And here I was talking to him. They're going to go, oh, my God. That's what's happening?
Yeah.
So,
Emeril Lagasse. Got it.
Travel Channel, yeah. So, I was talking to this guy and I was saying, we do these things called upfronts. Upfronts are where you do a 3-minute presentation as a talent, sometimes 2 minutes, and you just say about your new series or what's going on. And so, obviously, as a comic, and being able to have access to multimedia, they said, we just want you to talk about the reboot of Bert the Conqueror, and just if you had a good story that'll go with it. And I went, oh, you know what? Yeah, I do. I have a great story about. I have a couple of jokes about Isla, so I was like, I'll open with them, and then I'll tell the story of riding with Isla, and I rode this ride, and we have a picture of her, and a picture of her on accelerator at Knott's Berry Farms, and her face is like, and it's a really funny face. So I go, I'll tell the story, and then I was like, Kathleen, you tell me. Kathleen's the president of all scripts brands across the board. I go, you say that's great. Did you get the picture? And I go, are you kidding me? Did I get the picture?
Come on.
This is going to be played at her wedding. And I show the picture, and it fucking destroyed. It destroyed so hard that the next upfront I went to, they're like, can you not tell that story? Because everyone's having a hard time telling stories after you. They didn't say that exactly. They just said, can you not tell your story? And I went,
Message received.
Even like Guy Fieri would say this. He got up and he was like, fuck, that's a great picture. like Guy Fieri, and then even the Property Brothers, Jonathan and fucking Drew. Jonathan and Drew were like, God, Bert, I want to, like, that's like everyone referenced that story, but to have footage of it, is such a power move.
Yep.
And the more outrageous you make the story, the more the payoff is when you see you double dicking it and running down and getting on stage.
Well, I don't know if they have. I mean, there could be video of me double dicking, but I only have video of me on stage and doing the robot behind Barker.
That's all that matters.
The fact that you have the proof, so that's and this is what it looked like.
Because the thing about a story, I think, is that most people think that as comics we make them up, or you know.
Oh, dude, I worked at Universal Studios as Wolverine for 4 years, and people, when it used to be again like a staple of my material because it was all I was doing and knew, and people would be like, "Dude, like, what a weird thing for you to make up," and I was like, "Why would I make that up?" And they're like, "Because who does that?" I'm like, "I did, man. I was trying to fucking."
Well, I think. See, the thing. This is a little meta for this podcast, but I think what the comics I really like happen to have a toe into podcasting. And so what they do is they derive their material based on reality. Like, there are a lot of comics that don't do any podcasts. They will tell outrageous, fantastical stories that didn't happen. And as a fan, I detach. Yeah. Like where I go that's. I understand there is a, like, I'm not going to use examples, but I understand that is funny what you said, but it clearly didn't happen because it's impossible that happened.
Yep.
And I understand that you saying that it's impossible, that it's a stretch of the imagination that you're going to make.
So now I'm not dedicated. It doesn't reveal anything about you.
It doesn't reveal anything about you, and I don't really care about the story because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I go, hey, I could make up really great stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could. It's like one of the things that people always said about the Tracy Morgan story when he was like, Tracy Morgan said that story didn't happen, and I go, okay. Sure. You're telling me I'm that good that I could make up. Why would I pick you out of all the people? Like, no offense to Tracy at all, but like in defense for me, I go, why would I pick Tracy Morgan?
Yeah,
I could have easily picked Mike Epps, who I partied with all the time.
Right? Yep.
I could pick Donnell Rollins. I could pick Tony Woods. I could pick any. It doesn't matter. No one knew Tracy was as wild as he was when that happened. No, when I started telling it, people didn't know he was wild. By the way, I would be an amazing storyteller if I could make that up. And by the way, I would make them up all the time. I'd be much bigger than I am. I only have a handful of good stories, and they're just crazy shit that happened to me. But that's the thing I like about, like, when you see someone like Christopher Titos, when he tells you a story, you go, you're Mike Birbiglia, when he tells a story about jumping out that window.
Yeah.
The reason I like it is because that's a real story. That really happened.
That happened to him, yeah.
And I want to hear that. Jim Jeffries is a great storyteller.
Yes.
Now, I think I would never call Jim on this. Mm-hmm. I will allow him the right as an artist to add a little extra oomph to make the story make sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
And if he wants to stretch the truth a tad bit, which I think he has done, but I won't call him on that because I've done it too.
Yeah.
You're there. As long as that story's in nuts and bolts true,
the core
which it
of it
is.
happened.
Yeah, and I'm only talking about one story in particular where someone was like, you know that the end part never happened. And I go, it doesn't fucking matter. It's a great fucking story.
Right.
And everything else
because of that.
Everything else happened.
Yeah.
And it's a great fucking story.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's parts of my act where, like you said, the story happened.
Yeah.
But then the real ending isn't that great.
Yeah, and
So you just go, okay, but it would have been awesome if this was the ending.
Dude.
So it's still a real experience.
Yeah, I think
it
it's
still happened to you. You're still telling it from a place of honesty.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's a part of the job, right? To like take, comedic liberties and like
Sure.
heighten some
We're just
things
trying to
and
make
like.
the most entertaining
Look,
product for the
the
audience.
truth is, I mean, I don't have them right here, but I have pictures of the gangsters from Russia. And
Do you really?
Yeah. I'll grab them.
Yeah.
I'll show them to you.
Oh.
And I guarantee you're going to be let down.
No.
Well, because because we've built them up to some like like I'm picturing Zangief from Street Fighter 2. Like that's who I think.
This is gonna be like when I met Ian Ziering.
All right.
Why? What happened then?
Well,
what
I don't
happened
know.
there?
I thought it'd be way cooler than he was.
Well,
I
he's
was
not
let
gonna
down.
fight the Sharknado when you meet him.
Oh no.
There's one.
Yeah.
And there's the
What?
other.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
And these are Russian mobsters.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. One of them was an extra in The Sandlot.
Here's a bunch of the other
Yeah.
ones.
Oh my god!
But look what they're wearing. It's like totally unimpressive.
Yeah.
The big shades that like they can't
well,
tell if
'cause
like
you hear Mafia, you think they're going to be in $9,000 Gucci suits.
Yeah.
yeah.
And they and
Thank you, movies, for ruining that.
Yeah, and they just look like they're about to go to a Larry
You know
the
what though?
Cable
I
Guy
love
show.
that they look like this. Actually,
Wow.
the dude in the
Post them.
yeah, this one.
Well, yeah, but you would post them, but then they're Russian.
Even
gangsters.
their mugs look Russian. I don't even know what they're drinking, but it,
I'll show you a picture of me the second I found out that I was getting away with robbing the train.
Someone had a camera at that point.
Yep. And these are all posted on Facebook.
Under the hey, this album can get me killed.
Yeah, no shit.
these
That's nuts that
these
you
three
get-
guys look like they're posing in like a J.C. Penney like dad's catalog.
By the way, totally took a shower with that girl. Fucking played with her body. Didn't fuck her, but totally. She had a
What?
great body.
What?
Yeah, a little fucking arm wrestling with the
Sure.
Russian mafia, huh? Not a bad picture.
And these guys are like smiling for these photos. They're cool. I mean, yeah, I guess they're
Dude,
not
it's
scared
phones.
of it.
It wasn't phones back then.
Yeah, that's insane.
By the way, this is my teacher.
Helen Hunt,
Oh, it does look like hell.
right?
These pictures are all stuck together. That can't be good.
Well, I mean, stop jerking off in your Russian mafia photos.
Dude.
I have a picture of me the second I got away with robbing the train. That's a
What?
pretty good picture.
What's it like to
What?
arm wrestle a Russian mafia dude? Different than arm wrestling a non-Russian mafia dude.
Yeah, are you,
Oh, here we go. You ready?
The bandana is a big move, by the way. That says
This
gangster
is
all
the
over it.
second I found out I got away with robbing the train.
you are. Oh man,
Let me see.
the look on your face is just like no shit.
Oh, dude, why haven't you blown that up black and white style and like put it up or sell it somewhere?
This is me on the train. So like, there's a sidebar to this story.
Holy
of,
shit, dude!
Of when we're on the train, and I was like, I need to go to bed. And they're like, oh, we have tricks to stay awake, and they grabbed me by the torso and stuck me out the window. And I fucking it's cold as shit, by the way.
it's
and I woke
Russia.
up immediately, and we kept sticking our faces out the window, flying down the we're flying.
Yeah.
And we were like and I had a camera. We'd stolen everyone's camera, but I had my camera that we stole. And they took pictures of me sticking my head out the thing.
Oh
That's
my
nuts.
god,
Crazy?
dude! It is.
I had the most slamming fucking body.
What was her name?
Or,
I don't know.
Ichka?
Say that on the podcast, or yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, but it's
Look her up.
It kind of like this gangster in his fucking flannels. You're a little bit like, huh?
Yeah, dude. You look like one of Tim Allen's neighbors.
Yeah. But like the
But
thing
then
I
you
say-
but then you built that story up to be so.
The
epic.
other thing I would say, like, you know, not to like deconstruct a story, but I allow myself the opportunity as a storyteller to heighten moments by not telling you things or by telling you too much of things.
Sure.
To over add or to under add, not lie, but allow me to heighten a moment. And so I don't have a problem with that. I don't have the problem. Look, my only problem with storytelling is when I go, this has never happened at all. Then I go, I can't trust you. Like,
Yeah.
like
So then the real emotions you're also going to be feeling on stage, are those also manufactured? Like,
it's identical to someone going, so I have a special needs brother, and everyone will be like, wow. And then he tells a bunch of jokes about a special needs brother.
Right.
And you're like, wow, that's really brave of you. And he's like, oh, I don't have a special needs brother. And you're like, what? He's like, yeah, I have all these jokes, and they weren't working, so I figure if I tell them I have a...
Yeah, and you feel betrayed then.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you lied to me?
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that.
No.
I had a joke one time about this fight. I'd mixed up two stories about a fight that I was really in versus a fight that I had seen, and this is when I was very young, and then I had weaved it through this this song "Spodioti Dopalicious" by Outkast.
Wait, what?
So I was really into Outkast at the
They're
time.
so good.
Spodioti Dopalicious.
Sure. That's going to be my child's middle name.
But I had taken lyrics from that song,
Spodie for short,
to add into the story because it made it fun. I just was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what I'll do. So I told the story. It was a really great fucking story. And then I got off stage, and this guy came up to me, and he goes, dude, that's an amazing story. I go, thanks. He goes, is it true? I go, no, I made it up. And I watched his eyes fucking fall apart, and he was like, for real? I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh. And he just walked away. Didn't say anything else. I was like, whoa.
You literally that's the adult version of finding out there's no Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Is when a comic says,
Wait, what?
Like,
Santa Claus.
God.
He's like our rabbi.
Yeah. Adam's Jewish, doesn't know what a Santa Claus is, but that's okay.
Our rabbi.
He'll catch up. But yeah, like like that, like something that you were so into and so entertained. It's like whenever you see a movie that says like based on a true story, never go online and find out what that true story is.
Hidden Figures.
It's gonna hurt your heart.
Yeah.
Hidden Figures is totally made up.
Harry and the Hendersons. Hey, guess what? John Lithgow didn't find a Bigfoot. Hate to break it to you.
So depressing.
Well, that's the interesting thing. Why is it that we can watch Harry and the Hendersons and enjoy it?
Yeah.
Well, because Lithgow, first of all.
But then you watch what's the one about Kyle Groom? Not Kyle Grooms. I think he's a comic. Kyle.
Cease.
No, Kyle Kinane. No,
Yeah.
Kyle, the fucking American Sniper.
Oh, Chris Kyle.
Chris
Yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah.
And then you find out that was.
By the way, that's
that was Bert saying "oh shit" backwards.
That's also what Angelina Jolie said when she found out she had Bell's palsy.
But like Chris Kyle, I guess that was a manufactured story.
Some of the parts, yeah.
And
No.
like, yeah, I know.
And it's like
He wasn't even in the infantry. He just was like a guy that worked on cars. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God! Needed it.
But like, and then you go,
shit.
oh, you're not allowed to do that. Like,
right,
you can,
because that's
you
a true, and you're saying it's a true story.
Hidden Figures is a perfect example.
Yeah, that's my
'Cause
problem.
Apparently,
with
they
stuff
like
that.
they didn't even like none of that shit happened. And then you go, hold on, you can't create a struggle where there wasn't one.
Right.
Like you can't create
because by the
heroes
way,
when they weren't.
now that's going to be the narrative. Like that's going to be when someone says Hidden Figures, they're just going to think about what happened in the movie. And like family members that either lived through it or like are the people that were the quote unquote villains in that thing.
Yeah, they weren't.
They're
the
like,
villains.
hey, dick, they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That bothers me in movies like that where you go, like, I understand that The Sixth Sense is impossible, but I'll watch it.
Yes, because you'll suspend disbelief.
Jurassic Park.
Wait, that's not true or true? I get fiction and nonfiction screwed up.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when I first saw it, I was like, oh shit, like, there's definitely, like, the CGI was so good.
Yeah.
That I definitely was like, took a second glance when I saw bushes that looked unfamiliar. I was like, how do I know there's not a velociraptor in there?
What did I just see the other day? And I was like, wait, this is green screened?
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. with Estelle Getty and Sly Stallone.
Never there.
There's no way that they were really in New York.
Well, I was watching Game of Thrones last night. You guys Game of Thrones fans?
Dude, I watched 20 minutes of the first step. That's all. Don't tell me anything. Does the dragon fuck the best friend?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
No, and I guess
how
what?
do you think Peter Dinklage is made?
I guess.
By the way, there's a scene. There's a scene in
That's
the other
amazing.
fucking in the episode. I'm one episode behind or 2 episodes behind, maybe.
Yeah.
Is it that great?
It is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Peter Dinklage is fucking awesome. He is fucking awesome.
How dare you?
But there's a scene where he walks by these two guys. By the way, he's very famous in Westeros. He's they call him the Imp, I think, or the
Imp. Yeah.
And like he is the Queen's brother. Everyone knows this motherfucker, and he walks by two soldiers, and they do like a double take and walk past him, and I was like, and then they're like, wait, are you the? And they're like, hold on. First of all, he's got a really recognizable characteristic. If you see any
shaggy hair.
Well, yeah, Brad, but also, wait, what?
Long shaggy hair?
He's great. Have you ever met him?
I have not. That's the one on the list.
That's your.
The amount
that's
of
your white
times-
whale?
That's my white whale.
The amount of times he's
Dinklage is my
called
Moby
him
Dick.
out on our
Guys,
podcast.
Yes. No. Listen.
It's got to happen. Like, I mean, you got to create Twitter beef, man.
Do you think he would? Do you think he'd be like uppity about it? Like,
Well, I know that he when he went to Saturday Night Live, he walked in the writers' room and went, "No dwarf jokes."
That says a lot, dude.
I don't
Yeah.
blame him.
Yeah,
I guess, but no.
But like for me, it's like you're on a comedy show. Like that's like
Yeah. No. But I
Like,
no.
maybe
Actually,
no-
I,
Would you do that?
no dwarf
No,
jokes.
come
Absolutely
on.
not.
You ever
Come on,
seen his
man.
act?
Yeah,
Are you fucking shitting me? What were they talking about?
guy.
Slurpees? Yeah.
Yeah.
So my wife. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
The whole point. I mean,
But-
but the whole thing about you is I think you're the same as me. Like, you have a working man's approach to your sense of humor. Like, in the sense that, like, if people make jokes about my drinking or my fatness or me being whatever, it's all jokes. They're all my friends.
Yeah.
I make the same jokes on stage. And if I went into Saturday Night Live, they're like, we want to do a sketch about you being a fat drunk. I'd be like, okay, that's kind of what I put out there. I get
Yeah,
it.
I get
But
it.
like, Peter Dinklage does not put out, like,
Right.
like he may play a person of smaller stature in a movie,
Yeah.
but they're definitely not called a midget, and they're definitely not.
But I guess
Yeah.
he did an elf, right?
Well, but that whole thing was he was fighting Will Ferrell, who called him an elf. Like, so
Right.
he was like standing up and being like, "That's
Right.
not who I am."
Right.
So I get it and I understand
Yeah.
what he's trying to get out, but not one sketch. And maybe it could be a sketch where you don't.
Maybe it's a
mention
sketch
it,
about
but,
them
like-
trying to pitch him ideas for an LP sketch.
Or like something where it's kind of like we were talking about earlier, where it's like, well, he has an obvious characteristic, and everyone's just like, what is it? His hair?
Yeah.
Like, where you don't say it,
Yeah.
but it's implied. Like, yeah, you could have totally done something like that.
No,
But-
I'm looking to start that show and really get into it. But I'm like, there's so many shows I haven't seen. So I guess I would love to know from you guys. I'm either debating whether to start Game of Thrones or Hot in Cleveland. And I need to know,
well,
I mean,
we're talking, you know,
Hot in Cleveland, unfortunately, has less boobs. I would have loved to have seen
Valerie
more boobs
Bertinelli,
in Hot in
and then,
Cleveland.
you know,
Betty White.
Dinklage.
I'd look.
I love having something. Like, one of the things I used to say is I wish I could find. I got berated by an ex-Travel Channel president one time because I've been berated by all of them at one point. That was part of the conversation I was having today.
Yeah.
But she was saying that I didn't have any hobbies.
What?
Oh, fucking. Lorene, if you're listening to this, you know I love you, but.
By the way, you have
It-
chickens in your backyard.
That's not my hobby. That's my wife's.
How
by the way,
dare you.
By the way, and I will have to say this. I do have to have her back a little bit. My therapist said the same thing to me.
No
my
hobbies?
My therapist. Well, no, what? No, I'm a fucking comedian. Like, that's
Yeah.
my hobby.
Yeah.
You just have to get paid for it.
I go. He said
It's a hobby job.
Yeah, your job is to be a husband and a father. Your hobby is that you're a comic.
My therapist goes, "What hobbies do you have?" And I said, I write jokes. And he goes, "No, like that's your job." I said, "No, but I really enjoy it." And he goes, "No, but that's your job. What else do you have?" I go, "Oh, I do a podcast. That's a hobby." And he goes, "No, that's also your job." I said, "Oh, I edit videos." He goes, "That's also your job." I said, "I write books and scripts." And he's like, "These are all job things." And he goes, "What do you do for fun?" And I go, "Think of
jokes?
jokes, get on stage,
Do podcasts?
yeah, do a podcast,
Talk to my
Yeah,
friends.
talk to my friends." I go, "Wait." And he goes, "You don't have like a hobby?" He goes, "You should get into leather work. If you notice on there, you'll see this fanny pack that I made." And he goes, "You should
Holy
think of something." So I was like, "What about leather work? I've always wanted to make like a baseball glove or something." Like,
Love that.
Like
Where did that come from?
Because one time when I was in high school, I was really big into
Somebody
baseball.
teased you. I bet you can never make your own glove, Kreischer.
That was exactly
Someday
what
I'll
it was.
prove you wrong.
No, it was one day my glove broke. One of the strings broke.
Oh,
and
shit.
So I had to restring it, and I restrung it, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And then I was like, I wonder if I could make a baseball glove. And I was like, I bet I could. And so, but I never did. And so I said I wouldn't mind doing some leather work. And my wife's like, that would be really good for you. But then, of course, I make that, and then I go, I could sell these at shows. Right?
But that's
Make
fine. That's
make
fine.
Bert wallets, like a little Bert, like
Okay,
credit
well,
card
that's
holder,
genius,
and then
dude.
stamp them. Like,
Yeah.
like
Hey, guess
the
what?
machine.
Genius.
Yeah.
I don't know what the follow through is like on that idea, but you should probably do it.
Yeah.
Well,
Nobody
my therapist
does
told me
that.
to stop. He was like, stop. Well, because I was like, it would be cool if you had a comic who made their own shit.
Holy shit! A
Well, I mean-
wallet, dude. That's
Yeah.
something that you just. It's a purchase that you don't. You're all. If you saw it, you'd be like, "Oh fuck yeah!" I know as a dude, I'm gonna speak for myself. If I saw that, who's not looking to upgrade their wallet? And like that's a takeaway. And the comic you love, dude. Come on,
mean,
man.
What I was thinking about doing was
Nick Offerman makes wood canoes. Like he
For real?
He does woodworking.
And he sells them at shows.
That's his thing. That's
No,
his
I
thing. Tom Papa did a podcast. He brought us this big loaf
Yeah, he brought
of
us a loaf.
homemade sourdough bread.
It's delicious.
and Tom's
It's awesome.
really good at fucking making bread. He's
Yeah.
Really good at it.
Like we got done doing his podcast, and he was like, "Can I interest you in a piece of bread?" And I was like, "Actually, paleo, bro." And he was like, "I don't know." And then I started wolfing down. I was like, and I know a lot about sourdough bread only because on Travel Channel you learn a lot about not a lot of stuff
Right.
you never need to know.
Right.
So I was like, "Where's your mother load or whatever?" But if I was like, here's what I was going to do. This is, by the way, I've had this. I wanted my hobby to be productive to my career. I'm not going to fucking do something where I'm not productive to my career.
Yeah.
I wanted so bad. Like, so Ron Bennington had this, they had these numbers that you'd get. I think it was called Badass Motherfucker numbers. And
Sounds like pretty cool numbers.
and so but it was the listener you were. So so like you'd give them out, and like you were like, and then you were, hey, it's Bert Kreischer, badass listener number 253, and then they'd say something. Man, who's a big Ron?
This sounds like a weird ass bingo night.
I want to call Gail.
Let's call Gail. Let's get Gail on the phone. What time is it? She's still up?
No,
5 till?
But like, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to make these wallets or something, or like a piece of leather or something that you could carry with you, like a card.
Yep.
That I would get a pen that burned in leather, and I would write. One time, this guy attacked me on the internet for being fake on Bert the Conqueror, which he was very accurate in doing. Because sometimes they set up challenges that weren't real. They'd be like, the Fearsome Foursome Challenge to ride the top 4 roller coasters in under an hour. It's impossible. You can't do it. And so we did it, but you just can't do it. I mean, we did the first ride, and then the next line was an hour and a half. We're like, oh, okay, what do we do?
Yeah. There goes that challenge.
Yeah, and this guy was like calling me out like I was a phony, and I was like, first of all, the show had already been canceled, so I was like, I don't even watch it. But then it was during the time that I was doing a lot of podcasts, and someone saw it and then posted it to the Death Squad fans, and they fucking were like, the cogs of the machine have found you and will destroy you. To this guy, and this guy like fell apart. I think he had a real fucking nervous breakdown because they just pulled the video offline.
Shit.
So I wanted to do cogs numbers where you got to.
Yeah.
I wanted to make this thing and then send them out to everyone. Make 2,000 of them, right? Mm-hmm. And then go, that's your cog number. So when I saw you at a show, they'd be like, hey, cog number 79. I'm like, oh, like, well, you know when you see a fan that you go, oh, dude, you've been there since day one.
Yeah.
Like people go, people say like, hey, I saw you, like, so like I have a shirt that I made that we only made like 100 of, and it was Cogs the Machine shirts, and so I sent them out. I put them up. They went on sale. So whenever I see one with a guy with that, I go, dude, you're a legit fan. And he's like, day one, brother.
Wow.
And I love when I see that shirt.
That's
I love
crazy,
it.
by the way.
Do you have to piss?
What's that?
Do you have to piss?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
No, see, Bert, I'm a dwarf. My legs dangle.
Yeah.
So they just swing back and forth.
The
so
leg dangle.
I can't. Yeah, so I can't firmly plant them on the ground. So it just looks like I have to go to the bathroom. But really, they're just dangling. They're
By the way, quick
falling asleep right
quick
now.
dwarf update.
Quick dwarf update.
I've been
That's
Massages half off.
Brad,
that should be a weekend update sketch. And now the dwarf update.
Brad's been my best friend for 8
And
plus
then all
years.
I see is the top of your head from the desk.
His forehead.
Dude, there's constantly when your best friend is a little person, there are things that you discover that you don't know. I feel like I know almost everything about him. And we go courtside to a Laker game one time, right? Brad gets his
I
great.
thought you guys were Clippers fans for some reason.
No, that's Adam Devine and that crew. That's like Adam
Okay.
Devine.
Brad is
or
Lakers.
Kreischer.
I'm Sonics. Rest in peace. Now they're the Thunder. Now I don't have a team. Thanks for bringing it up. So my parents also got divorced when I was 9. Let's talk about that. What's that?
Mookie Blaylock.
Great.
Greatest name. That was almost the name of Pearl Jam.
Shut the
Pearl Jam
fuck
almost
up.
called their band Mookie Blaylock. That's the reason their album is number. What's the
10?
album? No, what's the album they did?
They did a 10.
It was Mookie Blaylock's number.
Yeah, it's called 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is one of the greatest basketball names.
Mookie Blaylock. If I have a son, I'm going to call him Albert Mookie Blaylock Kreischer. Mookie Blaylock. What a great fucking name.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, also a great one.
Great name.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
killer NBA names.
Manute Bol.
Manute Bol.
Manute.
Is it Manute or
Yeah,
Manute?
he's 7'7". Manute.
Yeah.
But by the way, he always ran into that problem. No, I don't know. Manute or Manute?
Did you know that 15% of people over 7 feet played in the NBA?
No.
Yeah, I looked that up on my my basketball camp story because Ralph Sampson's the guy in my basketball story who hazed me. He like made fun of me.
The Houston Rock? Yeah.
Yeah, and his not to tell the story, but he was saying that he gives an example of why he's so good at basketball. It's because of his focus and his discipline.
You're like,
and I was
yeah.
like, it doesn't have to do with the fact that you're 7 feet fucking 4. Like. You're going to add this in there. You're going to sprinkle that in a little bit. And, go, and I also had a growth spurt. And I also skyrocketed to 7 fucking feet 4.
Yeah. Because, by the way, I can have all the discipline in the world. I'm not going to dunk over Ralph Sampson.
Increasing my chances to 100% of getting into the NBA.
Did you know that Alfonso Ribeiro turned down the role of Carlton on Fresh Prince?
Turn down it?
Yeah.
Are we just going like
And then
random
they
facts?
can't. No, I'm just. All right, so that was a
By the
joke.
way,
Yeah.
Alfonso Ribeiro gets a pass in my opinion
Oh, he's-
for anything
Yeah.
celebrity related.
Yeah.
I have a problem when and I shit on this person in my agency and I think they represent the person, but I was like they were like, here's what we see you doing. We want you to do this. We want you to do that. And I was like, I don't fucking give a shit about fame. Like I don't care about fame.
Want to work.
I mean, I'm very cool with it, and I like it. I like when we're going into that car dealership and everyone recognized me. I love it. I love that. I love that feeling. But I don't want to be on Dancing with the Stars. Like I don't want to be like I don't care to be famous first, talented second.
Right.
Yep.
I want to be talented.
Great mentality.
I want to be Burr. Like Burr could give 2 fucks about fame.
Yep.
Rogan said to me one time, he goes, I said something about being famous. He goes, bro, you're not famous. I go, I'm kind of famous. He's like, bro, I'm not famous. And if I'm not famous, you're not fucking famous. And I was like, hold on. You're really fucking famous. You know that, right? And he was like, no, man, no. And I was like, I want to be like that. I want to be like oblivious, like just do great work.
Yeah.
You know?
And just see, and then
Keep
just
going.
see
I'm
what
sorry
comes.
to cut you
Speaking of great work, I look down. Brad wins these courtside seats. Right, we're sitting there. We're like, this is the greatest. We've never sat courtside. We're courtside. This is the greatest thing ever. And then all of a sudden the woman comes up. She starts taking orders. She goes, "All right, guys, here's the menu, and order whatever you want. It's Free Food Friday." And we're like, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, anything you want. Sushi, edamame. That's what I got."
Because when you're at a courtside at a Laker game and
Hey, because who sells the best sushi? Basketball arenas.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone
That's
knows
what you
Jerry
get.
West set aside a sushi fucking,
Everyone's
stipend.
eating hot dogs and hamburgers. We're sitting there with like Ebby.
Yeah, so we're sitting there chowing down, just being like, man, this is the best. They keep coming up with more like little deals like, oh, and by the way, you guys get to like do this, and the bathroom
Booze
you get
and all
is
that,
right
yeah.
over there instead of way over there. And we're like, do we get to play in the third quarter? And so then all of a sudden we have vitamin waters, and I look down and Brad puts one in between his feet and kicks it up to himself. I
Yeah.
see in my peripheral vision, I just see him fucking, his feet just flip up as if he was trying to kick himself in the face, and his drink lands in his hand, and in one motion catches it, unscrews it, takes a sip, and goes, ah. And I go, hey, man, what the fuck was that? I've never seen that ever, and especially in our friendship, I don't know you could do that. And he goes, yeah, man. He goes, it's way easier. Like, what?
Yeah. What
Like-
do I do? Like get out of my chair, bend over, grab the drink? No,
And
I'm
the-
just going to grab it, throw it up to myself,
And then I
catch
asked a
it.
stupid, like, ignorant question. I go, did you teach yourself that? And he goes, no, man, I hired a dwarf sensei that fucking taught me the
Did you
vitamin
teach
water
yourself
leg kick. And it was,
Yeah, there's it's step 1 in dwarfism survival classes. That and be very aware of
Quench
cars
your
backing
thirst.
up.
Be very aware of cars.
oh, yeah, you've been hit like twice, right?
3 times.
3 times.
I've been hit by it.
Be very aware of cars backing up. Oh, shut up. You've been hit 3 times.
Yeah, man. People don't.
Twice.
You don't.
Twice by car.
Back here.
Aw. Twice by cars backing up just in the parking lot. The best is
I
woman.
want audio of someone running into you going, did I hit something? You're like, no, there's nothing back there.
And then they
I
go
definitely
back.
heard something.
Yeah.
Do it again. Are you sure there's not something back? There's nothing back there.
Please stop driving.
I hear a human's voice.
No, yes, that's me.
Yes. The best was the second one that hit me. She got out, and I legit believe that she thought
that goes on her insurance. Hit a dwarf. Like a hate crime.
that's when they probably go like, "What, were you driving under a bridge? Was you next to a troll? Like, what's happening?"
Yeah.
The second
fact that she turns to a party, she's like, you're never going to believe what happened to me today.
Do you know why I'm late?
Yeah, do you know why I'm late?
But I think I have a curse on me.
I'm not gonna have kids now. The second woman that hit me when she got out of the car to ran back and check what the fuck her car just bumped over.
Yeah.
I
have a strong feeling she legit thought that I was tall before she hit me. Like
what did I do to you? Where did the rest of you go?
Where the rest of you?
How'd you get your shoes on your knees so quickly?
Quick, sir, help me put them back together.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've been in my car 3 times in my life.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I think.
How often do you think about that? That
I've
is
never been hit by a car.
me
I've
neither.
never been-
3 times.
Noah. What's the guy from the Daily Show?
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah has been pulled over like 18 times because he's black, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like that blew me away. I was like, I haven't been pulled over. I've been pulled over once.
No way.
In 15 years.
No way.
Wow.
And by the way, it probably goes longer than that. I just remember the last time I got pulled over was 15 years ago.
Now, how much? I mean, are you a responsible driver? Do you
I don't
consider?
drive fast,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I don't drive drunk. And by the way, I actually don't drive much at all.
Yeah,
Like I take Ubers everywhere. This car's going to cut into that fucking Uber budget.
it's all right. You're gonna look cool though.
Not really. No, I wanted the Lincoln Continental because I was like, I want to be like an old man. I want an old man car.
Yeah.
But it's really a cool car. It really is a great car. But I'm never here. You know, I mean, we're never in town. So I said to my wife, we went and did that, and then she goes, let's drive by BMW and see what they have.
Cool.
And I went and sat in that car, and I was like, this is really spacious. This is a really great car. And my wife's like, I would drive this all the time. And so I was like, well, I can't buy the car that I want and it just sit there. That's wasting money.
Yep.
I'll buy the car we both want. I want that one too. And then we'll just share. But she wanted the cheaper version, and I was like, nah. I was like,
Wait.
I don't roll that way. I was like,
Did you buy the used one?
No.
Like, does that show up in the Carfax? Like, this car ran over a midget one time?
Oh my God! Can we please christen it with you, with your forehead just boom, just.
If you were on a used car lot and you're like, I don't know about that car, and they looked at you and went, you know, it ran over a midget one time.
Brad, I can't believe you've been hit 3 times by cars.
One
Can
time.
you talk about that on stage?
I don't.
What? Are you shitting me?
I don't. I used to have a bit like I used to sell a T-shirt at the end of my shows that had me on a road sign that said "I brake for little people," but that was it. The third time I got hit by a car was at the Cincinnati airport. That's actually in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then this guy was walking into the road and he had his headphones on. He didn't hear a bus that was coming, and he was walking like right into the bus. So I run towards this dude, I jump, I shove him out of the way of the bus, and then the bus hits me, then I fly, it like hit me on the hip, and then I flew up in the air, did a little helicopter thing, and then landed on the ground. And then the guy like looked behind him, saw that like a midget had just saved his life.
Oh my God, Brad! You've got to talk about that on stage.
You know what's a crazy? I mean,
I need to. You're right.
There's
That's so funny.
You know,
Yeah.
the first time I
Asshole never thanked
understood
me.
that there was like
That's why I
a
hate ginger.
mystique behind LPs. Brad and I were driving back. He took me on the road with him when we first became friends, right? And
I'm dying to talk to you guys before, not to change
Sure.
subjects, but I'm dying to talk to you guys about the scene when you guys started. But keep going. I apologize.
Yeah, we'll transition right into that. So we're driving back from San Jose, I think, or Pleasanton, like Tommy T's, I think.
Tommy T's in Pleasanton, California.
And we're driving back, and it's a long 5.5 hour drive or whatever, and we're shooting the shit whenever.
God, I remember
it's a 4-lane highway, and all of a sudden a PT Cruiser, I'd say about, 200-300 feet in front of us. That's way too much. Maybe 75 feet. And we're shooting the shit about whatever, being like, yeah, man, no, I would love to fucking have a threesome sometime. Yeah, man. So have you always been a dwarf? Have you always been a Jew? Just fucking get to know you shit. And
No, I just started like a year ago. It's been really painful.
We're still getting to know each other. Yeah. We're still getting to know each other. Yeah. And so a PT Cruiser all of a sudden.
Originally a prop comic, but I thought this would be a little more fascinating. Brand-wise, I think.
Brand-wise, yeah. Somebody told me you got to mix up your game, kid.
Yeah, right.
So a PT Cruiser, all of a sudden, we see it in front of us, and all of a sudden it just flips. It flips.
It rolls like
it rolls
across the
4
highway.
lanes. I've never seen a car. Even in movies, you're like, how do they pull that stunt off?
Yeah.
You don't, because it was real life, dude. PT Cruiser, 4 lanes, flips, boom, 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 ditch. And Brad just pulls over instinctively, I gotta.
Which, by the way, what the fuck could I do?
Yeah, what are you thinking you were really gonna do in that moment? Oh no!
Pop out a can of spinach. Like,
So he pulls over, and we was like, holy shit! We stopped. We're like, holy shit! And then we were both kind of feeling each other out, like who's gonna make the first decisive move of what we should do now? Because he pulled over, so it was almost like now Adam. All right, I pulled over. I made that move. Your move. Like tell us what to do. So I was like, all right, man. I go, yo, you run across and see if they're okay, and I'm gonna call 911. And because I got a phone. His was
charging. Brad gets hit by
his
a car.
was charging. His was charging, and I go, Brad, you run across you running across the street that's gonna be great. Like people who see that, like him running across the street, and then all of a sudden the woman runs to the back of her car. And we're like, oh shit! She goes to the back car, with an immediacy
scared.
of she's checking on a kid, you know. So she runs back there. She opens the door, and she's checking on a kid that possibly could be, who knows, decapitated, crushed. And Brad's running across slow-mo Baywatch style, fucking just sprinting as fast as he can across the freeway, by the way.
Yeah.
And this
Is this
woman,
the 5?
Yeah.
and this woman. And again, this is when I was like, oh, dude, the fucking mystique behind LPs is next level. She's checking on a possibly dead kid and does a double take. And before I'm watching her as I'm on the phone calling 911, before she can totally pull the kid out or reach for it, she looks up and sees Brad and then does a double take and then stops and looks at him like, oh, shit, look at that. That's not something you see every day. Maybe, and then we start we're like, did she think it was the fucking ghost of the kid running towards her, being like, mom?
Wait, the kid was fine.
The kid was fine.
Yeah, I want to stress that because that amazed us because the kid came out and was actually laughing
unscathed.
Yeah, because the kid didn't know. The kid just went on a roller coaster ride. Kid had no idea.
You're in shock, I guess.
Yeah, and then
Brad runs over and it's just like, is everything okay?
And this is like a Jacob Marley Scrooge ghost thing.
Yeah.
What the fuck is happening?
Brad's running across. He's like, here I come.
You really could have said anything, and
I mean, dwarf superhero.
Did you guys start in the LA comedy scene at the same time?
I started a little before. You had started doing comedy. I don't know. We started about the same time, but you were more focused on acting, though.
So wait,
well, 2007 is when it was I did maybe 10 to 15 sets from 01 to 07.
Okay.
2 frat parties. I did London. I did 5 shows in London.
Still doing sets at this improv then.
Yeah.
2007 is when I started working in the comedy store doing phones, and I would do bringer shows. No, I'm sorry. 2010 is when I started working at the store. And then, 07, and then 2013 I got passed at the store, and then that's when I started to kind of just get, past all the clubs and start to get in a rotation.
Yeah. And
where did you gravitate to? Where did you find your
I did that Laugh Factory open mic thing for a little bit, but that was just so crazy. It was I remember I signed up, for a 3-minute thing with Jamie. You do 3 minutes, and then he would meet with you and give you advice. And I was like, all right. And I did some joke about being a fat kid, and I did this joke where I was like, being a fat kid had its downsides, but also its perks. I was the first one in the 4th grade to get a set of tits. A lot of my friends would I would charge them $5 to fill me up, and shit like that. And Jamie was like, buddy. He goes, you're funny, but you're up there being like, yo, suck my tits. And I'm like, wait, what? I never said
suck my tits.
He just started paraphrasing. He goes, "You're up there being like, yo, I'm this fat fuck with titty fucks, you know." And I'm like, again, I never said any of that. He's like, come back in 6 months and like try to not say, you know, fat fuck, titty fuck. And I'm like, all right, man, I guess. And so then that just discouraged me because I'm like 6 months to come back. Like I need to get up like tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the store, I gravitated towards because I don't know. I mean, again, like there was more opportunities to get on stage. 3 rooms and there's bringer shows and the open mic and then and then the improv. I started a show there to get stage time.
The improv I always felt like the improv was my home. I still feel like that a little bit.
Yeah.
Only because that's where I started doing sets in the city. But right now, I would say the Comedy Store is I've never really felt comfortable with the Laugh Factory. Jamie's insights always I felt were a little blind. Like I didn't. Like, I don't
Comedy
think
Store now is like your really cool stepdad, where you're like, oh hey, you're awesome.
Comedy Store is my dad that got out of prison, and he's like, hey man, I fucked up and I want to spend some time with you.
Still want to hang out?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about Tommy. Fuck that cunt.
What happened to Tommy?
He was a piece of shit, man. He was a real legit piece of shit.
I never knew the guy, so I was always.
I have a lot of feelings about Tommy.
Yeah.
He was a bad guy to me, man. Like I went to him very like candid and open and honest, you know, and he wanted me to park cars. I was like, dude, I have a TV show. Like that, you realize that's not like I'm on TV. Like I've been on TV for a fucking few years now.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna park cars. Like I'm not working. Hang on, you want me to get a job there? I was like, I have a fucking wife and 2 kids. You're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
You're out of your fucking mind. And then I said, I didn't say that, any of that. I said, I apologize. I'm not going to do that. I must be in the wrong situation, and I guess I won't work at the store. And I said, I appreciate your time, and I hung up. And then he called me back. He goes, I'm sorry. Who do you think you are? And I went, who do I think I am? I go, I'm Bert Kreischer. And I said, what, do you need me to explain something to you? And he goes, when I tell you I'm giving you an opportunity to work at the store, whatever his little fucking voice was, and you accept it. And I was like, okay. And I was like, yeah. I go, hey man, I'm a nationally headlining comic, and I have a TV show on TV right now. I have 2 kids, and I don't need money, and I don't need spots. I go, I was doing this because I respect the store, and I appreciate the store, and I want to work at the store. But if this is how you work at the store, then this isn't the club I thought it was, and I don't want to work there. If it's based off of will you be a slave as opposed to talent, then I'm not there.
Right.
And he was like, well, there's a way to get in or whatever, you know? You can't just call up and get in. And I went, okay. I said, look, I was willing to do anything, but I'm not willing to get a job there.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm not going to fucking take a job for minimum wage when I already make fucking well over 6 figures.
Yeah.
On TV. What the fuck? You're out of your fucking mind.
That's why I think that there was a disconnect with Tommy where it was like he was locked... I think he watched. I mean, anybody who never, he did plays and musicals, and always talked about how like I was, voted best actor in Delaware, and you're like, all right, I guess that, enables you to have this. But he watched so much comedy that I feel like even somebody who didn't ever get on stage and try to do stand up, like you watch so much of it, you probably do develop a taste or like an opinion that you feel like is, maybe stronger than others, but like. I don't know. There was definitely favoritism. There was definitely he got, I think, a little too prideful about like being the fucking the gatekeeper and
the store.
And I think he got off a little bit on telling dudes that were successful like you gotta like you think you can just come in to my club. It's like it's not your club.
Like Patton Oswalt.
Yeah,
you don't have what it takes
for sure, dude. And I think there were things about him that he did or said that weren't completely off, but I think like that got outweighed by the amount of things that he did that were like also, and look, I love weed, but sometimes you can look at somebody that smokes a ton and be like, dude, that's fucking with the way you make decisions and you think. And he would get high a lot and be in that cover booth, and sometimes I would come after a set and look for approval and try to talk to him about things, and he would give me advice, and I was like, dude, I could have, eaten mushrooms and talked to a squirrel about that same shit tonight, and he probably would have told me the same thing.
I had the same, not the same feelings with Jamie, but I had similar feelings with Jamie that he like what bothered me about Jamie. And I don't work this Laugh Factory ever. I would never.
Why not?
I just never felt comfortable there. I had 2 sets there, and I got deals off both, 6-figure deals. Probably 2 of the best sets of my entire life.
What?
Jamie watched both of them, and he said, "I don't get it." And I went, "I just got CBS and NBC both got it.
They
both
it.
got it very well.
CBS got it.
I mean, one of the best sets of my entire life was at the store or at the Laugh Factory. One of the best sets of my entire fucking life.
You never forget it, huh?
Oh my god!
How often do you think about that set?
I think about it probably once every month. I'll think about
I
that.
love that you said that, dude.
Yeah, like I think, dude, it's the dream set.
Because you know what I mean? Like, how many cool things do we get to do in our lives that you just fucking are farts in the wind because he gets trumped by the next...
Yeah.
Farts in the wind...
Like a Kansas deep cut?
Farts in the Wind was the original from Pocahontas. There was Colors of the Wind.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
wanted to go Farts in the Wind, but they were like... No, but I'm saying, like...
Casino.
But you know, like it's so easy to just like move on to the next thing and forget.
No.
And it's like whether you have video or photograph evidence of it, but like to remember emotionally and everything about that set. I'm sure you can.
It was the greatest. It was the greatest experience I've ever had in Hollywood. I recounted it to Barry Katz on his podcast, and I cried.
All right,
because it was the Hollywood moment. You
Tell me about the happiest you've ever been in your life.
Do you remember your jokes?
I love you, Barry, but you know I shit on you sometimes.
What did you drive on the way to the show?
Barry, I tell Barry this story on his podcast. I cry.
Yeah.
I have a moment where I go, "This is what you want, these Hollywood moments." And then Barry goes, "That's great. Are you ready to admit you're an alcoholic?" And I'm like, "What the fuck, Barry?" I go, "Bro, is that the question you've been thinking about this whole fucking time?"
holy shit, dude!
Ugh. But yeah, it was great. It
Are you
was
a
amazing.
CBS paid
Kathy
you that
Griffin was
money to go
involved.
to rehab.
What?
Yeah, I'll tell you very briefly the story, only because it's a good Hollywood moment.
Okay.
ICM showcase. Dane, Nick Swartzen, me, Reno Collier, Earthquake, Scott Henry, and then probably a couple more comics I'm forgetting their names were pretty big comics now or whatever, but I'm forgetting their names.
Really quick, Reno
Sure.
Collier. I never met him, but
Yeah.
I just remember when I hear his name, I think of the Jeff Foxworthy roast where Greg Giraldo, my favorite comic of all time, said, Reno Collier is here. I don't know who or what that is.
Yeah. Reno Collier was a murderer.
Beast, right?
Yeah.
Dude, he's
I mean, everything I saw of him, I was
still
like,
is
oh, you're
murderer,
a
still
killer.
Is a murderer. He does it. He approaches it differently, like the business differently, because he does it out of Atlanta.
Yep.
But and I'm not going to shit on that at all. But man, he was a murderer on
Yep.
stage. Murderer.
He murdered the roast.
Clean,
Yep.
Dude, fucking amazing. So the lineup is Scott Henry, Earthquake, Nick Swartzen, ...
Oh my
And
God!
So Scott Henry goes up, first set, rough. I think Scott would admit that, rough. Earthquake goes up and starts murdering. And the one thing, I mean this is a compliment, Nick Swartzen has never put himself in a situation where he could be compromised based on statistics. He wants to be put in the situation where he's going to do well because he knows he's going to do well. Because why am I going to fuck with my money and go, following Earthquake's going to be hard. But you know what? I'll do it. Nick Swartzen is what my wife says to my daughter Isla. She goes, "You need to advocate for yourself." Nick Swartzen advocates for himself. I respect the fuck out of this. I wrote about this in my book. I think I wrote about Nick. Is that Nick would say no to 90% of the things people offered him, and I think it made him more valuable. I think people were like, "Fuck,
It's rare.
How do I get Nick?"
Yeah.
And Nick's supposed to go on after Earthquake, and he just goes, "I'm not going up." And they're like, "What?" He's like, "I'm not going up. I'm not following that. I'm not going up." And he walks out of the building and leaves. Hey, by the way, I think Nick would admit this, at this point in his career, I don't know if he deserved to have that kind of gravitas or like that fucking weight. But, man, I respected it because I was like, I wish I could fucking walk out of the room. I don't want to fucking follow Earthquake either. And Barry Katz comes up to me. He's like, "Papa, we've got to switch up in the lineup. Do you mind following Earthquake?" Because I was like the least. I'd been with Barry like for 1 year, and everyone else had been with him for like 2 or 3 years. So I was like, and I had a joke where my joke was, "My name's Bert, hot sexy name." "Whoa, do you do porn?" "No, Bert's last name when you're here during sex." Bert.
Yeah.
And I used to always say,
Sounds like on Fast Forward. That joke.
I used to go, "Shh, call me Quate." Like I say a black guy's name.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh, I bet I could just say, shh, call me Earthquake, and it'll kill." Because Earthquake's murdering. So I go up, I do the thing, "Shh, call me Earthquake." And the fucking place goes roof off. And I cruise through an 8-minute set, closing with, "Next thing you know, you're starting coke off my cock doing dick freezes."
Full circle.
Fucking Kathy Griffin gets on. grabs me in a hug, and goes, "That was a fucking dream set." And I walk off. Barry Katz shoves me, says, "Don't talk to anyone, Papa. We're getting you in a car and we're getting you the fuck out of here." People are climbing over Barry to talk to me. Bert, I have a script. I have a project I want you to work on. And gets me in a car. And the next day I had like a fucking 6-figure deal.
Holy shit.
Jamie, and God bless Jamie, and I've had a few run-ins with Jamie. I don't think he'd remember any of them, honestly. I remember one time this comic I worked with, I think we all know who we're talking about here, was like...
Rita Rudner?
Yeah.
Yep.
She was like, if you want to work at the store, you just got to buy Jamie weed. And I was like, what? So I bought Jamie weed, and I went...
Tommy.
No.
Store.
No.
No.
Yeah, Bert, you said store, but you meant factory.
What did I say?
You said if you
Oh,
want
no.
store.
Yeah. If you
Tommy
Store. If you want
store.
to work at the Laugh Factory, you've got to buy Jamie weed.
Whoa.
And so I bought Jamie weed. I drove it to the Laugh Factory. I
Nice.
walked it up to his office. I gave it to him. And then he was like, buddy, or whatever. I don't know. But it was like, I guess we got high and then just sat there and didn't talk. And then I was like, oh, this was a mistake. I don't want to work at this Laugh Factory ever again. And I just walked
That's
out.
the last time you've been there?
No, I worked there one time since.
And
One
you-
time since.
And you didn't enjoy it?
He passed me. He goes, yeah, call in, get the veils, get your spots. And so I called in, and by the way, this was also the heyday of Dane. So you could go in and then not go on stage.
I get that. That's
And so
not the
that
case
was
anymore,
part of
though.
the thing. But I remember God damn it. Not Larry. What's his name? Jamie saw my set
Yeah.
for that ICM showcase, and Barry said to him, "So can he be passed here? Can he work here?" And Jamie's like, "I don't know. Not that good. I mean, not that strong." He goes, "He runs the light. And I was like, "I did a fucking 8-minute set. Like I know I did an 8-minute. What are you talking?" And I was like, and I still wanted to work there, but then I got high with him, and I was like, I don't think this creeps me out.
I mean, I don't know. I hear these
I
stories
also
of...
didn't like the idea that he would tape everyone's set and then put it online like he owned their
They don't do
material.
that anymore. I mean, they check in with you. You know,
now they ask you.
They don't just tape every set anymore. And now it's like if they do, then they say, "Hey, we taped this night. Like, is there something from it?" And they send you the file.
Oh, really?
I mean,
That's not bad.
I mean, I don't know. See, I definitely subscribe to like not wanting to not have any spot I can't go up at. But I mean, I guess I understand. Like, and I've heard like, doesn't Maron have a thing with like the improvs? Like they stiffed
he
him
won't- he
way
won't
back
work
when.
the
And he won't.
improvs.
And
But by the way, I think that's cutting into his money. Like, because they go, there's a lot of improvs out there.
I mean,
that
I
you
just
can make
feel like
50 grand.
I just feel like, what is a grudge really worth?
Mark
I mean,
Maron
like,
could make 50 grand at some of these fucking clubs.
I know, dude. And so I mean, I know you like this.
I
it
told
was
him
your
that I said, Mark, man, get past your grudge. I mean, I didn't say it like that. Obviously, I respect Mark way too much to talk to him. Like, I know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah,
like,
but,
I look up to Mark, but I definitely was like, I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of money you're leaving on the table. I don't even know if I said it that way. I don't know if I never said
probably with their
anything
agents.
and just thought it all.
Yeah, maybe you just thought about it.
Maybe I thought it all. Look, I love Mark and I respect the fuck out of him. And I look at him as
Me
like
too.
as like a
Everybody does.
like a much older brother. No, no, I do love Mark. He was there when I got passed at the. He was part of the reason I got passed at the cellar.
oh really?
Yeah, because I went. I was doing a spot, and I was having a drink. I wasn't drinking because I don't drink before I go on stage. But like, I was having a soda or whatever,
Yeah.
and I was sitting with him and Manny. Was it Manny?
Sure.
My fucking brain is fried.
Estelle, the woman that runs
No,
the.
it was her brother, Manny, I think. Manny came up and was like, said to Mark, "You know this guy?" And Mark's like, "He's very funny." And then Manny watched me, and then Manny passed me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is that a
but then
big?
and then I said to him, I said, "Man, this is a big moment for me. But had this been a year ago, I'd live here. But I live in L.A., so I won't ever call him for spots."
Wow.
And he was like, "Really?" I said, If this was a year ago, I would be living in New York for the rest of my life. That was the feather in my cap, was getting passed at the cellar."
Yeah.
He's like, call. Why can't I remember any fucking name? I was about to say call Estelle.
That's what I just
Call
said.
Esty.
That's
Did you just
Esty.
watch
That's
the-
who it is. I just
Yeah.
said Estelle.
Is that what you
I
said?
still got Golden Girls on the mind, man.
The thing that's I'm loving right now is what's going on at this store.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Well, a club with 3 rooms that are so vastly different. what other club can you name in the world that is that?
Yeah,
that has that.
So many original
Can
shows.
you? That has every room is so different.
Yeah,
I mean,
roast
literally,
battle, stand up on the spot, kill Tony, like all these.
but not just the size of the room.
shows.
It's like there's a different. I mean, a
Okay,
very
let's
comedy.
break it down. You work out, right?
Yeah.
So let's break it down into working out, because that's what it is. It's working out. I will say definitely this: the OR is cardio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cardio.
Yep.
You don't enjoy it. It's a little exhausting at times. When you feel good and you're doing it, you're like, that was a good one today. But a lot of times you're like, I know I have to do this.
Yeah. You're like,
I would love to go to the store.
You get your
and just
playlist
do the-
together,
Just
you're
do
like-
the belly room and do fucking squats.
Yeah.
Because that's what the belly room squats,
Yep.
and then the fucking main room is a combination of both. It's not as, and I wouldn't say that belly room
It's a little more
easy, but
stretching.
It's not as fun as the belly room, and it's not as exhausting as the OR can be. I'd say the main room's more like remember those machines? They're not Nautilus, but they're like hammer curls, like they're the hammer machine. You know?
Yeah,
Hammer
dude.
Girls? Is that
is
the
that it?
backup dancers for MC Hammer?
Yeah, hammer girls.
There is a. I mean, what room do you find is the most rewarding, like laughter wise? Like when that room explodes, because they all have their. There's a different
Considering I've
decibel
never
level.
Gotten it in the OR.
Really?
Well, yeah, but I'm not doing the Comedy Store the right way sometimes. Like, I only go there to work on material. I
Yeah.
don't go there to kill. Like, I don't go there with an act going like I would never go do like. There's no reason for me to do stand up. This is a little problematic, I think. There's no reason for me to do stand up if I know it works. Like, there's no, like, on the road there is, so I'm getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
But in LA, there's no purpose for me to go in and go, this is what it looks like when I kill. Like,
Yeah.
like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So I go,
Did you ever have that though? Like when you were?
oh, yeah, I did it
Yeah,
for a long
because
time.
when you see comrades, you're like, oh, Marin's watching now. He's never seen me, so let me fucking crush so that he
Right.
knows that I'm.
But now I just go, I have a joke I'm working on, and like I went into the OR one night and I was like, I was like, I needed to figure out these lines in this joke. What's the funniest line? So I just would do the setup to it, and then I do 5 like so. I have a joke where this is the reason I would go call in for a spot, in my opinion. I have a joke where I roll up to my daughter Isla, she's saying the word cunt at the top of her lungs, and I want to say she's saying the word cunt at the top of her lungs, so what I would do is I'd come up with 7 of them. That works the best, and I just go rattle off all 7. She's saying "cunt at the top of her lungs" like her favorite soccer team just lost. She's saying "cunt at the top of her lungs" like she just got done working with Chelsea Handler. She's saying "cunt at the top of her lungs." So like you can't do that on the road. You gotta just deliver one.
Yeah.
But I can do that at the OR. By the way, and I will say this, and I'm not being shitty, but I do think there are a lot of people not using the OR the right way. Like Sebastian uses it the right way.
Yep.
Tosh uses it the right way. R uses it. Joe, like a lot of guys do. And then there's some. Again, maybe it's just. I don't know. Maybe this is me being a fucking hypocrite, but like I just look at it like if you just go in there to kill, then you're making it harder for people that
Are trying to
write.
trying
like-
to write stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what it should be. It should be
keep
a
the room
workout
consistent. Yeah, for sure.
Like I watch people sometimes go up and do fake crowd work in the OR, and I go, seriously, why? Like, don't you do comedy? They're like, I can go up and do fake crowd work and kill. What's the point? Is this an ego stroke or like? By the way, I'm being way shitty because I'm drunk. But like, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
but you're being critical in the right way.
I don't want to see anyone do fake crowd work ever.
Well,
wanna
I
see
mean,
real crowd
by the
work.
way, it doesn't work. I mean, it might get. You can also tell it's so obvious. At least from my experience, like when I first started doing crowd work, it was and I would watch Harlan Williams when I got to host for him a few times, and I was like, one of the best. And I would go, God, wow, how did you get so good at it? And he goes, you know why? He goes, I was always afraid to do it. And that's what made me go, oh, you should start doing it because you're so terrified to talk to the crowd. So he just started forcing himself to do it.
Yeah.
And that's how I started doing it. And you know, obviously when you're first doing it, you're not listening. You're just trying to think like, oh, I need to be funny. So like when you would ask a guy something and then he starts talking back to you, you're not even listening. You're just like, all right, now be funny. Like there's silence, so get a laugh. So you're like, oh, really? You didn't even listen to what he said. And you're like, oh, well, is that why your shirt's blue, you fucking bitch? And then they're like, what? That had nothing to do with anything. And you're like,
dude, I love the crowd work you did on the. I watched it today with the guy with no teeth.
oh, yeah.
That was real. That was genuine crowd work.
Oh, thanks,
That's
yeah.
genuine crowd work.
Well, that's listening and building, and that took, I mean, years of me, by the way, failing at it to get to a place to where, look, I feel like I'm pretty good at it now, but it's like, obviously, it can always get better, but at least I feel comfortable in a point where I've dealt with it so poorly to now I go, I trust myself that any situation I can is not going to take me over, you know?
I should go do the OR and do crowd work, legit crowd work.
It's listening. It's all just, I mean...
listening, 'cause I don't listen very well.
That's 100% of what it is. And then, because you know you're funny, so it's like now it's just listening and just going like, oh, cool, let me build the moment and trusting that even if there's an exchange of up to 30 seconds to a minute of like not funny, that you're going to come in with something. Because instinctually, you just feel the moment and you're like, all right, there's been enough like... banter that hasn't gotten a laugh, and now I need to like insert something. But
the thing I look about the thing I like about the store is it forces you to step up your game. Like I believe the main room. I believe the main room you can do your act if you want to do your act.
Yeah,
like you can definitely murder, and that's fine. Like I do
big rest.
Yeah, it's like
room holds 300 people.
It's a show.
Kill it. Yeah,
it's like kill it. Definitely. I personally, it's just my taste. I wouldn't do stuff for my last hour.
Yeah.
Only because I go, that's not what I'm.
Yeah,
you should definitely trying to move forward.
Yeah.
But I believe the OR should be that place where, like, don't cheat yourself, because you're not just cheating yourself, you're cheating everyone. Because then, you know.
Yeah.
Like I believe that.
There's
like
some room.
Louis go up with a piece of paper and just read off stuff and be cool with bombing, and I went. So if I want to be as good as Louis C.K., I got to be willing to be as bad as Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that was my favorite scene from the movie Comedian, where Jerry kind of loses his place on stage, and you see Seinfeld going through the same struggles that every comic goes through, because it just made me feel like, oh, so no one's ever perfect at this.
Yeah. It's the thing I respect about Chris Rock and I respect about Chappelle is that they let themselves bomb.
Yeah.
And I go, and that's the thing, you know, I think that I will tell you this. Now, I'm not being shitty towards Dane, but like when I came out here, Dane was the first person I ever saw in my entire career that never bombed. Mm-hmm. He never bombed.
That's amazing.
He always fucking murdered. And by the way, he murdered taking chances. Like, he definitely took chances.
Yep.
Like, but it was fucking...
Have you seen anything like that since? Somebody consistently just going up and destroying like that?
Rita Rudner.
Rita Rudner?
Well, look, Rudner had a time. 92 to 94 was the year of the Rudner.
By the way, no joke, none of us will probably ever get as big as Rita Rudner.
I know.
That's why we're making fun of her.
Dude, fucking.
I mean,
I know, dude. We're deflecting. We're just.
We're joking around, but like,
no, dude.
When you stop and think about it,
I know.
Business.
Yep.
Like, and having shows in Vegas.
Let's name
By the way,
comics.
I would love to be a joke on a podcast at some point that comes up more than once, where people are like Rita Rudner, like,
yeah, sure.
You know.
Let's name comics that will never be as big as, probably.
Okay.
That would be a joke. Carrot Top.
Sinbad.
Oh, jeez.
Which, by the way, we just talked about. Destroyer Sinbad. Paul Reiser.
Paul.
Well, I mean, nobody's joking about Paul Reiser. I just fucking mad about using an underrated show.
I'm trying to think like a Terry Fader.
Kathy
I
Griffin.
don't even know who Terry Fader is.
That's the
He was the puppet guy from America's Got
Talent with fucking puppets who made $28 million last year. It's insane. And along that line, Dunham.
Okay, let's be real about this. Do you think any of us will ever be bigger than the Amazing Jonathan?
No.
Right?
Oh, no. I mean,
no.
I hope so.
I don't think so, though.
I think so. Well,
He's fucking big.
He is big.
But if you get like you said, you got a sitcom thing going. If that goes,
That doesn't mean anything.
but if it goes,
Yeah, no, but I've been on TV for 7 years. TV means nothing anymore.
David Hyde Pierce. You think we can all be as big as Niles Crane from Frasier?
no,
Probably
he's
not.
one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. But hey, I'm gonna do my damnedest trying.
Do you think we'll ever be
Tim
bigger?
Allen. I've heard Tim,
I'll never
Yeah.
be as big as Tim Allen.
Yeah.
But I've heard people make Tim Allen slams, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what
like
are you
Home
fucking...
Improvement.
I'm about to bring it to a very real level.
Yeah.
Do you think any of us will ever be bigger than Ralphie May?
Wait, like. Okay.
No.
That's the obvious joke. Come on, guy. That was too
Like
easy.
Ralphie
that was a
is
softball.
like so. Let's bring it down to like a legit level. Like we'll probably definitely never be as big as Bill Burr. Mm-hmm. We'll probably definitely we'll never be as big as Louis, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle. No one will ever be as big as Dave Chappelle.
I don't think so, man.
Dave Chappelle will be the.
That's a path that you can't even begin to try to emulate.
He might. Okay, rank them: Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor.
Chappelle. For me, man, you know, it's like I just saw Chappelle in Radio City last week. I've seen him maybe.
Did you see him in Radio City?
Dude, it was a new hour that was different from the 2 hours he put out. And I saw him at the Blind Barber, which is a place in Venice, which is a tiny little bar that he worked out an hour. It was different from the hour I just saw 2 weeks ago. And I saw him in Venice at that Blind Barber spot 4 months ago. The dude is it's on another level, man. You know, and he talked about Charlottesville for 20 minutes, which happened 2 days prior.
Wow.
You know, it
At
just
Radio City Music Hall.
Yep.
You talk about
and there's
trying out
Chappelle at the
material.
store late night.
Like he's trying out material at Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah, I mean,
he is Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
I know.
He does have that. He does have that wave behind him of the fact that
Of course.
he's put out such great material that you want.
Yeah.
People
You want
to hear
him to be
kill.
great. You're
They
right.
want to hear him work on stuff.
You're
It's
right.
Like Tosh. You know, I said to Tosh one time, I got off stage and he got off stage and it was right when the Captain Sully landed the boat in the thing. Mm-hmm. And he was like, and he had like
the plane in the water.
yeah, like his opening joke was
That's
The
sad
boat
that I-
and the thing.
That's sad
the
that I knew
plane
exactly
in the water.
what
That's a big
was.
deal.
What it was
By the
real.
way, I wish I knew Captain Sawyer so I could tell him that
Boat and the
that's.
Thing sounds like a bad children's book.
Yeah.
Daniel Tosh's opening joke was, "Wow!" And I didn't think there was a shittier place to land than New Jersey.
That's so funny.
And I was like, "Wow, I got to start writing." And he goes, "No, you don't. You have to kill until you're famous, and then once you get famous, then start writing." And I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah. No one knows who the fuck you are." And but we're not being a dick. I remember him saying, "Like, you have no idea how many people haven't heard of you. You have no idea." I remember hearing that, like, when the Machine Story went viral for the first time, it had like 1 million views.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
you're probably like, everyone knows me.
I was like, well, I guess I got to stop selling it now. And someone's like, no, there's still like 1 billion people that haven't heard it. And you're like, oh yeah, I guess you're right.
So like all of Beirut doesn't know. You got Glendale,
there in the
Tallahassee, and Nebraska.
I want to learn how to tell it in Russian so that it goes viral in Russia. And I can go to Russia.
oh my
Okay,
God.
man. Dude, you got a lot of great ideas. And the leather
That's
fucking
top
wallet
of the
thing
list.
had me. You had me at leather wallet. Not to quote Tom Cruise and Jerry Maguire.
Had me at leather wallet.
Slang.
But, dude, yeah, learning that. Come on, man. I mean, I don't know if you do the whole special in Russian, but maybe like that
least
moment.
if I could,
Are
learn-
you
if I-
kidding me? In front of an all-Russian crowd in Russia? With Tom Hanks and the cast of Castaway? And the FedEx people that were...
I bet I could learn. Just enough Russian to do a really great 45 minutes.
I mean, well, now you're getting into Eddie Izzard territory because he does hours in English and French and German. It's insane. Like he does full hours.
I think I
of
might be pigeonholing myself to one story though. I was like, maybe I should just be a great American stand-up.
But
Dude,
but like just the fact that you could do that,
no.
like, and just
Don't-
learn that bit, just learn that bit in Russian, and then do it. That'd be amazing. Like,
Just do that bit in Russian and just be like,
yeah, do your Rosetta Stone.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Bert. Очень приятно.
Yeah,
Yeah, the tone of your
voice.
voice.
I'm trying to think of how to say what
and that's when you retire the bit is when you do it in Russian because it's like, all right, I did it in English, I did it in Russian,
Yeah.
it's done.
If Japan comes calling and knocking at the door, do it
What I
there.
was really thinking about doing? I was
What's
thinking
that?
about doing it again on my next special because there's so much of it. Like I had to tell it every show, so there's so much not new stuff in it, but it's just so many jokes inside it that I get bored telling.
Yeah.
I was like, what if I just do it again? I go, fuck it, I'll do it again.
I am not
just do it on
opposed.
every one of my specials.
I'm not opposed to that, dude. Why the fuck not?
Like, why not just go? When I was 22, I was like, is he telling this story again? You know that half the people were like, fuck it, let's just hear where he goes with it.
If there's something that's like, I mean, you said you've added stuff to it.
I've added so much to it, like this but
Oh, well, then why not?
What happens?
You're gonna be
is-
like George Lucas in Star Wars. There's gonna be a new cut
Yeah.
every like 7 years.
It sucks because there's parts in it now that are so much funnier than when I first told it. Like there's one part where I go, that I go, I wish I had thought of this earlier.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't tapped out emotionally on the story like 2 years ago and then told it in rote. And then on the special just been like, that's the story, it's done. I wish because like now that I don't care about it, meaning like I just tell it. Like there's a part at the end where I go, where the gangster goes, I'm going to fuck you. We're going to fuck you in the mouth. We're going to fuck you in the ass. We're going to fuck you. I'm going to stop with the wee shit. And then now I go, I'm not fucking anybody. I'll hold him down and be like, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. And it's so much of a better line than anything I've ever had. And I was like, where was that 2 years ago? Why wasn't I writing this 2 years ago?
That's the thing with stand-up is it's
you want to get it up and running like a spinning plate and go, you're going.
Yeah, it's just constantly evolving, constantly changing. And there's times. Some of my most fun times is when someone calls out an old bit from one of my old specials, and I don't remember it, but they just called it out, and
piss?
And
go piss. Just piss in the back.
Yeah, like
How about the Bird of Paradise?
He doesn't know what that is. No, but you know what? Someone will call out an old bit, and I'll start telling it, and in my head I'll go, "Oh shit, I don't remember this bit," and I'll essentially have to write it again.
Yeah.
Like in that moment, and I'll usually find a new joke or a new take or a new.
Chris Porter said something to me that was pretty genius.
Chris Porter's great.
He goes, you know, I watched your hour, and he's like, why don't I tell some of my older bits towards the end? Like, why don't I work on the new stuff? And then, like, he goes, I feel like I've gotten rid of all this great stuff. It really is great. Yeah. And so then I went and watched him one night, and he goes, you know, they're dropping the checks, and he's like, if there's any bit that I've told in the past that anyone wants to hear, hey, you call it out. I'll tell it right now. And someone goes, Taco Bell. And he goes, oh, okay. He's like, I haven't told that in a while. By the way, Chris Porter's a great storyteller.
Yeah.
He's a legit great storyteller.
He and his girlfriend are my go-to comic couple that me and my fiance go
Juliana?
on. Yeah. We go on double dates all the time. It's fantastic.
Chris Porter told a story that I'm not gonna bury his story and tell it on the podcast, but it's about his dad that was so fucking good that I was like, dude, like, I need to start watching more comedy because that's fucking amazing. But he was like, I'll just do older bits during the check drop. So he started doing that. He did it, the thing, and he was trying to figure it out. It was funny, and they were like, what's that? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I probably won't smoke only because I'm into vape pens, son. Yeah, I'm getting into these vape pens. But every time I hit them, I end up getting so fucking high that the podcast trails off into me going, what was I saying?
Yeah.
Do you know what I was saying? Oh, that smells really good.
Got it from Josh Wolf.
Well, you can't go wrong there. The only person, what kind of?
Because
I don't know, just great weed.
Because he's a 62-year-old guy that looks 30. So yeah.
If there's a guy,
I'm gonna hit this only because I've been jogging a lot lately.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep my lungs healthier. And I found the paper make me. I can feel the papers.
I can feel the papers.
Isn't it great that we're at a place where like these discussions can happen? Like it's evolved. I mean, like when I first started even knowing what weed was, I never would have thought there would have been that many contraptions or.
I love it.
Me too.
I love it. Yesterday, my wife's birthday, we go over to our friend's house. We have a cocktail. It's going to stun his growth. You
gotta be. Is that an urban legend?
What? That weed stunts your growth?
Yeah.
I mean, I was 6'2" before I started smoking.
You piece of shit.
We get up in the morning. We go over there to our friend Sandy's house. We have a masseuse, two masseuses. That are
Masai.
Dude, that joke deserves a lot more credit than it just got.
We have two Masai.
Two Masai.
Because
And so...
dude, then, you're ready for Guam.
Yeah.
So are you going to Guam?
Tomorrow.
What?
I'm going to Guam tomorrow.
Why?
By the way, they're getting ready to practice missile.
You're about to get blown the fuck up.
Dude, he told me this. I go, as a friend, I go, what do you do here? Do you somehow, like, fix his... a little concerned.
Call it, yeah. I mean...
You'll be fine.
Yeah, that'll be all right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to convince myself. No, it's...
Guam's beautiful, I heard.
It is.
I was booked there 6 months ago. I had to look up on the
war.
Yeah, I had to look up on a globe to see where the fuck Guam was. I had no idea. I was like, that's South America? So I looked at
Isn't it great when you discover a new country?
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, that's
what Columbus must have felt like. Wait, no,
Brad. You're like Columbus.
Yeah, I'm like, well, yeah, I'm like the dwarf Columbus. But yeah, so I'm going to Guam to do stand up at the Hyatt Regency down there.
Are you serious?
It's not in a military base. It's freaking Hyatt. I'm gonna go. This is my I've done.
Don't tell me the deal points, but did they fly you down?
Yeah.
First class? Or it doesn't matter to you, but
He's taken care of. Well, they know he might get fucking blown up, so they're like, we're gonna really make it worth
tell
your
them
while.
to hit me up. I'll do Guam.
Yeah.
Lunchables.
How big's a seat?
How big's a seat?
Like I know how
On the
big's
plane, how big's your seat?
I mean,
no, how big is
for
the,
me, it's a
I told you
duplex.
once I smoke weed, it fucking goes downhill. Well, how big's the theater?
500, I think.
Wow,
Yeah. It's the ballroom at the Hyatt Regency.
that's fucking great.
Yeah.
Tell them
Yeah.
to hit me up. I'm into going to Guam.
Well, yeah.
I'm
there's
into
still a
Guam, I'm into
left
going
after I
Guam.
get back.
I got to move tickets better than Singapore. Hey, dear guys, Singapore. I've 127 tickets sold already.
Oh yeah.
650 seats.
I did Singapore.
Did you sell it out?
No.
Okay.
No.
How big? How big?
It wasn't the 600 seater. It was like a 300 seater, and it was close, but
Yeah, it's close. They
Yeah.
say it's a walk-up market. I don't know who gets that info was Singapore. They're like Singapore. By the way, if you're the promoter, I apologize. I'm not shitting on Singapore.
No,
I'm excited
it's-
to come there, but I'm just fucking around that I get the breakdowns, and it's like I didn't move one ticket last week. And I was like, and
Jesus.
so I got to shoot some. I'm going to All Things Comedy. You guys do with All Things Comedy?
No.
now
Oh, that's right. Did we talk about this already?
No, we haven't. We were for a minute with
Al and
Al.
Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
and,
just
this thing don't. Sometimes things don't work out. We love Al. We love Bill. It's no love. Like it's not like we're at each other. Like it was.
it was an
a great
opportunity
situation, but it just
with
didn't work
people
out.
that were just a little bit more, I don't know, attention, because of where we were at, and
That's fine. Yeah,
but
it's just what happened.
I think Al and Bill, obviously this is a podcast network that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing that we dropped the ball, and I'm a part of this to blame as well, is that we didn't consolidate our advertising.
You just said something way too intelligent for me.
We should have consolidated our advertising in day one and gotten one ad sales rep and had them run our ad sales.
yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
that would have made a difference.
Instead of everyone getting their own.
The problem is, none of us are Chris Hardwick. Chris Hardwick is probably a guy with
Empire.
9 hobbies.
Yeah.
He's a guy he's a different type of person, and he thinks of things in a very different way than a comic does. And I'm not saying that he's not a comic, but he's not in the traditional sense. He's a little bit more of a businessman.
Totally.
He's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, yeah.
You have
That's
to do
insane.
stand-up more than, I don't know, twice a month to be a comic, don't you?
You got to be doing
And way
it.
more. That's a
I
low
think if
number.
you want to
but
say you're a comic, you got to be doing it at least 5 times a week. Right?
you also have to, in my
At
eyes,
least, unless you're on,
you also have
week
to
hiatus
frequent
from that.
like the clubs that are not only the big clubs in the city,
Yeah.
but the big clubs in the country.
Yeah.
Like I hear about him at like the store here and there, but like never. It's like you just got like that's if you got to go out on the. I mean, look, he's fucking has so much to do, but it's like maybe there's some of those nights you can. I don't know. Find a
don't
night to
know. I
go
don't
do
know.
one set at 9 p.m. somewhere just to.
He's not Joe Rogan.
That's-
Rogan's a beat. Like, look,
Dude,
look.
I heard Rogan telling Joe McHale one night in the parking lot, right? And Joe McHale's a Seattle guy, and we just met, and so we're fucking jamming about hometown shit. And then they come up and start talking, and I'm watching them being like, "Oh, fucking these two like juggernauts are just like sharing stories and whatnot." And then Joel's like, he's like, "Yeah, I was doing the belly room," and Joe's like, "Yeah, are you trying to come by more?" And he was like, "I mean, yeah." He's like, "It's tough. I got a family." And Joe goes, "I got a family." And he goes, "I got 2 kids." And Joel's like, yeah, but I mean, he's like, are you ever like out doing sets? He goes, man. And then he broke it down. He's like, I put my kids to bed at 8:30. Like, I'm with them, and doing the dad thing. And then I go out and do my sets 3, 4 a night, sometimes 2 a night, 5 a night. And then he's like, oh shit. And he just really like laid it out to him. And I was like, yeah, dude, where there's a will, there's a way. Like it's up to
Rogan finds hours in the day that I don't even knew existed.
And Joel took a moment and was just like, yeah, fuck, I guess you're right. Like maybe I'm, but also, I mean, dude, I don't know. Everyone's situation's different.
Joel's not a comic. He's a guy that, I don't mean to shit on him, but he's an actor. He's a host.
Well,
I'd say third on the list is probably comic.
he has a lot of other things going on. I mean, he still goes out and does the casinos and stuff like that. But yeah, you're right. You don't see him like.
I think no disrespect, Joel, and I mean none. But like I think when he started, he had the staff. He had KP Anderson writing his set, So like, I don't think he ever wrote comedy. Like, he was just doing the Soup on stage. Mm-hmm. It was like Soup presents Joel McHale almost.
Which is dope.
Yeah, which is great. It's great, but it's
so
like,
Rita Rudder did
like
for.
It's like, and by the way, none of us will get as big as Joel McHale.
Dude, never, never.
But the truth is, like, he's not inspired. He's not like sitting there like my notebook's right there. Like it's around me all the time. There's jokes written.
You're still
everywhere.
rocking the notebook,
I
huh?
got everything, dude. Oh,
I lost 2 notebooks and I swore off it. Now I email myself everything.
I think nonstop about material, and I'm a comic. That's what it is. And like, I'll put it to you this way: I had a really big day one day. I signed this big deal at Travel Channel, and was an executive producer, talent. This is what you want.
Yep.
And my wife, we were driving on Moore Park in Laurel Canyon, and my wife said, "You must be really proud of yourself. You should really." My wife has this thing called owning your Mondays. So when Amy Schumer's movie came out, we were really close with Amy Schumer, like really close. We used to let her stay at our house, and like Amy was like a little sister to me.
Wow.
And I'm not saying she's not now. It's just we haven't spoken in a while. But my wife read it on her phone and was like, "Oh, I fucking love Amy." She's like, "She is owning her Monday." And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "She earned this Monday." I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Today, she doesn't have to do a fucking thing because she worked so hard for a year to make this movie, and then it came out big, that today she shouldn't answer her phone. She earned this Monday." So my wife calls it earning a Monday. And so this one day I signed this deal, and it happened to be Monday, and she goes, "Oh, you've earned your Monday." And I said, "Yeah, I have." And she goes, "You must feel really proud." And I said, "You know what I'm proud of most is that I'm a comic, and you can't just be given that. You can't audition and then go, 'You're the next big star.'
Yeah.
You're the next big thing. Congrats." I mean, like, that's it. You're in. Mm-hmm. As a comic, you've got to earn it. You've got to spend 10 years in the trenches, 5 years on the road, fucking 18 years obsessing about material where you go back and look at notebooks 5 years old and go, maybe I can fit this in there. Like, you got to earn it. And I went, the thing I'm most proud of is that I'm a comic. That if I walk into the cellar, I walk into the stand, I walk into the store, I walk into the Laugh Factory, I walk into the Improv.
Walk into a Best Buy.
Walk into a fucking Lincoln dealership. Yeah. Like, but people go, "Oh, he's a comic first. He's a comic first."
Yeah, you want that title to be after your name.
Yeah,
Why is it? Why do we love that title and just like the idea of that being like what you identify with?
I get offended when I see movie stars where they go stand-up comedian. I go, hold on, no.
Right.
Call him a comedian. Don't call him a stand-up comedian. That's very fucking different.
Well,
is it because we just all understand the ultimate, like there's a next level of sacrifice? And
I think it's because stand-up comic is something. It's kind of like what you said, Bert, where it's like you're a stand-up comic because no one comes to you and says you're a stand-up comic. Then you're like, no one hands you your book of material.
Congrats, you passed the course.
Yeah.
Now you're a comic.
Yeah, congratulations, you're a comic. Like it's something that we all earn. So based on that, I think that's why. Like someone can cast me in a movie, and now I'm an actor.
Now you're a movie star.
But like, I'm a comic because of the work I put into it, and not someone else finally making the decision to be like, yeah. Now you're in movies.
They can't take it away from you.
Yeah,
like
no matter what happens, like fucking, and this is obviously an extreme example, but if Bill Cosby wanted to,
yikes,
he could still. That's like back with Jim Jeffries.
By the way, just the beginning of that sentence makes me.
It's like back to the Jim Jeffries thing. Bill Cosby, but like,
pour that on.
If Bill Cosby wanted to, he could go out right now on a stand-up tour.
You pass me a.
This?
Yeah, he could.
He could. Maybe not theaters.
No way, dude.
Maybe there'd be protests.
Hold on 1 second. What do you mean no way? You're telling me Bill Cosby is at the Lyric or at the fucking You tell me they go Bill Cosby's in the main room
Nerd
tonight.
melt.
You're not gonna go.
You're not gonna go?
Hey, Adam, you mind hey, can I get in? Is that gonna be tight? And he's like, I don't know. There's Burr, Chris Rock, Joe Rogan, Chappelle, they're all in the back too.
Yeah, and there's a lot of protesters.
We would be on a wait list to watch Bill Cosby do stand-up now.
You're right.
Hey, let me tell you about raping a bitch.
Dude. do you think there's a part of him that wants to just get up there and talk like really like and just go, look, I'm towards the end of life and here's my it's called the fuck you tour, and he gets up there and he just basically like
he will fuck you.
And he just fucking let this is what I think about.
All right, that was great, Brad.
This is what I think about women's rights.
And he just says, fuck it. That's never been done. Somebody towards the end of their life just saying, yo, I'm going to say, I still have enough wherewithal to break this down and be like articulate about it, but I'm just going to say everything you don't even want to come close to hearing.
He's trying to hold on to a legacy that's already gone.
Yeah. It's
like that's the
he
thing.
is.
He wants to still be America's dad. And it's like,
he's like,
no, you lost that.
You think he even knows? You don't think he's completely demented at this point?
I hope
I think
he is.
He's a narcissist. Like I was friends with a narcissist once, and the reality was so skewed that you were like they'd say things and you go. Like I remember this person saying something one time, like a lie that they had put out in public, and then told me the truth, and then forgot they told me the truth and told me the lie, and I called them on it, and they were like, "Huh?" And they attacked me, and then I said, "No, you told me the truth one time."
They fought you because you didn't buy their bullshit?
And then they went, "Oh, I told you that?" And like, yeah, like, "Oh, yeah." And then blew it off, and I went,
like you got mad at me for telling you
the truth. That's amazing that you can do that.
Hey, here's a question. Remember the first lie you ever heard or were told when you recognized, like, fuck you, dude, that ain't true?
I think I was probably telling them before I heard them. I used to tell my neighbors I was related to Bo Derek.
That was your first lie?
Well, that was every kid.
Dude, I remember
Not even like to get out of getting in trouble or like someone else broke the vase. Like, no, I was related to Bo Derek.
She's my, you know what it was? It was a...
Did you want to fuck Bo Derek? You don't want to be related to her.
I wanted to be cool. I was like, I'm related to Bo Derek. And I was like, I must have been first grade.
Yeah.
And they were like, whenever she was big.
Best friend of mine in second grade told everyone at school his dad invented Little Caesars. He told us a fake story of how his dad came up with the slogan. He was like, everyone was sitting around talking about, what do? We do pizza. And then somebody was like, pizza? And they fucking went with it.
Dude, a first grader. I remember telling
I bought it too. We didn't know any different.
You did.
He also told us he fucked chicks by the fourth grade. I didn't know what sex was, but he had it and I didn't. I was like, I want sex. He's like, I'm doing it, man. Everyone's fucking doing it. We're like, we're in fourth grade. He's like, yeah, man, you tether ball and you fuck. Like, this guy was just...
I remember telling everyone I won a punt, pass, and kick contest at Buck Stadium. And my sister was behind me. She goes, Dad won't even let him play football. And I was like, I'm trying to make fucking friends, Annie. Don't you know how this works? You fucking pump it up.
God damn. You know what?
It's those kids that never got caught or called on it. They kept doing it.
Yeah, because they realized that's how you get popular.
Yeah.
That's how you get friends.
They were the celebrities, dude.
Yeah.
Cool kids in elementary school were the celebrity. Like, that was the first celebrity. Like, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, first kid that ever had sex that I knew of, other than Jess, who was lying about it in fourth grade.
Right.
Seventh grade. Jesse Mose. And guess what? Confirmed, because fucking... A year later, you show up in eighth grade with a kid, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's right, Jesse Mose."
Told you. I call him Jesse. Told you.
We said prove it, and he did.
And he did.
Dude.
But I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? So like
funny.
that guy to me, like I don't remember his name and his face right now. I'm seeing it like
Ryan
at
Quinn.
some point.
Ryan Quinn was the first guy to get laid.
Brad,
AJ. I don't know his last name, but his first name's AJ.
Dude, but you remember it
Yeah, of course.
because that's such a like, you know.
It's so crazy. I look back and I go, I was 17 when I got laid, and I didn't even do it right.
Well,
Why?
of course you didn't. You were 17.
Yeah, right?
Well, in that tree's defense, you know, it was.
Tree's defense.
Wait, what was who? Where?
Why didn't you do it right?
I put the condom on wrong. Like I didn't.
Who
I
puts it
never
on right though? That's a.
I unrolled it all the way and then tried to slide it over my dick. So so I was like, my mom rolls my socks up, so I unrolled it all the way, and I slid it.
I love that that's the innocent logic of, well, my mom rolls socks, so condoms, that makes a lot of sense.
And as I'd push down, there was air inside it, so it was trapped inside it, so it would inflate. And so it would just balloon up. And I was like, it can't be right. And so then I finally put the right one on, and then I got on top of her. It was like 1 pump, 2 pumps, and I'm done. And she looks at me dead serious and goes, "Are you going to put it in?" And I'm like, "Huh?" I looked down, my dick's between her butt cheek and the bed, and I didn't even fuck her.
Between the butt cheek
so
and the
you
bed.
didn't even have...
I didn't even have sex with a person.
So
I had sex with a bed.
That's not
And-
losing your virginity then.
Then I put it in.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd already
after you were done?
after I compromised the integrity of the condom. It's a lot like going on a hike, going, "Hey, you want to hop in this fucking river real quick, get our socks nice and wet, and then we can start our hike?" You're like, "Who wants to do that?" They're like, "Sorry, this is the rule." And then I sloshed around in that bitch for a while. It was a fucking really big shit show. It was bad. And then when I pulled out, my dick's not even... I mean, it's hard, but it wasn't like... Obviously, everything's lubed up inside the condom, so as I pull out, there's no condom on it. I look down, it's between her legs. And I fucking pulled it, and I tug, and then I get a... It was fucking bad. I'm not even lying. I'm not even lying when I say this. And I didn't put this in my book because I thought people would think I was lying. I'm not lying. I swear to you, all my children right now. I pulled it. I pulled it and it was stuck. And when it let go, it smacked my hand. I got scared. It flew and it stuck on the mirror in the bedroom. I'm not even lying. I swear to you, all my children. I swear to you, all my heart. I swear to everything that's holding my life. May I be struck down tomorrow. It's stuck on the fucking window or on the mirror. And I went. And then grabbed it, and I went into the bathroom.
I thought like it was the episode of The Shining, but with fucking...
Yeah.
I went into the bathroom, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I just shook my head, and I was like, "You fucking idiot. Like, you couldn't have done anything right in there." And then I was like, and I think that's the reason I've only had sex with 6 chicks, is that when it went so bad there, that I was like, I'm not fucking doing that with anyone. I gotta really trust you if I'm gonna show you how bad I am at this.
Dude, yeah, there's so much you just think you like know about that, like to be prepped for that first moment. You just don't.
When
like
you put
I don't
it
know
in,
how much
good it feels. I was like, this doesn't feel like a hand at all.
Yeah. Oh my God! If
That's
pussy ever
amazing.
needs a commercial, that's the slogan.
Right.
This doesn't feel like a hand at all.
And that was with a condom on.
Have you ever done? I remember I've done a few. Like there's a Sex with Emily. That's a podcast. You know who that is?
I thought you were asking if we fucked a chick named Emily. I was like, well, no, I have not done that.
So specific.
I thought he was talking about like all the same Emily. Like, wait, we're all supposed to do that?
No, I was about to ask about
Who's Emily?
the fleshlight. Like,
I've done it.
fuck,
done it?
I
I've never done
got
it.
gifted one after I did the sex podcast, and I just was like, "There's no way I can do that." And then like, not only the host, but like other people around me, you know. And then I, when I pulled into do a TV job once, I had like, I was a big Muppet fan as a kid. I had these puppets in the back of my car.
Where the fuck is this going?
Puppets.
Did you fuck a Muppet?
No, dude, I did this sketch where I had these puppets, and also the fleshlight. After the podcast, I just threw it in my trunk, and I pulled it into the lot, and they were like, "We need to check your trunk." And the woman opens it, and she goes, "Puppets, fleshlight." She goes, "What the fuck you show you doing?" And I just
Like you're
go,
putting the flashlight inside a puppet and just being like, "Oh, you feel so good. Ah, you feel good too." Show me horny.
I've never been so embarrassed in my
always
entire life,
wanted
and
to
I
fuck
go,
this piggy.
one for a video, one I got from a podcast. She goes, "I don't know, want to know what the fuck this is." She goes, "But you good? Enjoy your show, you know." Anyway,
And then
so
she
I'm
told
so
that
curious.
story to everyone she ever met.
I'm so curious about the just that type of stuff, though, right? Like the fleshlight. Is that like
I got one.
Wouldn't know.
Rogan, you never
you
had
wouldn't know?
one?
I got
Brad,
one.
and all your crazy.
I got one at they gave to all the comics one year at the Montreal Comedy Festival, and
I think I got one then.
I just took one look at that thing and went, nope.
That's what I thought. It's like what I don't know, but
Are you kidding me? You know how many times I've looked at something and said, "I'm not going to put my dick in that." I looked at a noodle one time, a pool noodle, and was like, if it was a little bit bigger, I probably would have tried it. I one time Rogan was like, "You got to try a fleshlight." We're like, not like in a pervy way, but he was like, "Oh, you haven't tried it? Oh, they feel great." And so I was like, "Oh," I remember being like, "I have some floating around. You mind if I grab one on the way out?" But you can't go, "Hey, can you give me something to jack off into a friend?" So I go to the Miami Improv that week. This is back when it was in Coconut Grove, and I'm going to get something to eat. And as I'm walking to get something to eat, I see a sex shop, and I go, "Huh, what if they have fleshlights?"
Yeah.
So I walk in. I'm like, I do like the
Weekend made.
yeah. I'm like, I do the walk around like, yeah. Do you guys have like trying to be cool? about it?
Like, I don't really know what I'm looking for. It's this thing.
so I could jerk off into real quick.
Look, I mean, I'm just curious. I've never been in here.
Do you have something that can help me jerk off, but then also be really humiliating to clean afterward?
Oh, you have no idea. You've never cleaned one.
That's the part
I
I
never
can't
have.
wrap my head around.
Never want to.
I go. Do you have like is it called a flashlight? And he goes, "No, but we got like fucking a can." And I go, "I'll take it."
Fucking a can?
Yeah, it's just a can of beer, a can of Kirin, and it's inside. So you could like have it in your house and no
brand
one would
specific?
know. Yeah, it's Kirin. It was a can of
Kirin Lager, Japanese beer.
So I grab it, and he's like, "You gonna? Do you need the lube?" And I was like, "Yeah." No, I want to rape it. Yeah, like, out of your mind. And then he gives me like a one travel pack. I go, "Give me the fuck. I'm fucking this thing all weekend. Like I'm gonna need more than one." So I literally was hungry, and I raced back to my room to fuck it. I get it back, and it's not a vagina; it's a mouth. It's just lips going like, "Oh, don't do it, man!" Like it just lips.
Does it say
Jesus.
that?
No, but it looks like it.
Oh, it doesn't talk.
No, but it does not look like women's lips. It looks like dudes' lips. It's like just lips look like lips. They don't look like a vagina or a butthole.
Right.
It's like, oh. And then I fucked it. But then the worst part is, he's like, but the worst part is
There's a worse part.
done with it, and
We
then
haven't
you're like,
hit
I
that
gotta
yet.
clean it,
Yeah.
and you're like, you just want to be like, I'll throw it away for $100.
Well,
I'll
that's
throw it away.
that's I feel like what the move would be, and why isn't that the move? Like who's
Because they're
being?
$100.
Oh man,
So I mean,
is it that amazing?
Well, you know, I was going to say this. It's like the first time you went in a vagina with a condom on, and you were like, that's fucking insane. And then the next time you're like, it's great. And then the more you do it, you're like, it's getting, I need to take the condom off, you know?
Yeah.
It's like that. The first time you do it, you're like, oh, fuck, that feels just like it. And then the next time you do it, you're like, I kind of want a person. You
Remember the
this-
first time you had a root beer float?
I love root beer.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I'm just come on. I'm just thinking about first, and it popped in my head. I go. I remember the first time I loved root beer. I loved the ice cream. I had no idea those two worlds could be combined.
I remember the first time I had Tommy's Burgers today. Tommy's
Yeah.
original
yeah,
Burgers.
Great, yeah.
chili, yeah.
I didn't like them as much as I like In-N-Out.
Yep.
I agree.
In-N-Out is my shit. But the first time I had an In-N-Out, I was like, oh, I'm going to be doing this a lot. And then I did.
So In-N-Out. So fleshlights were the In-N-Out of sex toys for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which In-N-Out sounds like a great sex toy as well.
By the way, it is a great sex toy.
Thank you.
You tried In-N-Out? No. Oh, it's a burger? It's like a joke I'm telling. I didn't know. Never mind. I got to piss. Talk to each other.
By the way, that's the commercial. By the way, everyone goes in and out, and they go the burger.
This is. I've done Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
This is officially the longest podcast I've ever done.
It's this long.
Yeah. I don't know what the.
Is Bert coming back?
I don't know. He's like.
By the way-
he could eat. He could easily just go into his house and go to bed, and we'd probably
what
keep
would
going
we
for
do?
another 45 minutes to an
Well,
hour.
here's the thing about like when you have two, best friends and podcast hosts on. Like
Yeah.
we're like, oh, now we're just we revote.
Revote. Okay, we're making up words now, Adam Ray.
Revoke.
Okay, is that even the word? Are you?
Wait.
I'm gonna. I know the word. I'm gonna let you search for it.
What is the word?
I'm gonna let you search for it.
No, tell me.
The word that means go back.
What is it?
You mean revert?
Wait, what just happened? Who did you call a revert?
A revert.
Adam was searching for a word. He couldn't figure out revert.
Dude, you couldn't ask for a better while I was gone moment. I literally tried to fucking make a very articulate point, and I forgot the word. Oh, dude, do you ever just forget words?
A lot.
Brad,
A lot.
I'm barely buzzed right now, and I'm enjoying this thoroughly. Just looking at you guys.
The
dude, that hasn't happened in a long time, where I just straight up forgot a word. And I'm glad, and I can attest. Look, I'm fine.
I love your hair.
Thanks, dude.
I would love to have your hair.
All right,
This
well,
podcast is going to end with you just stroking his head, isn't it?
yeah, I mean,
So wait. Let's talk about your body for a second. You do work out, right?
yeah.
Like good. Like you work out hard.
Dude, I'm not like. Look, do I lift weights?
Are you doing a character?
He's asking you, Bert. Does he?
Yes, you do.
I wanted to see. Sometimes I just like to pause extra long after things and see how people react. All right, so yeah, man, it's cardio. Play a lot of basketball.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do the
Oh,
stair
listen.
stepper. I got my calves I think are on point, but
I
what
saw
are we
this
talking about?
When we were test driving.
He
cars
lifts
today.
me. I do the Brad Williams
weigh?
Baby Bjorn workout.
Yeah.
How much do you weigh?
120 about. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a solid deadlift for him. That's why
By the
his
way,
calves are so
you
big.
know what though? Every time, like Brad and I, he came with me when I did at midnight, and And I go, he was helping me write jokes for the beginning, and then we were like, God, what if I lose? And Brad's like, well, I can be in the audience, and you call me up.
What was this? What was the show?
At midnight.
Oh, at midnight.
Yeah, with Harwick.
Edmonton. I was
yeah.
huh?
Edmonton's at
You're
midnight.
Really committed to Edmonton. You bring out fucking
shout out to my Edmonton fans.
At midnight. Okay.
Yeah. And so Brad goes, what if you lose? Like, you got to do something, like have an exit. And I was like, yeah, what can we do? He goes, well, I'll be in the audience. And he goes, and tell Hardwick that you're going to leave and take all your things with you, and then do like a fake whistle, and then all run out of the crowd and jump into your arms, and then you walk off stage. Like, these are my things. Yeah, so we did that. And so I lose. It just timed out perfectly. I mean, I was trying to like get answers, but like the way it goes, and all of a sudden when I see myself losing, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll pump the brakes on the next two answers. So I do lose. And so then Harvey goes, Adam, you lost, no points, whatever. And I go, all right, Chris, well, thanks for having me, but I'm going to take my shit and get the hell out of here. And then I go, Brad! And then he runs out of the audience. No, everyone's like, what the fuck? And in one jump, we've never like done him jumping, me catching him in my arms. And he jumps, and it timed perfectly, and I caught him, and then I put my hand up, and I go, peace! And then we walk back, and we turn around, and everybody's clapping, and then Brad like did a Miss Universe wave. And it was great. But now, like, when we do shows on stage at the end, sometimes he'll jump in my arms, and I'll catch him, and it's like,
it's fucking magical.
So the point being is the workout does work. You were asking, like, how do I get these deltoids? Go on a couple network shows, cable if you can. Catch a dwarf.
The best part about that at midnight thing is that I was not scheduled to be there, but because I appeared on camera, I had to be paid.
Oh, are you serious?
Yay, unions.
By the way, I think that's why I got banned from that show for a little bit. I found out because apparently somebody told me that when you jumped on my arms, somebody had said like, "Hey," we were like, "Hey, we're thinking about doing this at the end," and they were like, "Well, I don't know." And then I was like, "Nah, it'll be fine." And they're like, "Yeah, but you might get like." It might, like, what if something happens?
If he gets hurt, he's not
nothing's
going to
happen.
Insurance. Yeah,
and then I found out.
That's what makes me hate television.
What's that?
Yeah. That's what makes me hate television. Is that you do something really, truly fucking hilarious and inspired, and there's this fucking idiot going, well, I don't know. Can you imagine the trouble we could have gotten in?
Yeah.
Dude,
some guy who's never been on stage.
When something...
Who's never performed.
Yeah.
To me...
Just telling you what's going to work and what's not going to work.
To me, one of the greatest parts about being in this business are being around either shows, sets, whatever, where something that just happens, right? I'm sure you had it happen in your show all the time, where something you didn't plan happened, and you're like, holy shit, like that... Like... it's just so unexpected.
And then that's what I hate about networks is they go, no, I'm sorry. It must have seemed very fun at the time. Like, we were in Australia and shooting a show in this, and the network exec was like, I don't want anything planned for the day. I want Bert to get lost, and I want to see what happens. And so we got lost.
Where?
In Australia, just fucking...
like a Dave and Buster's or like in the woods?
No, in the woods.
Yeah.
In the woods by the coast in Cairns. Okay. And so we're driving, and then... we get to this place, and like a river's flooded, and there's a bunch of people waiting for the river, the tide to go back, so the river will cut back so they can drive across the street and this road. And so we sit there, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And they had a guitar, and we ended up filming it, and we ended up playing the guitar, and then we ended up doing the interview, and one of the guys lights a joint, and the two cast members are doing a on-screen interview, and he hands it, and I hit it, and we all pass it around, and then I go see if they want some. So in the middle of their little, like, OTF, they're on, on-the-fly interview, he goes over and he goes, do you guys want to hit this? And they're like, no. And he goes, okay, and then he hits it and walks off, and it was just so brilliant, and the network's like, no, we can't put that in there. And you're like, why? And that's what traveling's about. Is sometimes you get offered drugs and say no.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that should be in the Travelers. Have you ever thought about writing there's a guy named Rick Steves. You know who that is?
Nope.
He's big in Seattle, where I'm from.
Hold on.
Morning school DJ?
Hold on.
Rick Steves.
No, close. I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name, though. Is it Rick Steves?
Rick Dees.
Rick Dees.
Yeah.
By the way, how dare you try to
Rick Dees in the
insult Rick Steves
okay.
by...
Rick Steves is fucking amazing. He's, by the way...
Brad, check out Rick Steves' Guam itinerary.
Like this. If you... I'm gonna find the voice. If you end up going to Greece, you definitely want to see the Palladium. It's really it's intent-driven travel hosting.
Yeah.
And it's, by the way...
Well, he's been everywhere.
Has a guy who did it, who I would much rather watch a guy talk
Oh,
like
that fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
than
love.
watch someone like try to fake a read.
By the way, this is why I love Brad. He goes, "What is that? I want to know what that is." He looked up a picture of Rick Steves, and guess what? Now that's going to be saved in your Google search, and
Yep.
that word
And
is a
now
lot tougher than
Rick
it is.
Steves does tours. Like Rick Steves does books. He has his own travel line.
Yeah.
He's the fucking travel god.
I'm in Burbank,
I'm
thinking about going to a TGI Fridays. But do the drinks add up? You're like, I don't know, man. Do they? I'll find out. You know, he checks everything out. I'm going to Africa. Do elephants really eat,
He's
cockroaches?
He's a really fun host to watch because
Yeah.
he's really cheesy.
Yep. But he
it's-
also knows his shit.
Yeah, and so you're like, what would I rather watch? A guy who has a fake expedition show?
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but like that was a little too close to home. No, I didn't mean. I don't mean that guy, but like,
No.
but like a guy who's like, I'm here in the jungle. When you realize, yeah, there's also cameramen carrying cameras on their shoulders that are there too.
You didn't
and
just-
they're not talking like this.
Yeah.
they're just working and walking backwards.
Yeah. Nothing's really that crazy because you walk to that spot with the cameras off.
Yeah, I can't believe we're here. Hang on, take it one more time for the top.
One more time.
All right. I'm here in the middle of the jungle.
No, cut. Sorry, you said I can't
Can
believe.
I get water or sunscreen?
Yeah, that's right. Can we get fruit snacks for Dave?
They've got it's such bullshit, these fucking shows. And I was on them, but I always tried to keep it real and attached to the moment. Like when you were going swimming with great white sharks, I'd be like
You swam with great white sharks?
Oh yeah, a couple times.
Can I be honest? That to me is one of. Look, there's a whole bunch of stuff that is terrifying to think of doing.
Yeah.
Swimming with sharks to me is in the top 3.
Oh no, not at all.
What?
No, skydiving's number 1.
Okay.
You ever fed a dwarf after midnight?
I'm looking to.
Caught one at midnight. I hear that's how we got
Caught one at midnight. Oh my God!
Yes, you did.
All right, you know
Well
what?
done.
Sometimes something hits you and you go, "I can't even express a noise because that was so brilliant."
that was the perfect lineup.
Oh my God! He caught one at midnight. Mm-hmm. Wait, but swimming. All right, so
great white sharks.
was there a cage?
Yeah. I've been out of the cage with them, but yeah,
What was out of the cage more terrifying?
dude.
By the way, Out of the Cage is Nicolas Cage's one-man show, and he's doing it on Santa Monica and Hudson. I want to give a quick shout-out because I'm working the box office Sunday and Tuesday of next week. Out of the Cage. It's about the making of...
The Rock.
The Rock.
was that a Cage
I
movie?
thought you were talking about the wrestler.
And this is a
Right
whole...
now, everyone's like, you guys are so fucked up. I thought you were talking about the wrestler.
Out of the Cage is a... Yeah.
I haven't had one hit, but I think I'm getting a contact high.
I think we
Contact
you just
High,
smoked
which
an
is the
entire
one
joint like
movie
it was a
Cage turned
cigarette.
down.
Right.
What's that?
I broke my vape pen.
The
know
name
how I
of
did it.
Cage's second one, actually.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, I gotta be in Guam and like, I
What time's
Oh,
your
Brad's
flight?
got to go to
6
sleep.
a.m.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, we should wrap this up. I don't want you to have to fucking be.
Yeah.
Fucking,
But also,
I'm
Brad,
supposed to
like
stay up
when
the
in,
whole time.
when in Guam,
Yeah, I mean,
Guam. Guam if you want to.
you can Guam if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
You can Guam if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
All right, he's
You can
back.
leave
He
your
ain't
friends
going
behind.
anywhere.
Guam and
And
if
no
you
Guam, and no Guam of mine.
You can Guam. You can Guam if you want to. You can leave.
Ironically, dwarves were in that music video.
60.
Brad, please just do the whole music video of you in Guam doing different things, dancing like Pee Wee Herman. You can Guam if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
All right, well, get on my Instagram at Brad Williams Comic, and you're gonna see some Brad Guam videos.
One a day. One a day. Promise us. Hey.
I'll do one a day at least.
Do the Guam.
Yeah.
Wait, take Guam and are you
Just Guam.
transposing every popular song?
Fucked up name for a place, Guam.
I know, dude.
Guam. Guam.
Sounds like something that would pop up in the 1967 Batman series when Batman hit a guy.
Pow.
Hey guys,
Smash.
this is a beautiful Guam. we need to establish this as a territory. What should you call it? I don't know. Ask a guy with 3 teeth and no tongue. Guam. Okay, cool. It's Guam. Guam.
3 teeth and no tongue.
Ask our cousin that we locked up in the basement 5 years ago what he wants to call it. Throw him a Snickers bar. Guam. Guam. What a fucking stupid name.
I like that if it does get nuked and I die there, this will be my parting thoughts on
Oh
Guam.
yeah, dude, you're gonna be fine though. But also, who knows? You know. But you'll be fine.
Thanks, Adam.
Guacamole. That was too far. That was I took too many swings at that pitch.
You should have stopped on the toothless guy.
You will be fine.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Because you know what?
We can Guam if we want to. It's gonna happen.
Please make those videos. Leave your Guam behind. Wait, and if you don't Guam,
Then you're no friend of mine.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we can Guam. We can Guam.
Why are you saying it like Steven Seagal?
what's the language they speak?
Guam.
English? I don't know.
Guam if you want to. Guam around the world.
I've had the Guam of my life. Oh, I've never felt this Guam before.
I'm gonna do that.
I want a Guam. Guam. I want a Guam. Guam. I want to Guam. Guam.
That's gonna happen. I'm gonna hit every song that I can.
Guam bop ba dooba dop bop Guam bop dooya bop Guam bop ba dooba dop Guam
I
goo.
know. I just want to look at my phone for all songs. I'm rocking it.
Just switch
Yeah,
it.
that's the best one.
All right,
We will Guam you. That's what they sing to you when you get off the
They
plane.
speak in Guam. They speak English and they speak something called Chamorro.
Hell
I had
yeah.
that in my omelet one time. It's pretty good.
Yeah, you go to an Argentinian restaurant. They have a nice Chamorro
I
sauce.
just had a good one in my head. You guys fucked up. No, actually, for real.
Yeah.
Hold on. There's a guy that wrote, I think, all the big concertos. His name was Guamadeus.
Guamadeus.
Guamadeus, Guamadeus. Guamadeus.
Oh, come on, rock me, Guamadeus. Oh, this is the best. This is the hardest I've ever laughed on a bit in a while. I've never done bits like this. All right, I'm going to let you leave, but let me pour one more cocktail just to get myself started, okay?
Yeah, go for it.
You got to Guam up early.
It's like a motivational movie for Guam people.
There's a great Coolio song called Guamster's Paradise. Damn, it feels good to be a Guamster. Real Guamster ass.
If that's not the country's song, they're doing it wrong. I got to. I wanna Guam and roll all night and party every day.
I'm fucking making a goddamn mess. I have a voiceover audition tomorrow at 9.
Nice.
Yeah. There's a callback.
For what?
Who fucking knows?
You should probably know that before you do it.
It's so funny. Is it for a cartoon?
Yeah.
I only say that because in the first 10 minutes of talking with you, and maybe it's just the longest we've talked, I go, God damn, like, you got a great... I audition for a lot of voiceover stuff. I feel like I start knowing, like, I started listening. It makes you pay attention to it more. And I'm hearing you talk. Brad, same thing, man. Like, there's certain voices you're like, dude, there's just maybe it's people, too, that have, like, really strong comedic just sensibilities and everything. But, like, your voice, like, it should be the lead of a cartoon, man.
Hey, I'll tell you, I'll take it. We'll see if that
You know
happens
that.
tomorrow.
Right?
Yeah,
Don't you get to a while you do enough auditions where you're like, oh yeah,
good.
like
I'm not good at auditioning. I'm good at doing things, but I'm not good at auditioning. I think I was too hungry when I was younger. Like I wanted it because I needed money, and now that I'm like, not that I don't need money, but I don't need the job.
Yep.
I think I have more fun with auditioning. I think that's why I get called back. But still, once again, I don't really want to play like a second lead on a sitcom.
Yeah.
I want to play me or do a movie with Super.
What up? But what about being like the voice of like a
or make Guam parody songs? Apparently,
By the way, I half of what he said, I had no idea of what he said because I was thinking of Guam.
just now? Yeah, me
I
too.
was literally like,
In my head right now, I was like Guam. Yeah. Is this the Guam life? Is this just fantasy? Bohemian Rhapsody. Bohemian.
I tried that in my head already. I was like, Gramadeo,
Yeah.
Let me go.
Yeah, there it is.
All right. We should let you guys go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go, and now all these songs I'm gonna be in my head, and when they when the flight attendant announces like "Welcome to Guam," I'm just gonna be sitting there like, "Guam, if you want to, Guam around the world." I'm gonna be doing that shit.
You gotta.
Well, there is always something Guam to remind me. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum.
You
There's
should
got to
check
be.
out. There's a really good movie about Guam called Guam with the Wind.
Dude.
No, for real though, they do have a good action thriller called Guam in 60 Seconds. Have you seen Guam Girl Guam?
I can't even speak after that one.
Oh, fuck. I hope the people in Guam aren't offended. I wonder how many listeners I have in Guam.
How many do you have? How many?
Well, we'll find out real quick. Hopefully, they're at my shows at the Hyatt Regency in Tumon.
This is the way I look at my podcast. If you do like this one will get really big numbers.
Awesome.
The one with Jamie Kennedy and Stu Stone got ridiculous numbers.
That was a wonderful episode, by the way.
Yeah, we're having Devin Sawa on the podcast.
What?
Yeah, he's going to be on the podcast because he was a guy I got to fight with. Anyone that's not listening.
You gonna fight with him?
Yeah.
I dropped Devin Sawa today. We had Andrew Keegan on our podcast about last night today. Andrew Keegan, another 90s.
Yeah.
Andrew Keegan, I know that.
Yeah, you do. 10 Things I Hate About You. Seventh Heaven. He did Jessica Biel. Step by Step. Fucking every show from the 90s, right?
You mentioned Devin Sawa on it?
Yeah, man, because we were talking about he was on T-Beat with like JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and we were talking about like just being on a poster on girls' walls, in a teen beat when that was something that was like popular. And I was like, man, it was you and blah blah and Devin Sawa.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Devin Sawa.
How many times is Devin Sawa mentioned by male comedians in 2017?
Definitely twice this year. But we all got in a fist fight on Stu Stone. Stu Stone was there, and so Devin hit up Stu and was like, "Yeah, I'll be on his podcast and talk about the fight and talk about what." He's an interesting guy, man. He's had an interesting career. I wouldn't mind talking to him.
Yeah,
I would love to talk to him. Also apparently my recollection of this fight is wrong. So. I like everyone's recollection. What was I going to say, though? Before we leave real quick, I want to talk about your podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I did it. I had a blast. And you guys are
It was one of our highest rated episodes, man.
Found out
in
that
4 years, dude.
4 years, that's like our highest rated episode.
Oh, fuck. That makes me feel good.
Yeah,
Have
dude.
you had Joey Diaz on yet?
No.
Not at Joey Diaz.
Joey Diaz is a fucking
I've
game
talked to him
changer.
about it a bunch, and it'll happen in the next month or so.
Weed. Just weed.
Really?
Weed's the connective tissue.
Okay.
Well,
Get high with Joey. Joey, come on my podcast.
Brad, you might have to.
Why don't you guys go do his podcast and eat a Death Star?
Oh, God.
Eat a Death Star.
I'm down to do that. I mean, but Brad has to be down to do it with me.
I'm not going to eat anything that has the word death in the title.
Dude, I'm doing Joey's podcast tomorrow night, and it's one of those things where you just
We drop a line to him and say, "Hey, Adam Ray's down to take a Death Star with you."
100%. 100%.
I think he digs me. We've chatted like minimally, but like a lot. If you like add up all the nights, you know, over like. But and I always feel like I'm like. Man, I feel like I'm one good hang away from a cool connection being made here. And maybe it's over a Death Star.
No, but the fact that you smoke weed the way Joey smokes weed, so like that's your connection. Is that Joey just wants?
Is that a compliment?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
that's a really big compliment.
Okay.
But if Joey likes a joint, he smokes the joint.
Yeah.
You know, like he doesn't like me. You see me. I take a hit.
Yeah.
I take a hit and I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
like, we'll roll that buzz.
Yeah.
Joey's all about going deep. Like, you know,
Hail Marys.
Man,
Throwing the Hail Mary on first down. Me too, Joey.
He's such a great guy. He called me up. Him on my podcast. I had a run where I realized everyone listening knows what I'm about to say right now. But I realized what made my podcast good is a group of people. Like me not having to do the heavy lifting with you or with Adam and just being like us hanging and then you guys already having a relationship and then us having a few cocktails and then just getting funny. Like getting silly and giggling, you know?
And doing Guam parody songs.
Yeah. Or what was the other thing we did that we were giggling about?
Me getting hit by a car 3 times.
Oh my God. I forgot about that. Brad, you have to do that on
I
stage.
now am.
Because
it's also a reenactment.
I'm just going to walk on stage and say, I've been hit by a car 3 times in my life. And then just go from there.
That's so crazy.
What I like about it, in my opinion, I'm giving you my opinion.
Sure.
What I like, and I didn't realize that was the peril of a little person.
Yeah.
That was something that you had to worry about.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, that's such a relatable.
The audience is immediately, by the way, on your side because they're like, "Oh fuck!" Like that's something you have to think about, and you're like, "Yeah, it is."
We've all almost been hit by cars in
Yep.
parking lots,
Right.
But we have the luxury of a 2 extra foot person.
Yeah.
You know, like
Somebody-
over here.
Yeah,
Like
someone be able to look in the mirror and go, "Oh, there's a person there."
Yep.
Here, you don't see anything.
That is so. In my opinion,
Cars backing up and being sexually assaulted by a large dog.
that's one of the things when Leanne goes, when I saw you, I said, hey, I go, Brad and Adam are coming over. I go, I think I should put Pris up. She goes, Brad's met Pris before. I go, I would definitely remember that.
Yeah,
And she was like, really? And I was like, I don't think he has met Pris.
and it's like I don't have a problem with large dogs. Like sometimes large dogs have a problem with me,
Yeah.
and that it's doesn't.
What, has there ever been like a true face-off where you're like,
Fuck
I
yeah.
might have to just throw down on this dog right
I
now?
fought a Dalmatian.
Right after 9/11. You know how hard that was? Right after 9/11.
On Dog Appreciation Day.
Fucking no one
Dalmatian
took my-
Appreciation Day.
Oh, this midget must be a terrorist.
No one took my side.
On the 30th anniversary of 101 Dalmatians
I
from
flat
Disney.
out fought a Dalmatian in a dog park. I was trying to impress this girl. I was walking her dog with her. And this fucking Dalmatian saw me, and I don't know what it's. Maybe it was abused earlier by a midget. I have no idea. But it just fucking booked it towards me. It booked it and just jumped on me.
This is so fucking funny. By the way, if I had that story in my life, I would be in my act immediately. Is that you're trying to impress a girl, you take her to a dog park, and you...
The most beautiful dog, and now you're fighting one of the most beautiful, like,
the
beloved.
thing that makes me the fucking laugh the hardest is that you made real people noises, like meaning like you know when you like you get when you see someone get hit by a car and they go like and they make a real noise that you go this isn't fucking around but you made real people noises fighting an animal the way we would fight an animal. Like I remember I had to get a cat out of a tree one time and it attacked me and I was like hey! And I was like fucking just losing my shit.
Dude, somebody walked at me taking a shit at a Starbucks, and the door wasn't locked, and they opened it up, and I'm like, am I right? It was just like, that was me saying,
just
"Don't."
an honest noise.
In the moment you're trying to impress a woman, you have to fight an animal. That's something. Hold on, that is something. By the way, I'm fucking obsessed with this. I'm definitely high. That is the thing that makes it like we very seldomly have to fight animals bigger than us.
Yeah.
You run
Seldomly?
into
Wait a minute. Wait. How about never, dude? What are you fighting animals?
Bert fought a bear.
I know, but yeah.
But like,
Adam, you've never
Seldom
come...
seems to me like every other 6 weeks you fight an elk.
Like,
you know?
worst case scenario, you go on a hike in Griffin Park and a mountain lion comes after you, and you're like, fuck. But Brad's goes like, I'm on a date and I gotta fight a dog.
Is there any point in the date even to where you like...
I might release this tomorrow.
Do it.
This tomorrow.
I mean,
yeah.
for all your
This is
Guam-
that thing we were talking about where
for all your
I can't
Guam
hold it in.
listeners.
Yeah, dude.
I've been laughing. I hope to God it's not just 'cause I'm high. I've been laughing so hard at this fucking last fucking 20
No, these are
minutes.
genuine topics that are like definitely not normal conversation, and that you know, like how many times I can't remember the last time I've shared some of these stories with Brad, and let alone like talk about the last time I fought an animal. Like you know, I didn't even know. Again, like I didn't even know that you fought a Dalmatian ever.
Right, and this is the thing about you that I'm not jealous about, but
That's a shirt.
I'm envious of is that I've always found you to have a very original voice in comedy, but you have a set of life experiences that are very different yet relatable. Like
Really? Rogan's never fought a Dalmatian?
Rogan's fought animals, oddly enough. But like I remember one time you talked about washing your hair.
Yeah.
It's like a silly joke. It's an old probably joke to you, but like I remember that. I think about that joke a lot, oddly enough, because I go,
Really?
Yeah, because I never realized that you had to like lean. Like
Yeah, I had to lean my head over because I couldn't reach the top of my head.
that insight really, it was beyond it. It was beyond just being a little person. It was just a life insight that this
the
is a
craziest
part of.
part was I was acting it out on stage one time, and I just leaned because that's how I washed my hair, and then the audience started laughing. I'm like, wait, what do you guys...
Yeah.
Oh, and it took me a second to be like, oh shit, their arms are long. They just reach the top of their heads.
Very easily.
What? Yeah, that's a struggle for me. What's that like?
I told a joke on stage the other night, or the other day, and I said, it's like something that you don't realize is something in your life that's just it's part of your life. Like it's a 2-part joke. I said one time, I ate an edible the other night because I was trying to be healthy.
Yeah.
Because in my book, that is healthy. Like if you don't drink and you just eat an edible, then you're being healthy. Mm-hmm. And everyone laughed, and I was like, and then I said, you guys don't have unassisted sleeps? I was like, unassisted sleep in our house is when you go to bed without drugs or alcohol.
I heard you say that the other night.
And I was like, unassisted sleeps. We definitely have unassisted sleeps in our house. And everyone laughed, and I was like, hold on, am I that far removed from society that like people like I go, or at least I'm honest about it.
You're like, haha, really? You sleep without help?
Yeah, I go, who the fuck goes to bed? You know, even Mormons take Ambien.
No way.
Yeah, Mormons take Ambien and Xanax all the time. That's totally allowed because it's prescribed by a doctor. And so
what is that religion? What's going on there? I'm joking, man. I mean, yeah, it is. But that's a whole. I mean, we have to have a separate Mormon podcast.
We got to get Brad the fuck out of here. Wait, are you going to light that joint? Should we?
I got to get to Guam.
Yeah. I'm going to take one hit of it and then I'll put it out. But
you think?
Look, we can do a 5-hour podcast. This literally, and part of me, look, in certain moments in life, you go, God, this is just like, what a great hang. And you go, Brad, maybe you go straight to the airport. And we set the podcast record right now. But also, maybe I take a hit when we wrap it up.
Is there a podcast record?
I'm sure there's someone who's done one. Oh, no, my record's 5 hours.
With who?
Danish and O'Neill. You know Danish and O'Neill?
Yeah, Aurora. Carrot Top and Mario Lopez did 7.5 hours, 1996, before podcasts were even a thing.
I fucking believe that for a second.
The same year Alonzo Mourning set the all-time rebound record. No, I mean, but that was a big year.
Every time I heard his name, I always thought that it was like Mourning, like
like sad.
I'm Alonzo Mourning.
Like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
I'm Alonzo Mourning.
I was a backup when we won the championship.
He was. He was.
Wasn't even the star.
Let's do this. Let's take. Why don't you light that joint and let's take 5 minutes to celebrate Adam Devine.
Sure. Yes, dude.
One of my favorite humans.
Jess was with him 4 days ago in New York.
By the way, one of my favorite.
He loves you too, man.
Dude, I love that guy, and I'm being serious. He doesn't know what he did because I don't think at the time. I don't think in his book he knew he was famous or not, but like I think he was just doing Workaholics like season 1.
Yeah,
and I loved it. And
it's a brilliant show.
Really
it gets its credit, man, but like I mean, Brad, we've watched out. It's just like
now when you go into pitch a TV show, the executives will say things like, "We're looking for a workaholics type." Like, so to become your own genre, that's
I don't think Comedy Central. I mean, man, I don't. They should have given those guys like another 5 years. I mean,
yeah. Oh, first of all, I don't think they could have afforded it. Probably.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, but like my favorite Adam Devine story. I don't know if he's ever told you this.
Yeah.
Or if I've told you. I think I told you this.
Maybe
I told you it. I'm sure I did.
Tell me.
I haven't heard it.
You have?
I have not. So fire away.
Okay. So I'm watching. Adam used to work at the
Improv.
Mm-hmm. And so then I see Workaholics, and I see him, and I get excited, which I have to say is a part of my personality. I'm very glad I have. I'm very glad that I get excited for people doing well, like that people that I like.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's people that I don't like that do well, and I get excited for them. But like, I love when I see. And it's a part that I wish I didn't have sometimes. 'Cause I go, Bill Ari's special. Ari's special, Double Negative.
Double Negative on Netflix, yeah.
I get excited for it. I watch it at midnight. At midnight. I'm excited for him, and
cool.
I tweet nonstop. Sometimes I think that maybe I look like a cuck or like Stanhope, Doug Stanhope. I will say Doug and I will say we're good friends, but man, I am. Don't ever think I'm not sitting around him as a fan. Like, I'm always a fan.
I feel like
always watch what he says. Like, little moments I have with him that I steal for myself, and I go, I fucking love that, though.
Yeah.
Like,
you should never lose that, right? I mean, if you lose that, then what are you in this? We all got into this because it looked fun, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if you can't be in situations where you geek out, like I never want to be fully comfortable. When's the last time you fucking geeked out hard, Brad?
Oh, geeked out? It's funny you say Doug Stanhope. Doug Stanhope, I never met him, but he knew who I was. I obviously know who he is. And we met each other at the LAX airport, and he went and bought me pancakes.
Dude, yeah. You'll never forget that
moment. Dude, me and you on stage with Attell.
Oh.
Hey, can I be honest? One of my favorite comedy moments.
Yeah.
I know, it probably not on the same level it was for you to be in the back watching and then up there, because I sat there in that row with you watching and laughing, and then I watch you go up, and then I'm watching it in your place, and I'm like, I can't even imagine being up there right now.
Yeah.
And you're just toe-to-toe with him.
Crapshoot Comedy Festival.
Creating
Las
just
Vegas.
like this experience
Attell,
and
yeah.
memory for the audience that they don't even know. I mean,
They
will reflect
calls
on it,
me up
being
on
like-
stage, and then he starts making jokes about you, and he goes, Bert, and then, of course you're there.
Yeah.
And he just calls you up on stage, and we're just, and then I think you and I shared some glances, and we all thought the same thing, like, I hope we don't fuck this up.
yeah.
But like, I always approach stand up as a fan first.
Yeah.
Even meeting Rogan, like, I would say a good friend of mine. When I first met him, I went to his house and I was like, I geeked out. And by the way, never something I would ever suggest anyone doing with Joe. Only because Joe's a very real person. He doesn't like being put on a pedestal. He likes to be real. You know? But I went, hey man, good to meet you. I'm gonna need to see your dog, your deprivation tank. We're gonna get high. I want to play pool, and then we can do the podcast. And he was like, okay. And he's like, this is the deprivation tank. These are my dogs. And then I was like, all right, cool. Now I'm fanned out. Let's hang out. But like,
Dope.
But
good move.
well, no, not a good move.
No?
In it definitely because we're friends. But in retrospect, I was like, I would never tell anyone to do that. But I guess it's just real. But the thing I was going to say about Adam is, so I'm a fan of Workaholics, a legit fan.
Yep.
Every episode, this is when the house is in a different configuration. I'd wake up and just turn it on. I get so excited. I love the writing. I love the rape fan. I love the there's so much about it that I love.
Only
love
time you can say I love the rape fan.
Dalia played the pedophile.
Yeah, Topher, yeah.
And, dude, so much of it, I was such a fan of. So I'm shooting the first episode of another Travel Channel show I'm doing called Trip Flip, and we're in New Orleans, and I'm standing up on a balcony, and we're looking down at the thing, and I see the cast.
Pitch Perfect?
The cast of Workaholics walking down the street. I guess they're shooting Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
And they're all there. And I go, I'm fucking hammered. I barely remember this night. But what I meant to say was, Adam, it's Bert Kreischer. I'm a comic from the Improv. What's up? I don't know what all that came out of my mouth was, I'm Bert Kreischer. From the top of the fucking rails.
You left the other
And then
words
Adam
out.
goes, the machine! And I went, that's what I wanted to hear back. And they came up and we partied all fucking night.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I was like, and then he says a lot of very sweet things. I won't quote him because I don't want to speak out of school.
Well, he's a sweet dude, and he also loves comedy so much. And he was, dude, when he worked at the Improv, man, he saw, like, guys that were ahead of him that were crushing it. He fucking, like, he took a lot of notes, man. He knows.
Let's just say, all I'll say is that he was very kind in that sense.
Dope.
Said something
Yep.
respectfully of that.
Of course.
And I was like, dude, this is my, like, in my head, I was like, there's certain people that do certain things in life where you go, you're my guy forever, and I'm never letting people talk shit about you. Judd Apatow. The very first time I ever went on the store was very recently, probably 8 months ago, less than 8 months ago, maybe more than 8, just right around then. And I got passed just after Montreal. I go on the store for my very first time ever in the OR as a paid regular, and I get bumped. I get bumped by Tosh, and then I get bumped by Judd Apatow.
Yikes.
Adam's super bummed. He's like, I'm so sorry this is happening. I was like, don't worry. I get it. I'm cool. It's a definite, like, note to yourself of where you are in your career.
Yep.
You know, definitely, and that's part of what the store is.
Yep.
Don't ever fucking think you're better than you are, 'cause
Yep.
you're not.
Wow.
And so Judd Apatow goes up, does his time, right on time, says, who's up next? And they're like, Bert. And he's like, oh, okay. This next comic, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Judd Apatow's going to be like, his name's Bert? Like fucking some bullshit intro. He goes, this next comic, You might know him from his show on Travel Channel. Bert the Conqueror had another show on Travel Channel called Trip Flip. He just had an hour special come out on Showtime. Put your hands together for Bert Kreischer. And I went, Judd Apatow, no one will ever talk shit about you in front of me. You just fucking made my first night on the store perfect because you gave a fuck about my intro, and you probably asked someone before, like, you're a god to me. But Adam has that same fucking, like, just a legit, like, and then I ran into him, like I kept running into him right before we started filming, and then ran into him in,
Montreal.
No.
Dallas.
–
Tacoma.
Keep naming cities.
Guam.
But did you guys start? Did you all start with him? Did you?
No, I knew Adam through. This is weird because everyone's name is Adam. I met Adam Devine through Adam Ray, and that's how I met him. And many a night has been spent up at Adam Devine's house. The occasional celebrity will pop in, and we're just like, oh, okay, we're hanging out with Zac Efron tonight. Oh, okay,
Oh, really?
that's cool. And it's unbelievable. And it's those moments kind of like where you're geeking out with Stanhope, where I'm just sitting there going like, I'm
By
a
the way, I
fan.
geeked the fuck out with Zac Efron.
Dude, we geeked out.
But yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing our podcast
Yeah.
Are you serious?
in October, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so it's Adam and I, we were both, there was a handful of comics that were doing like a lot of sketch and YouTube videos, and I was doing them all on my own, and Adam had his...
So like the posse was...
Dude, the guys who had legit, like, they were consistently doing videos that had like good hits, Eric Schwartz.
Dude, Eric Schwartz's
Smoothie.
video of him singing that song in Spanish, and that... Eric Schwartz is someone
Dude,
I consistently
crushed
bring
that
up,
time,
bring up,
man.
and I can never remember his name.
Yeah, and you know what,
what I
man?
mean?
That's a guy where I'm just like, man, you are very talented, and like, where do you take that and where do you put it? You know?
That's the problem.
But he fucking crushed that era of like web videos and like.
I have to say it. I gotta say it. He sings a song in Spanish in a Mexican cantina.
Yeah.
And it destroys. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen it online, go find it. You've never seen it?
I have.
Yeah. It destroys.
Yeah.
Eric Schwartz was a murderer on stage. Keep going.
So anyway, and Divine had Blake and Durs, and they were doing the mail order comedy, and I was doing a lot of stuff, and we just kind of like recognized each other of like being like, oh, hey, you're doing a bunch of stuff, and I'm doing, and then also like dudes that are just like. We need minimal information to like bond. It was like, you don't like, do you like sports? Hell yeah. Do you like, beer? Yeah, man. You don't like Creed, do you? Fucking yeah. It's like, no, I love Creed. What my guy,
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of, I don't know, there were just a handful of dudes at that age too that were like, I didn't talk a lot to comics when I first started out. So like the few people I did, I tried to, really get to know, and then once him and I both don't. I'm not a good hanger-outer, I don't, at clubs. I mean,
Oh, I don't do that.
yeah. I mean, I never have been, and I've tried. I mean, and the few people that then when I hit it off with, and I like, Brad, we met at the USC, but then it was the Comedy Store when you were like, hey, come on the road with me.
Yeah.
But it's like I never.
We knew of
there's so
each
much
other.
going on at the clubs. I just never. It's tough to just like stop
I have
and
a hard time making friends.
build a friendship.
one of the things I'll say, shout out to Big J, is like I really do have a hard time making friends in the sense that like I don't trust people, and I also get like I get to the point where I want to like I feel like I need to talk, like I can't just be quiet with someone, and I was having a really rough time. Oddly enough, we partied with Adam Devine in New York. We were all partying one night, and I ran into him or something, maybe, or I texted him or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember how it happened, but I said, hey, we're all going to be at this club doing this thing. Why don't you come down? And he was like, man, by the way, I was like blacked out all fucking week, so I don't remember any of this. But so he comes down, and then we all do this thing, and we all hang out afterwards. And I don't think he really ever hung out with like the New York posse of comics, like the Big J, Joe DeRosa.
No.
And so he was hanging out, and he was like very grateful. He's like, hey, thanks for inviting me to this, because these are I want to know other comics. He's still a comic at heart, and he might be a movie
1,000%.
star, but he's a comic.
No, man, did it for a solid 8 years before like all that shit happened.
Yeah.
And just
And so we all hung out. I do not know where the story was going. Oh, the Big J. So I partied way too hard, and then I was fucking spinning out, and Big J noticed it, and he was like, "Hey man, do you want to just come to my house and watch Cops?"
Great,
I go,
great
"Yeah."
suggestion.
So we just went to his house, and I think smoked a little weed and drank. I had a couple drinks, but I was bad. I was whatever. Look, whatever you think about me, you don't know. You're wrong, and then you're right 100% of the time. Yeah, I was bad, and I was shaky. And I had a couple drinks with Jay, and we didn't speak at all. We just watched Cops, and he just showed me his favorite clips. He showed me Nick. Nick, what's America's Got Talent nickname?
Cannon Man.
Cannon.
Yeah.
Nick Cannon's
The Cannon Man?
special. But he got that dick, though. Have you seen that bit?
No.
Oh. Big J made me watch Nick Cannon's special. It was fucking great, but in the worst way possible.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, shout out to Adam Devine.
Shout out, man.
I gotta get him on the podcast one time.
He'll
Is he
do
ever
it.
to come back
He'll
to
do
LA?
it.
He'll do it.
He's been in New York doing a movie all summer, and then he's comes back in 3
Maybe I'll
weeks.
see if I don't know. All right.
You get those guys on for sure.
By the way, we just did another 40 minutes.
That's
we
fine.
We got to stop Brad.
I know.
All
Yeah,
good.
Brad, dude, can I be asked? Like, that's what I love about Brad too. Like, and that's why we're best friends and podcast. Like, it's just like, you gravitate towards people that like all this right now. Like, Brad's he's got to go. He's been checking his shit, but then he's also like, I'm not gonna.
I don't want to
Brad and I are very similar. You know that?
It's
I used to
it's
say
a
that
great
my whole
quality.
Career, right?
Right? Big dicks.
Big dicks, yeah. Brad and I were the comics that we'd go into a club, the staff would love, we'd party with them, we'd have a good time. And I would say this, I thought this today about you, I've never heard a Brad word.
A Brad word about Brad?
That should be the name of your next special, Brad Words.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and be the voice of reason in this sense. This conversation be like, don't call it that.
Brad Words.
Brad's words.
Brad's Words.
Brad's words.
A little on the nose.
Yeah.
It should be called Thank God for Rear Backup Camera.
Now that is not a bad idea.
That's not a bad title.
Dude, it should. I'm not even joking. The picture on your next special should be you in a rear backup camera going. Oh, all right. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Get Brad out of here.
Yeah.
Your podcast
About last night.
about last night.
night.
Yeah, you
guys
did it.
Yeah, I did it. I had a blast.
Yeah.
You guys are the. So like I'll say this in podcasting.
Sure.
There's the Rogans.
Yep.
There's the Burrs.
Yeah.
And then there's I'm going to put us in the same category, me, you, and Theo Vaughn's, where managers go, oh, you got to do this podcast. Like, we're like,
Yeah.
I think my podcast is like that. I think your podcast, I think Theo's is like that. I think there's, like, Eliza's is a little bit like
Pete
that.
Holmes, maybe.
Pete Holmes.
Yeah.
Like, where it's like, almost the industry listens to it also.
Yes.
And you guys do a great job. Like,
thanks,
you don't
man.
Fucking slack on the podcast. I'm going to edit this out of here. No, not this part. No, in the very beginning, I was saying how nice your part. In the very beginning, I was saying how nice your studio is.
Yeah.
It's Adam's house, but it really is great. And I've talked to that girl. I think I might. Hey, can you please set me up again?
Yeah, well, I'll get you in touch
Yeah,
with all
I
that.
kind of want to pimp out my studio a tad bit.
Can I be honest? It's a there's a level that's raised a little bit when you're like you feel a little bit more pro about some things. It's like,
Well, Brad, I hope, no disrespect, Brad is a great third mic on your podcast. Meaning, like, Brad, like, I do feel like you drive it. Like, I felt like you knew you did research on me. Where Brad knows me, but I feel like you came in and drove things, and then your repertoire made me feel comfortable to be myself. Like, I feel like Brad rolls up and he's like, let's go. We're all comics. Let's do it. But you actually put like a little bit of like time behind it. I felt that way.
I think there's definitely, I mean, and that's what I think the great things about like doing is that we figure out our dynamic, and like it also varies from pod to pod, but like in that one for sure, it's like I think that is. I mean, Brad is such a fucking slinger of jokes. Yeah. Like it's like he can't even his mouth can't keep up with the amount of jokes he comes up with.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's what's great. And then like even when we do, I think we figured out when we started doing a few live podcasts where it's like, there might be
podcasts.
Totally
For me, because I feel like the giggleness,
Yeah.
doesn't happen. Like
it does.
for you guys, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
you guys
again,
are-
we always open with us, which we just can we could,
Rant about things and do a
yeah,
song
and so
or do
we always
whatever.
can get something going and then bring. You should do a live one with us sometime.
I'd love to.
Okay, cool.
I love doing live podcasts, but my podcast
I
live, I
hear
feel
you.
like
Well, by yourself, I would totally understand that. Like
Yeah.
out of the
And
gate,
when
like
you're- and when
the
you're the
fact that we
driver,
are
it's a
going
little
up
different.
together and we can it's
Yeah, you
it's
have
way
something to play
easier.
off of. It's way better.
so if people are going to watch it or listen to it,
About last night-
top 5 episodes.
Oh man! Oh,
Jeez, we might have just had one today with Freddie Prinze Jr.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
dude.
wait,
It was
So
unbelievable.
I'm trying to get him and Josh on my podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're-
you should. I mean,
You'll say
It was
hi,
unbelievable.
and then they'll go.
dude, it was.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah, it's insane.
They have a podcast called The Prince and the Wolf.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about last night.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, here's my top 5.
Okay, go for it.
Bert Kreischer.
Yeah.
Number one. By the way, that was a really great time I had on your podcast, and I have to say that is that, and I think
You've done a
think
bunch, right?
genuinely, because Brad and I think Brad and I are so similar people.
Yep.
We really are really similar. I don't know if you know that. I keep wondering if we have the same size head. Just try it on.
Oh my God!
Let me see the size. Let me see the size if it's a 7 3/4. Yeah.
Brad.
Brad,
Yep.
give me your phone. Can I take video?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Brad. You're
Yeah.
the same size
Open it up
fucking
for me.
head.
Yeah, we do, and no one has the same size head as me.
Hey, can you guys do me a favor?
Yeah.
And if you're still listening at 3 hours and 23 minutes, and I know you are, Brad is the same as me. He wants size 8 in his city. So hit him up with a size 8.
Yeah.
Get him his hats.
Yes.
Minor league hats are the best. Throwback hats.
Yes.
Like the old Padres one he's wearing right now is fucking
Yeah.
amazing. But hit him up with hats. Size 8.
Love it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, because people bring me cupcakes because they think like midgets love cupcakes for some reason.
Which they do.
Which we do.
Well,
Yeah.
we all like cupcakes.
Yeah, it's cupcakes.
It's like we're saying. Never mind.
But yeah,
You
yeah,
knew exactly what I was going to say, right?
That'd be great. Yeah, we all knew. But yeah, yeah. So what we do like top episodes?
Yo, I'll go
Top
Bert
5
Kreischer.
episodes.
I'll go Melissa McCarthy. Okay, because
Melissa McCarthy.
yeah.
You had Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, she's a
on?
buddy of mine, so she's done it twice.
Oh, here, pass that back. I'm still bald.
And
Melissa McCarthy?
yeah, man.
You know, my wife sat in a dinner party with her one night. My wife got to her agent and said, the agent was like, hey, you either got to lose weight or gain weight. And Melissa McCarthy was like, oh, they said the same thing. I'm just going to gain weight, and I'm going to nail those roles. And my wife's like, for real? She's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. And she destroyed.
Yeah.
My wife's like,
Made it work.
when my wife saw
Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids, she went, that's Melissa. That's Jenny McCarthy's cousin.
Shut the
And was like,
fuck
oh
up.
my God. And my wife's like, she's earned her Monday. Isn't that crazy?
There you go.
She's one of the greatest people on planet Earth and one of the funniest. I mean,
Billy
like
Gardell
na-
says the same thing.
Yep.
So
he
good.
loves her.
the Gardell episode, also great.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm going
You guys
Bert.
have someone book it for you, or do you book it?
Me,
Yeah.
Brad.
Book said I got a couple on there, but
Brad has
guys
a.
haven't seen it yet?
Brad has a.
most of them.
What?
Yeah, we've had them on twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna go Neil Patrick Harris,
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on.
Jason Derulo. Yeah,
Who's Jason Derulo?
A rapper.
an R&B pop star.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll go. You, Melissa, Neil Patrick Harris.
You're just putting me in this. 'cause I'm
No,
here.
Bert, dude, Bert.
No, you're one. No,
Dude,
seriously, Bert.
I'm not even like.
so much fun.
I'm not gonna.
Do you find?
Look, Brad and I do this thing after an episode where people walk out, and I can tell it's great because we both always usually have a show to go to or something else, and we'll maybe leave after. When Brad and I linger and we talk not only about the podcast after, but then just talk and catch up and hang out.
Yeah.
It's because of the podcast.
Yeah.
We always do that for maybe an hour afterwards.
Yeah.
and so take that as that's a compliment.
I
You know what I'm
take it as a
saying?
good comment, but now, do you notice that? And I'm getting you out of here, Brad. I swear to God.
2 minutes.
By the way, everyone's like, this started a fucking hour ago.
No, this is yeah,
Fine.
but
do you
fine.
find that podcast fans aggregate towards podcast stars
Yes.
as opposed to celebrities?
Yeah, well, for instance, you're one of our top-rated episodes. Ryan Sickler episode.
Howie Mandel was
yeah,
good.
Yeah, like it's.
Where it's like Melissa McCarthy's a movie star,
Yep.
but
Right.
people will go to me too because they go like, because I find that, like, I know for a fact this will rate really well because you guys are podcast guys. So
Yeah.
people
like to hear the crossovers too. They also, I don't know. I mean, I think it also is just. Yeah, I mean, dude, what you bring to a podcast, it's like the you're doing it yourself already, and then like you have to definitely like do it a bunch to get a little bit more like familiar with doing it, right?
I think it's, the thing I believe is that because we do this, we're better stand-ups.
Yeah.
So I think this is I'll say this, and I'm being dead serious, Brad. Mm-hmm. Those two things you said tonight.
Getting run over by a car. And being attacked by a Dalmatian.
No, having to fight an animal.
Yeah.
Fight
a Dalmatian.
Yeah.
Those are
on a date.
Two of my favorite tangents.
I go, man, those are things. those are next level. I mean, it really is next level. It's because it's a part of you that it's not the fucking thing that anyone who's a little person coming into comedy is going to go to.
Yeah.
And if they do, they're fucking genius.
Those are throwaways. You got attacked by a dog was a throwaway
Those
story.
are both throwaway stories.
Yeah.
You were literally,
Yeah,
we're
dude.
not going to tell. This is my Rogan moment to me with the machine.
Yeah.
Is this you? Is like, more of that shit is fucking genius, dude.
Thank you,
That
sir.
blows. You getting hit by cars
3 times.
3 times. 3 times. At one point, you have to go. What is it? Is it me? You're like the Charlie Sheen of getting hit by cars.
And by the way, yes, the answer is yes. It's me. It's definitely me.
Me.
Good car noise.
I've been test driving cars all day. But like that for me, I
Thanks,
go,
man.
Yeah, man.
I have a joke about you I don't tell on stage, only because I feel like it's too inside baseball, but it's about when Georgia told the joke with the punchline midget.
Oh, yeah.
And then came in, and then you were in the room. She was like, "Oh fuck, Dad, you told on me." All right, let's wrap this up.
Can I tell you real quick though?
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
I love not to piggyback on a
4
Brad.
hours? No,
Hey,
it's fine, it's
fuck
fine.
you, Brad.
It's fine.
Not to piggyback on the compliment Brad train, but I will say this because you did ask about the podcast and just Brad and our friendship, and and I don't know if I've ever spoke to this, but like, what is really great too about doing a podcast with somebody that you feel like, oh yeah, you're a good host and whatever, but it's like there's always a I don't know, there's such a level of respect and like genuine, like when you make each other laugh, like we've all been around so many people where you're just like you get matched up in a job or like a show where or you're hosting something and you maybe don't have. You can just tell, like, oh, we're just a little bit off,
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's so rare. So, like, obviously, we love doing the podcast, but it's also like, it's not lost on me at all when, like, we do something like we did today where we did 2 episodes or we're hanging out, where I'm just like, I walk away and go, that's like kind of crazy how in sync we were for an hour and a half or 2 hours on certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's, I guess what I'm trying to say is, Brad, I know you're getting married soon, but do you want to
Elope?
You know what I'm saying? No, it's just like in speaking to like I don't know. You're talking about workaholics. I think a lot about in comedy of just like I don't know. When you see like certain relationships or people in projects that like Tiffany Haddish in Girls Trip, just fucking
Shout out to Tiffany
just
Haddish.
Awesome that
So
she's
proud
doing
of
all
her.
that.
No, and proud's the wrong word because I didn't have anything to do with her. Like,
Yeah.
but I've known her I've known her for a long time.
Yeah.
and I've been a friend of hers.
So funny.
I'm so proud to know her.
Yep.
Yeah.
But somebody that honed so hard of what they're doing and then was able to take it in the situation with these people she never met and just like be herself and they come to her and she comes to them and it's just like a crazy blend of
She's gonna be bigger than Amy Schumer.
look, weed is great and
It's getting there.
Weed is great. Weed is great. It really is great. Oh,
so where are you this weekend? Brad's going to Guam. I'm
Yeah.
going to Chicago. Where are
I'm
you
in
going?
Phoenix.
There you go.
Yes.
Phoenix, Stand Up Live.
Stand up live. You gonna
Love that club.
My late show.
You gonna float the Snake River?
No, but I didn't know about that.
Yeah. You go to the Snake River and you get in a tube and you float it.
He's
See?
active.
Dude, again, dude, this is why when we went on the road,
Fucking drives me nuts about
Brad took me to Pleasanton, and I'm like, "What do we do?" He's like, "We do this, and I'm like,
Yeah, we go to the
okay."
We go to the Jelly Belly Jelly Bean Factory in
You went to a jelly bean factory?
yeah, they all thought I worked
All
there.
right.
Wait. Let me just top that drink off, and then we'll leave. Oh, wait, hold on. So wait. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to do stuff when I'm in the cities.
Where you at? You're in Guam.
Yeah, I'm in Guam.
What are you going to do there? Did you look up the sites?
I'm gonna just. It's not a
Hide in the
large
cave
island.
from the missile launch?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna find a nuclear bunker.
But is there like a Hooters or like a...
Hooters. Someone go to Guam. They go to Hooters.
Yeah, you guys have like a cheesecake factory in Guam.
How
Definitely.
is your moons over my hammy in Guam? I'm gonna find that out.
Do you have a Denny's?
Yeah, exactly.
No, my ticket sales are great for the whole weekend, except for the late show Saturday
Okay.
because of the Conor McGregor fight. I'm assuming.
Oh,
that's
what do you
that
mean you're
day.
assuming? That's exactly
Yeah,
why.
That's why it
I
is.
know, and I was like, I
3/4
asked
of the
him,
country's going to watch.
I asked Coleman to. I was like, hey, can we just buy the fight?
yeah.
And just air it. 'Cause
I was
kinda
thinking
wanna
about
watch it,
doing
too.
that in
Yeah.
Chicago.
and
Are
just
you
do
going to do it?
commentary.
No, because
Let's do Mystery Science
it's like
Theater.
$10,000. It's
What?
Like, I can't make $10,000 off of one show.
That's bonkers.
So
Buy
like,
a fight?
Yeah, it
Oh,
depends on like the
because
TVs
it's
and
your
the
show
space.
for
it's different. Yeah, you're showing
Right.
people, so they.
Right,
It's a different price. But
Also,
but
it's
I kinda
20
want-
grand if you. Sorry.
What?
I was,
I was like, if I make Conor McGregor shirts, I might sell them as merch and then cut my. But like, yeah, I would have to give. I'd have to go out of pocket. I think
Yeah.
to pay for the fight.
Hey, and the people that are coming to see you, they still want to see
Yep.
you. They want to see your show. They don't like
Right
they-
now, it's a very small amount of people, but yeah. So, but I think
that's a
what'll
big
happen,
thing to. Yeah.
What'll happen is Thursday through Saturday will sell out, except for the late show, and then the
Sunday will be
spillover.
great.
No, I don't do Sunday. I'm in Denver on Sunday,
Oh, okay.
and so we're doing 2 shows Denver Sunday, 2 shows Monday, 2 shows Thursday, Tuesday,
Jeez.
and then Stanhope flies in Wednesday. I think we're gonna party Wednesday night, Thursday night, and then I come home Friday.
See, well done, sir. And that's why I'm seeing what you're doing, and I appreciate your hustle. I'm like, fucking Bert's killing it, man.
No, my hut. I'll tell you I don't know, man.
Porky Big. my hut.
I have no hustle. My thing is, a long time ago, someone in Travel Channel said, "Follow passion. Passion gets story."
Yeah.
And so I did that for the show, but then I was like, "Fuck, what is my passion? My passion is great stand-ups."
Mm-hmm.
So like, and my wife kind of recognized this. I remember Ari one time was like, called Leanne and was like, "Hey, Bert needs to go." By the way, I'm probably fucking this story up, but he's like, "Bert needs to go to Calgary with me. I'm doing a show there, and I'm going to Stampede." And my wife's like, "You're right, he does." And there was no money. I lost money, like clearly. I flew myself there. But I was like, but I had a really great time. And then one time she was like, "Hey, you've been on the road a long time. On your way back, why don't you stop in Bisbee and go see Doug?" And I was like, "Oh, good call." So I flew into Tucson, went to Bisbee, and stayed with Doug for the day. And then we did it again another time. My wife's like, connect with comics. Like that seems to be your spirit animal, is like
Yep.
being around great comics.
Yeah.
It's the reason, like I'm not driven to go to the store. I told Adam the other day, I was like, "Hey man, I apologize for not calling in for sets." He's like, "Dude, you make my life so fucking easy." I was like, "But I know that I want to do sets. It's
Yeah.
just I'm really having a hard time shuffling around everything in my life."
Yep.
But when you do go to the store and you see comics that you respect, and you just get into a short conversation with Russell Peters about whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's tough to not geek out over that shit, you know.
Yeah.
And
Dude.
and when it goes away, then you'll maybe know when it's time to like hang up the mic.
Never-
Good night, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was our podcast. 3 hours and 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Yo, is that a record?
No,
No.
I know, I
2
know.
more hours, and none of us can do that.
Well,
Right?
Well, don't challenge. I mean, look. Brad's got to get to
give
Guam.
me a 5-hour energy drink. No,
I mean, I have two in my car.
which
That's
is
it.
really a 10-hour at your side. Brad,
What
I could fucking.
I could talk to you all day, my friend. And I practically did.
So the podcast is about last night.
Yeah.
Why did you guys come with that name?
Brad.
I came up with it. It just because we started recording it on Mondays.
Brad asked me to do a podcast 4 years ago, and the idea of doing a podcast, which is crazy to think that it wasn't even as saturated as it is now. And I think Marin
right.
4 years ago it was Marin, Corolla,
And Rogan.
As far as like, there was
About it.
only a handful of ones that you made you go like, oh yeah, podcast. And he asked me to do it, and I was like, oh, you know what? Actually doing it with somebody sounds fun. And then we started going back and forth with names, and then
Yeah, I just figured because we're going to do it on Mondays, and I thought about, as comics, we'll talk
We would
about
talk
the week,
about the road.
week,
That's
yeah,
what the whole
weekends
plan
we
was,
just
to talk
had,
about the
so
weekend
last
previous.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when did you guys start having guests on?
Shortly after that, when we realized, oh wow, the road is a lot of the same stories. It's like, we saw a movie, we had a good
Fantasy
burrito,
football
and,
teams are going down.
yeah, and we fucked a girl. Oh shit. Okay, well now we got to get podcast. Yeah, now we have to get guests on this thing.
Yeah.
And Ralph Garman from the Kevin and Bean Show was our very first guest.
Yeah.
And
I just started doing Kevin and Bean. I love
they're
that.
fantastic.
They're the greatest.
They really
Kevin
are.
just did our podcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
really?
dude, another one that I would
be
almost
my
go.
top 5.
Dude,
The
stories
episode
for
with
day.
Kevin Ryder. One of the
People
one of the
that I
best
mean,
ones.
some people
So
just
great.
come in with. Even Sebastian, I would put in a top 5
So
man because
funny.
like
Really?
Maniscalco, dude, he had just great stories about like
Hold on.
growing.
Sebastian, I love you with all my heart. I did Sebastian with Pete.
Yeah.
And Pete overwhelmed me. Like Pete was like the personality.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if Sebastian talked.
By himself, he's a great talker.
All right,
and
shout out to Sebastian.
Oh,
I need
come
you
on.
on the podcast,
Yep.
Sebastian.
Just
Just you,
do a one-on-one
and a
with him.
bottle of vino, and a broom. Watching that sweep. Man, Sebastian did his bit about watching this guy sweep around his house construction that killed me because I watched my guys sweep, but like I never thought there was a bit to it.
Yeah.
and he did fucking 5 minutes on this guy sweeping, and I was dying, fucking laughing, going, "I had people sweeping in my house."
So true.
All right, guys,
Susan Sarandon, that's another top 5er.
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah, man.
You did not have Susan.
Yeah,
Sarandon.
man.
You're lying. You're lying.
No,
Okay.
we didn't. I will
Wait.
show you
I'm gonna pull up
photos.
a picture.
You're
Guess what,
lying
man?
right now.
Just as sexy and hot
did
as you
not.
imagine.
You're
Yeah.
lying.
Nope.
You're
All right.
fucking-
Real quick story. Michael McDonald from Mad TV is a friend of mine. We met on the Heat. Right.
Yeah.
We had a week off.
What's the heat?
Sandra Bullock, Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, I know that show.
I was the bad guy in that. It was a movie.
really?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, fuck Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, that's how
Oh,
we
I know
met.
the Heat.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I was a bad. I had a beer.
By the
I was
way,
a club
best
owner in that.
Melissa McCarthy scene ever is when she beats up Jason Statham with a guitar.
In Spy, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
But yeah,
No. I'm sorry. Jason Bateman.
Bateman in Identity Thief. Oh, so funny.
He beat up Jason Bateman with a guitar. Best scene ever.
By the way, Bateman or Statham, the new
yeah.
Who is the Jason show.
absolutely.
Yeah, so Sarandon, so I go to New York for the Spy. I had 2 lines in Spy. Paul put me in the Heat, so then he goes, "Hey, do you want to come do this small
Paul
thing in the
who?
Spy?" Paul Feig, who directed the Heat, Bridesmaids.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're like, Paul put me in the
Paul
Heat. I go,
McCartney.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney.
Hey, you want to do this movie?
Want to do his movie? I have nothing to do with it, but yeah.
Have a great time.
yeah.
Let's
So
go get
then
waffles.
Michael is doing shows like McCartney, dude. People forget that McCartney loves breakfast.
I don't know what.
Which is the name of his one act.
Made sense.
McCartney, it's just basically, and it's sound bites of him ordering from drive-through like breakfast places.
Is it bad if I canceled this voiceover? I just go, guys, I didn't book it. And they're like, wait, you haven't read for it. And I go, it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
You got to do it.
Yeah, keep going. Finish
Well,
this
all
story.
right. So then we Michael goes, I'm doing shows in Gotham in New York, and the Spy premiere is that weekend. And I was like, oh shit, and he was going to go, and Michael had a scene bigger than mine. It was in the same scene, and he goes, come on, do shows with me. We'll go to the premiere. I was like, fuck yeah. So Sunday night show at Gotham. Susan Sarandon and Chris Henge come out. Michael knows them. Susan did stuff on Mad TV back in the day. We all go out to an Italian restaurant after, and they keep it open for us. We drink a bunch of wine, and then I go. I'm starting to have a little bit of rapport with Susan Sarandon, and she's super fucking cool and smokes
so
weed,
sexy.
and she's so
She's so
sexy,
sexy.
dude. And
She is so
it's so
fucking
sexy,
sexy.
dude. And at one point, I just
So
go,
sexy.
I go, Susan, I'm going to the Spy premiere tomorrow. I don't have a date. You want to come with me? She goes, you know what? I'm not doing anything tomorrow. And I go, I got 2 lines in the movie though. Don't fuck this up for me, okay? Like I'm trying to make a big splash on the red carpet. Don't jam me up. And she laughs, whatever. And then she's like, yeah. And she knows Melissa. She just did Tammy with her. So I go, you know what? I go, give me your number. I'll pick you up in an Uber. And then we'll go to the movie. And she's like, hell yeah. And I'm just like, oh shit, fucking Sarandon, this is the fucking coolest. Maybe we'll smoke weed. We go to the premiere, whatever. We keep in touch. And then she comes out to LA for a movie thing. And anyway, man, she did it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Dude,
Susan
she's a
Sarandon?
fucking,
Yeah.
just the
Their
greatest, man.
podcast.
I mean, like,
Brett Ratner did our podcast because I met him at a cafe.
Brett Ratner?
yeah, dude.
He
Director
did
of
our
Rush
podcast.
Hour. And
Yeah, he did our podcast because I was having breakfast in the Beverly Hills Hotel just to do it, and Brett Ratner sat next to us, and I was like, "Oh, okay," and I just started talking to him.
Breaks the ice, gets him on the pod. We go to his house, tells the stories about Ratner.
Yeah.
Tells the stories about being friends with Michael Jackson, throwing water balloons out the window of a hotel at fucking people on the street. Him and the hotel security coming up and being like, and Michael's hiding under the bed, and Ratner's like, and they go to Ratner like, yo, man, we're getting complaints about people throwing water balloons, and Michael's under the bed giggling and shit, and they're like, yo, Mr. Jackson, can you please not throw water balloons at the guests? I'm sorry, you know.
Oh my God, you guys are going to be the crossover podcast. You know that, right? The
What's
one
that?
that explains podcasting to the regular people. Because like right now, this is for podcasting fans.
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna. No, my mom's never gonna.
The
go
extra
like,
hour.
Oh, I can't believe Adam Ray and Brad Williams got on Bert's podcast.
Jesus, Brad, let's
But
get out of here, dude. No, you know what? That was the one slam I was waiting for.
We're not Lady Kreischer famous.
Any
I
Death
said
Squad
it like
fan,
Yes.
like they're gonna be like, oh, that'll be a cool podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you guys will be the ones where you have Susan fucking Sarandon.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Bob Saget, Howie Mandel.
Bob Saget's that's not a hard cut.
Attell, Swartzen.
Attell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Attell. You had
Yeah.
Swartzen?
That's a club. Swartzen's a great club.
Swartzen passed.
We got
You know what? But here,
He passed.
we've had amazing guests, Bert Kreischer.
Fucking.
We've had amazing guests, but let me tell you. Okay,
Swartzen.
this is so fun trying to see you get this out.
Oh, my brain's not working. My brain's not working.
Hey, but Bert, can you help us get our white whale of podcasting guests? The one that we've always wanted to get.
Yeah.
who is that?
John Stamos.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll help you get it. Hey, guys.
Yeah,
Let's
thank
hammer
you.
Stamos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Stamos. You really want Stamos?
Yeah, dude.
Because he's scared of little
Scared
people.
of little people.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he's like when I first met him, he was terrified of he was
Yeah.
terrified of me.
Really?
Yeah.
I did a bit about it in my special, but yeah, he's terrified of little people, so I need John Stamos on
Guys.
the podcast.
Guys, hammer John Stamos.
Light him up.
We got to find that way into his heart
Yeah.
that connects
Yeah.
him with humanity.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw Rebecca Romaine one time. The story goes nowhere.
By the way, you get in that story right there. I saw Rebecca Romaine, and I'm happy with it. You were probably happy with it too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, story bomb recognition is one of my favorite things in the world, dude.
It is
just
one of
go
the things I
like,
love about
Swartzen used to have
Anthony
a... Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude.
Swartzen.
We had a joke
Swartzen-
about like bad stories when he's like, you ever just tell a story and like 10 seconds in you're like, abort story. Like that's just not going anywhere. So you add details that never happen. So he'd be like, so this one time like Dave was like at the bar and he was all like, give me shots. And the bartender was all like, you're done. And then so he was like, wait, what? And then the bartender fucking stabbed him, and you're like, what? And he's like, I just added that to make the story more entertaining.
All right.
Yeah.
About last night.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm fucking hammered. I haven't even seen my new car yet.
Well, I
Is it
mean,
bad if I take it for a spin right now?
You
Just go,
ve-
"Look,
yeah.
I'm on the 101.
Hey, guess what? Very bad.
yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Don't do
Maybe
that.
I'll just hop in it and just.
Sit in it. Price is Right style, like I did.
I don't drink and drive. Only
And
because I'm
fake
afraid
drive.
of getting, a DUI. I'm
you
gonna sit
you
in
can
and smell
fake
it.
drive. You can sit it and fake drive.
Yeah. I do it all the time because I can't reach the pedals.
Extender pedals.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder what it's like to see a little person backseat drive. Like, you ever been in a car with someone who's like sitting next to you, and then you like you're going too fast,
Oh, it's the worst.
and then you watch them hit the brakes.
Yeah.
And when Brad does it, it's literally him kicking the dashboard like. I would love to be a little person for 1 year
Fuck up
just
a
to
glove
write the
box.
material.
He's a great driver.
Yeah, he is.
First time I got in the car, I was like, I never even thought about it. And all of a sudden we got in the car, and I remember just being like, can you do this? And then I look over, and he's fucking... Because you don't know. You haven't been in that situation.
Pedal extenders.
Yeah.
It's a metal rod with a pedal on top of it.
You don't
and
put. You don't
Isn't that
put-
crazy? I don't...
You don't put big wood stilts on your.
No, I don't do the short round thing from
they-
Temple of Doom.
Well, not since still stopped
Is that what they
sponsoring
did?
him.
Well, no, that's,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
Asian
yeah,
kid
yeah.
from Temple of Doom.
Yeah. Short round.
Yeah, lady, you will call him Dr. Jones. Yeah, he had
Yeah.
like wooden blocks on his feet.
Yeah.
That's how he drove. No, I don't do that. No, I just
Excellent
but-
driver.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I will tell you this: when there's a comic, he lives in the Inland Empire. His name is Bruce Jingles. And
Bruce.
yeah, and I did a gig with him where he was in my passenger seat, and we drove. We were driving out to Northern California, and I was driving, and a cop pulled up next to us, saw Bruce, who's a black guy, in the passenger seat, and me driving, and the cop mouthed the words to me, "Are you okay?" And then,
Yes.
and all
Finally.
and all I thought to myself was, and I didn't have the beard back then.
Yeah.
So all I thought to myself was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This cop thinks that a black guy like kidnapped a kid and
made him drive like it's a Kevin Costner movie.
Then made him drive.
Oh,
Well, Bruce Jingles, by the way, shout out to Bruce Jingles. Shout out to Deezus and Mira for me saying shout out the whole night.
Yeah.
But shout out to Bruce Jingles. I saw Bruce Jingles do stand-up comedy once, and I still know his name.
There you go.
That's a fucking legit
That's a sign of a good
stand right there. Like I saw him do stand-up one time. We did stand-up together, and I never forgot Bruce Jingles' names. I think he had also had a stroke, maybe, or something.
Yeah, he's good now.
Right? Did he have a stroke?
Yeah, I forgot exactly. I'm sure Bruce will text me.
I think, or he was in a car accident, maybe.
I'll have to text him.
Yikes, those are two very different experiences.
We have to.
He
end this
ordered a
fucking
sandwich, didn't
podcast.
he? No, I think he bobsledded. Like, those are just like the complete.
We have to end this podcast.
Okay.
This
All right.
is just gonna.
Bert,
fucking
thank you. Yeah.
Derail us.
Thank you, man.
Almost at 4 hours. Fucking 12 more minutes, and we get 4 hours. But
No.
no.
Guam.
Hopefully,
Yo, thanks for
hopefully
having
the
us,
nuke
man.
doesn't hit and fix me.
You'll be fine, dude.
Fine.
You will be fine. And guess what? If there, look, I hope the bomb that happens
If
is
you
your
want
comedy not
me
going
now,
over.
Think
I'm
of the
Guam
big
guy. I'm so
part
drunk
of
I
me.
can't fucking think of any Guam references.
All right, wait. One more and then we close it out.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
One more
Good call,
Guam.
Good call. By the way, if you're listening to the podcast, still.
Yeah. By the way,
this
if you're
must
still
have-
with us, and guess what? I'm going to go on a limb and say a lot more are going to have stuck with it at this point than not. Because there's been like, dude, we haven't let too much time dip before something else has been like, oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
What about that?
By the way, if you got to 2 hours, you're
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Right now, you're like,
You're
yeah,
invested.
fucking, I got jumped into the gang. I went to prison. I was Mexican. What was my choice?
Yeah, it's like watching the first 8 episodes of Lost. You're like, well, now I have to see this thing until the end.
I can't listen to you because all I'm thinking is drama. And anyone listening right now is going, what about?
Guami woman, come and dance with me. Guami.
Okay. Hey,
Guam.
don't get it. Don't
That's
let
not
it.
bad.
Oh, damn it. I forgot the words to Hey Jude.
All the way,
Asshole.
all I want to do is grab my phone, but my phone's in that fucking car. My wife took it.
Mm-hmm.
Guam.
Violent Femmes? You're busting a Violent
Guam.
Femmes reference?
Guam.
Why can't I get just one Guam?
Guam. Why can't I get just one Guam?
Why can't I get just one Guam?
Believe it is.
Will they tell me that I'm gonna be wrong? But all I want is just one Guam.
Fuck. I'm fucking hammered.
Thank you. Thank you.
By the way,
you guys.
This can't
Yeah.
be the future of this podcast because I will die.
Yeah.
Just every Monday night I get fucking hammered with 2 comics.
Not a bad life. There's
I love
worse.
you guys with all
I
my
love
heart.
you too,
All right,
Bert.
thank
Thank
you,
you,
Bert.
man.
Thanks.
This episode was brought to you by The Machine.